me in public. He glanced around. I saw many people looking over here with chuckles and expressions of disbelief on their faces. The young master of the Fang family expressed his love to his fiancée. I was rejected. But does the eldest daughter of the Zhang family really not like blue? Someone shook his head and looked at Fang Jingyang with some sarcasm. What's going on? Zhang Yan refused the gift from Fang Jingyang? Why do I feel this is a bit weird? Aren't they going to get engaged soon? In my opinion, this is the eldest daughter of the Zhang family showing Fang Jingyang some power. Don't girls nowadays like this? Yeah, isn't it popular to be henpecked now? TSK, 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 this might just be a little romance between a couple. Where's your mother, Xiaoqing Tiawa? Are you and Fang Jingyang husband and wife? Xiaoyang cursed when he heard the words of the young woman next to him. Before she could open her mouth to refute, Xiaoyang walked forward with the fresh food in his hands. Zhang Yan. The voice fell. Everyone's eyes immediately fell on Xiaoyang. Who is this? He is also holding the blue enchanters? Are you planning to imitate Mr. Fang and send blue enchanters to confess your love? Something's wrong. I'm a little confused. Isn't this Mr. Fang's confession? Yeah, how dare someone show up at this time? And they are all the same. Why do I feel that they are a good match? What are you talking about? Don't you want to see the sun tomorrow? TSK, what's going on? Young Master Renfeng has helped him clear the minefield. But didn't he hear what Miss Zhang said? She hates the color blue the most. And yet he still brought up blue enchanters. Wait. There's something fishy about these two hats. Yeah. There's something wrong with these two guys' hats. She's beautiful and makes money to support the family. These can't be couple hats. Everyone was suddenly shocked. Oh shit, Big Melon. This melon is a bit beyond imagination. This is the melon from the Fang and Zhang families. Is there any other family's melon bigger than this? Everyone looked at the two people's outfits and were more and more surprised. Couple hats. You're telling me this is a coincidence? At this moment, Fang Jingyang heard Xiaoyang's voice and subconsciously looked up. His eyes fell on Xiaoyang and he was suddenly startled. Xiaoyang. When Zhang Yan heard the familiar voice at this moment, her eyes seemed to be covered with mist for a moment. She stared at the boy in front of her infatuated lie. Her voice stuck in her throat, and she could hardly speak. Xiaoyang, you're here. In just a moment, a cheerful smile appeared on Zhang Yan's face. But if you look clearly, you can see that at this moment, her eyes have already been filled with tears. I'm here. Xiaoyang let out a long sigh. In just a moment, my mind recalled every moment they had spent together. Xiaoyang looked around, glanced at Fang Jingyang again, sneered, and walked forward with the fresh food in his hands. Zhang Yan, this is a gift from me to you. 12 blue enchanters in baby's breath. In the blue sea, there are numerous stars shining brightly. Their language is, my rose lover, I want to tease you, seduce you, pamper you, and indulge you. I want you to be my blue elf. Raise your lips proudly to the whole world and fly in the sky of love. Xiaoyang looked at Zhang Yan and smiled. Zhang Yan, are you willing to be my blue elf? Let me pamper you and indulge you. I will take care of you and protect you forever. Xiaoyang's voice was very soft. But at this moment, everyone involuntarily became quiet and looked at the two people on the red carpet. And the voices all fell into everyone's ears. Fuck. He really confessed. Isn't Zhang Yan Fang Jingyang's fiancé? Why would another man dare to confess his love for Zhang Yan in front of him? Is this the Minato in person? This is outrageous. Who is this young man? He is so bold. At this time, Fang Jingyang was also confused. Is this Xiaoyang? He is so bold. At this moment, veins on his neck were bulging and he was extremely angry. Naturally, he heard the pointing and talking of the people around him. In person with the Minato. It really means you don't consider yourself a human being. He knows it very well. Even if Zhang Yan doesn't like him anymore, she will still marry him in the end. The Zhang family would never do something like breaking off an engagement. But now, he suddenly felt a little panicked. Looking at Zhang Yan again. At this moment, her emotions were already rising. Xiaoyang's face was very close. His face was full of affection, and in his eyes, there was no one else except her. Zhang Yichen also took a breath of cold air at this moment. Good job. This excavation is so thorough. I originally asked Xiaoyang if he had any plans, and he said he had none. Now I realize that this kid had no intention of planning anything. It was that simple. He confessed his love to Zhang Yan in front of Fang Jingyang. Zhang Yan, do you like what I gave you? Xiaoyang smiled. Yes, how do you know I like blue? I like blue enchanters the best. The words fell. Tears welled up in my eyes. She took the bundle in her hands, and opened her arms and hugged Xiaoyang. Xiaoyang smiled and hugged Zhang Yan tightly in his arms. This moment, the whole place fell silent. This? Didn't you just say that you don't like blue and hate it the most? It seems like blue is your favorite color now, right? Of course, the important thing is not this, the important thing is, the eldest son of the Fang family, his fiancée was stolen by someone? Or was it snatched in front of people? Everyone looked at this scene in disbelief. Their minds went blank. Fang Jingyang was also confused and numb at this moment. What is going on? Did your fiancé agree to someone else's confession? And this person is Xiao Yang, who has always been against the Fang family. He just felt that his head was full of green grassland. And the color was a bit too much. Fang Jingyang's eyes were full of anger at this moment. Just as he was about to step forward, he was stopped by Zhang Yichen. Mr. Fang, what do you want to do? Zhang Yichen raised the corners of his mouth slightly, still looking gentle and elegant. You, Zhang Liaosai. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? Fang Jingyang said in a calm voice, apparently extremely angry. I want to ask you, what do you want to do? You and Zhang Yan are not engaged, it's just the will of the two families. But there is no established fact. In public, in front of everyone, do you want to receive a letter from my lawyer, Zhang Yichen? Zhang Yichen's mouth corners curled up, and he felt extremely comfortable. This kid Xiao Yang is so fucking awesome. I just asked you to give it a try. But who knew you were so ruthless and succeeded directly? Awesome. As for Zhang Yiming's anger, forget it, don't think about it. Big brother won't chop himself off anyway. Chapter 128 Your Zhang family is finished. Xiao Yang looked at the face so close to him, and his heart was already filled with joy. Fight. The first confession was successful. Complete achievement, the beginning of love. Reward. Money treasure box. Note, money box randomly obtain a certain amount of cash. The system's voice suddenly rang in my mind. I didn't expect there would be a surprise. Xiao Yang was not in a hurry to open the treasure chest. He just took Zhang Yan's hand, with a smile on his face. This time, I won't let you go. Xiao Yang held Zhang Yan's hand tightly and said softly. Zhang Yan stood there in a daze, her face flushed with shame. She just nodded, wouldn't lie, feeling sweet in her heart. Everyone present was already stunned when they saw this scene. Everyone was guessing Xiao Yang's identity. He dared to snatch a woman from Fang Jingyang. And the woman he snatched was the eldest daughter of the Zhang family. He was so bold. This is Zhang Du. Everyone knows the Fang family of Zhang Du. At this moment Fang Jingyang suddenly stepped forward. Fang Jingyang, Zhang Yichen shouted, but the next second, he was pushed away by Fang Jingyang. Zhang Laosi, your Zhang family is finished, he said in a low voice with anger. Zhang Yichen was stunned at first, and Fang Jingyang had already walked forward. Zhang Yan, do you know what you are doing? As the voice fell, Xiao Yang and Zhang Yan looked over at the same time. Fang Jingyang looked at the two of them coldly, although his face was full of anger. He had no intention of taking action. Zhang Yan glanced at Fang Jingyang. A trace of confusion flashed across her face. She had promised her mother that for the sake of the Zhang family, she would marry into the Fang family. But now that Xiao Yang appeared beside him, his emotions were no longer under his control. She had forgotten all about the Zhang family's foundation. Fang Jingyang, you should know that I don't like you. Why do you have to pester me? Zhang Yan raised her eyebrows. No, this time, it's not me who's pestering you. It's you who's going too far, Fang Jingyang sneered. He remembered today's humiliation. In front of so many people. As the young master of the Fang family, his woman was actually robbed. This is his fiancée, but now she is holding someone else's hand. Fang Jingyang, what do you mean? What do you mean? I should be the one asking you this. What's wrong with me? Fang Jingyang, how have I ever let down your Zhang family? Are you, Zhang Yan, treating me like a monkey? Fang Jingyang said, gritting his teeth. I didn't. When you proposed to me, I rejected you. You used business matters to threaten the Zhang family and forced me to agree. Zhang Yan's voice gradually turned cold. Now that everything has been exposed, there is no way she can go back. Zhang Yan, a scolding came. Everyone looked over at the same time. I saw a majestic man walking slowly towards me, with a look of anger on his face. Zhang Yiming. Brother. Zhang Yichen swallowed. Zhang Yiming's face was extremely gloomy and he walked towards him slowly. Zhang Yichen didn't dare to say anything and quickly avoided him. Go back and I will settle the score with you. Zhang Yiming glared at Zhang Yichen, then walked straight towards Zhang Yan and the others. Let go of your hands. Zhang Yiming just glanced at Xiao Yang and said in a deep voice. Who are you? Xiao Yang raised the corner of his mouth with disdain. No one can stop me today. Even the King of Heaven can't do anything about it. My name is Zhang Yiming, her biological father now. And you let go of my daughter's hand? Zhang Yiming frowned slightly and his voice became deeper. After saying that, he looked at Fang Jingyang again. Nephew, this matter. Before he finished speaking, Fang Jingyang looked around and sneered. The Fang family needs an explanation. Zhang Yiming took a breath and nodded slightly. This is not just an emotional issue for the younger generation. With so many people here now, if we don't handle it well, we will completely offend the Fang family. Zhang Yiming knew that if he failed to satisfy Fang Jingyang, then tomorrow, the Zhang family would be subject to unlimited business attacks from the Fang family. This is Zhangdu. It can be said that the Fang family controls the economic lifeline of Zhangdu. A Zhang family can resist, but this is definitely not a good choice. Zhang Yiming looked at Xiaoyang. Xiaoyang, right? Let go of your hand. I won't hold you accountable for what happened in the past. Uncle Zhang, I'm sorry I can't agree to your request. Xiaoyang shook his head. Zhang Yan. Zhang Yiming looked at Zhang Yan coldly. Zhang Yan immediately turned her head away without even looking at him. Zhang Yiming was so angry that he walked forward and raised his hand to blow on Zhang Yan's face. The next second, his hand was unable to fall as it was already tightly held in Xiaoyang's hand, making it impossible for him to exert any strength. What are you going to do? Zhang Yiming looked at Xiaoyang and said coldly. What does it have to do with you if I discipline my daughter? I'm just protecting my girlfriend. Xiaoyang shook Zhang Yiming's hand away. Zhang Yiming's face was extremely gloomy. Many people around started pointing and talking. It was a great decision to come to the auction dinner this time. Such a big melon, it's enough to fill you up. Many women looked at Xiaoyang and thought that this young man was extremely handsome. The young woman who had just been scolded by Xiaoyang was also seeing stars. What is Prince Charming? This is Prince Charming. Unfortunately, Prince Charming can never resist a marriage with the rich and powerful. Everyone understood it. No matter how strong Xiaoyang is at this moment, the final result will not change at all. Zhang Yan still has to join the Fang family. Unless the Zhang family, such a huge company, doesn't want to continue operating, all it takes is one word from the Fang family, and the Zhang family will be doomed. Even though they are the second largest company in Jiangdu, they are still insignificant in front of a behemoth like the Fang family. Fang Jingyang couldn't stand the looks around him anymore. He just sneered and said slowly, tomorrow, the Zhang family must give me a satisfactory answer. After saying that, he snorted coldly and walked straight into the hotel. Please. The word Cambodia has not yet been spoken. Row. Suddenly, the doorman shrank his head and dared not say anything. This surprised Xiaoyang a little. I originally thought that Fang Jingyang would be the same as Fang Jingyuan, but I didn't expect him to be so patient. He was already prepared to take action. But unexpectedly, Fang Jingyang just said a few words and left. At this moment, some followers had caught up with Fang Jingyang. Master, call the suppliers of the Zhang family. Starting tomorrow, no one will deliver the Zhang family's goods. Whoever sends him to die, understand? Yes. Fang Jingyang suddenly raised his foot and kicked the bonsai beside him. Bang! There was a deafening noise in the hotel. The Zhang family is looking for death. Someone couldn't help but boo. Although the Zhang family is also wealthy, the gap between them and the Fang family is huge. But the century-old foundation. In Jiangdu, no industry can avoid the Zhang family with just one word. Saya N Group will be in trouble tomorrow. At this moment, Zhang Yiming also felt like his head was exploding. He let out a long sigh and looked at the few people. You. Old four, Zhang Yan, follow me. No, Zhang Yan shook her head. You come too. Zhang Yiming pointed at Xiaoyang. Chapter 129-99 Confessions Exposed. Xiaoyang thought about it. Took Zhang Yan's hand. Okay. The three followed Zhang Yiming into the hotel. This time, naturally no one asked Xiaoyang for an invitation. As soon as they entered the hotel, Zhang Yiming waved his hand and someone followed them. I need a conference room. Yes, Mr. Zhang. After a while, they arrived at a meeting room. Suddenly, there were only 4 of them left in the room. Zhang Yiming sat down first. And Xiaoyang also sat down holding Zhang Yan's hand. Your name is Xiaoyang, I know you. Zhang Yiming pointed at Xiaoyang. I went to JM No, for experimental primary school, No, 26 middle school, and JM No, to high school. I'm currently a junior at Zhangde University of Finance and Economics. I was just expelled, right? Father has diabetes, high blood pressure, ventilation, etc. I have been bedridden for 3 years, and my family relies on my mother who works on the front line in the factory. After he finished speaking, Xiaoyang looked at Zhang Yiming and asked, what do you want to say? You said I'm not worthy of being with Zhang Yan? Not a good match. Zhang Yiming was immediately filled with surprise and said, I didn't expect you to be so self-aware. If I'm not mistaken, you and Zhang Yan have only known each other for 3 days in total. Right? Yes, Xiaoyang nodded. 3 days, tut. We've only known each other for 3 days. Do you think I would be comfortable leaving my daughter to you? 3 days is enough to like someone. Xiaoyang still held Zhang Yan's hand and said slowly, Really? Zhang Yiming sneered. Well, can you explain to me and Zhang Yan what's going on with that girl named Lin Qiu? The infatuated man from Zhangde University of Finance and Economics confessed his love to Lin Qiu, the president of Zhangde University of Finance and Economics. 99 times. That infatuated man must be you. Zhang Yiming turned on his cell phone. Soon a forum post opened. Next, he connected the projector on the table. Next second, everything on the phone appeared in front of several people through the projector. Zhang Yan was stunned for a moment. On the screen, that was the cover of Xiao Yang holding the fresh one. The title of this post is, Xiao Yang, a love-struck man from University of Finance and Economics, confesses his love to his schoolmate Lin Qiu for the 99th time. She couldn't help but retract her hand. But Xiao Yang clenched his fist tightly, and his hand was still tightly clenched in his palm. At this time, Xiao Yang also frowned slightly. 99 times. I don't know whether to say you are infatuated or a saint. Zhang Yiming looked at Xiao Yang with a sneer. Zhang Yichen also looked at Xiao Yang at the same time, his expression gradually becoming colder. Xiao Yang. What's going on? Xiao Yang let out a long sigh and said slowly. That was before I met Zhang Wei and Uncle Zhang. You can just look at the date. I didn't lie to you. At this point, Xiao Yang looked at Zhang Yan again and said, You are the only one in my heart now, no one else. Zhang Yan frowned slightly, and indeed could not utter anything. Her red lips turned a little pale, and she was obviously at a loss. It's a good thing that happened before. In just 2 or 3 days, you can forget about the 99 confessions and fall in love with Zhang Yan. Xiao Yang, your feelings are too cheap. The voice fell. Zhang Yan frowned immediately and shook off Xiao Yang's hand. Xiao Yang, give me an explanation. Xiao Yang had not expected that his previous confession would lead to this situation. He rubbed his head and said, Things are not what you think. Zhang Yan, I don't like Lin Qiu, I only like you. Those 99 confessions were just. Having said this, Xiao Yang paused. He couldn't say that it was the system's task. I didn't lie to you there, there's really nothing going on between Lin Qiu and me. Really? Zhang Yiming smiled. Click on the video. The video starts. In the video, Xiao Yang was holding a loudspeaker, and his voice immediately reached everyone's ears. Lin Qiu, I like you, be my girlfriend. The voice fell. Xiao Yang, Zhang Yichen's voice turned cold. For Thunkel. Zhang Yan, the voice hasn't fallen yet. Bang! A clear voice resounded in everyone's ears. Xiao Yang looked at the girl in front of him blankly. He felt a burning pain on his face, and there seemed to be red handprints left on it. He stood there in shock, somewhat at a loss as to what to do. Zhang Yan bit her red lips lightly, her eyes gradually turned red, and tears fell instantly. Xiao Yang immediately reached out and grabbed Zhang Yan. Zhang Yan, listen to my explanation. It's really not what you think? Explain, is there anything else to explain? There were tears on Zhang Yan's face and her smile looked a little miserable. Xiao Yang, you scumbag! Zhang Yichen cursed and rushed towards Xiao Yang. Let Shaikan go. Xiao Yang just held Zhang Yan tightly, his face full of anxiety. At this moment, his mind was already blank. He didn't know how to explain those 99 confessions, nor did he know what to say. Xiao Yang! Let me go! Zhang Yan's voice came out in a decisive tone. Xiao Yang's hand. Loosen up. The next second, a huge fist appeared in front of him. Xiao Yang didn't hide. With a bang, the fist landed directly on his face. Damn it, I'm sorry I helped you deal with Fang Jingyang. Damn it, you're even more of an idiot than Fang Jingyang. Zhang Yichen cursed but didn't stop, he punched again. But this time, he was blocked by Xiao Yang. For Thunkel. Stop hitting me, Zhang Yan's voice came. At this moment, she seemed extremely calm. Zhang Yichen withdrew his hand. Later, Zhang Yiming just watched the scene jokingly. Zhang Yan, listen to my explanation. It's really not what you think. I did confess my feelings to Lin Qiu, but I gave up later. You can find all this on the school forum. And she even confessed her love to me. But I rejected her. I never planned to be with her in the first place. Xiao Yang looked at Zhang Yan and spoke. You go now. I want to calm down. Zhang Yan shook her head. Her mind was a little confused. To facing Xiao Yang, she herself didn't know what to do. Zhang Yan. Get out, Zhang Yichen cursed. I'll wait for you outside. Xiao Yang felt that he needed to calm down. After walking out of the meeting room, Xiao Yang slumped to the ground and let out a long sigh. A development of this matter has indeed exceeded his expectations. At this time, only 3 people from the Zhang family were left in the room. Chaichun, actually I should have told you earlier, but as a father, I don't know how to start. I know your feelings for Xiao Yang, but people's hearts are hidden. Zhang Yiming sighed. Letting you marry into the Fang family is not only for the Zhang family, but also for you. Look, all men in this world are the same. Besides you, there's also that King Xuantong, and Xiao Zhu. Xiao Yang really didn't let any of them go. I can't help it. I know Fang Jingyang is not a good guy, but what about him? Xiao Yang. And you don't have to marry into the Fang family. Zhang Yichen snorted coldly. No matter how terrible Xiao Yang is, Fang Jingyang is still a big idiot in front of Zhang Yichen. What do you know? Zhang Yiming snorted coldly. To tell you the truth, 40% of our company's stock has been acquired by someone. This is probably done by the Fang family. Do you know what our Zhang family will face if Zhang Yan doesn't marry into the Fang family? As soon as the words fell, Zhang Yichen's face was filled with shock. 40% of the stock, how is that possible? That's true. Several shareholders at the time didn't know why, but they all transferred their shares. If the 40 of the shares are in the hands of the Fang family, then it would be very easy for the Fang family to take action against us. Zhang Yiming sighed. Chapter 130. He's here with super fire. At this moment, Xiao Yang was half squatting outside the door, his brows furrowed and looking a little lost. At this moment, the sound of a cell phone dinged in Xiao Yang's ears. Dear VIP user, the Domio platform reminds you that there are only 30 minutes left for the Rising Star list. Looking at the message sent by the app, Xiao Yang's eyelids suddenly jumped. I almost forgot about this. I was supposed to vote for Xin Xianran on the Rising Star list today, but it overlapped with the dinner time, so I actually forgot about it. My mind is in a mess. He let out a long sigh. He didn't have a good solution for Zhang Yan's problem. Confessing his love to Lin Qiyu was an established fact and he couldn't refute it. And I fell in love with Zhang Yan only after the incident happened. He could only try his best to explain. Open the platform. Open your watch list. On the platform, Xiao Yang only followed one live broadcast room. Xin Xianran, which was easy to find. As soon as he came in, Xiao Yang saw a big red word PK in the middle of the live broadcast room. This is no longer the previous Xiao Lang Dai, but another round of PK. Although Shang Xian was wearing a mask, Xiao Yang could still see some glue on her face. Yes, the confident Shang Xian never thought that she would lose in an ordinary PK. She felt humiliated at this moment. She just sat quietly. But her heart was already unable to accept it. I can't even compare to a female anchor who was waving her hands and making poses and showing off her charm. Not only that, after Xiao Langdai won, the news spread to all the major newcomers' live broadcast rooms. For a while, many people couldn't help but come up and invite each other for PK. Apart from Xiao Langdai, this is the third female anchor to compete with Shang Xin. It is also a display of dancing talent. A female police officer with a quirky hat on her head, wearing black stockings, and her short skirts weighing slightly. However, no matter how short the skirt is, it still breaks the inherent balance of the Earth's gravity. Auto aim. There is no beautiful scenery to be seen. My Orenfeng is here. Where's the sniper? Come out and report the battle situation. No, even though my high school physics teacher told me that skirts should flutter in the wind. This obviously goes against what I've learned. The comments are almost all about the dancing female anchor. In fact, losing a PK game is nothing, and in the end it still depends on the total reward results. But Shang Xin's face was full of resentment at this moment. Unable to accept one's own continuous failure. 5 minutes. Only 5 minutes left for the PK. Xin lost again. There's nothing we can do. LSB is too powerful. Yes. I have tried my best. I have spent half of my living expenses this month. But no one has more than the change. It's true, even if Xiao Yang was here. Without any system tasks, he would probably vote for the anchor who was waving his hands and posing, twisting her slender waist. Any man would probably fall for her. As soon as Xiao Yang entered the live broadcast room, he was filled with emotion. This might be the reincarnation of a snake spirit, even more outrageous than Zhang Yan's waist. At this moment, the barrage had already discovered Xiao Yang's arrival. Suddenly countless comments about Mr. Yang came flooding in. Boss Yang is here. Damn it, Mr. Yang, you're finally here. Do you know how much Xin has been wronged? There's only half an hour left on the Rising Star ranking. No matter how awesome Mr. Yang is, I'm afraid he won't be able to make it to the top of the list. Xiao Yang stared at the nickname of Emperor whenever he entered the live broadcast room. A banner would be hung up. At this time, Shang Xin also saw the user Yang Mingliwan. Welcome to Yang Mingliwan, President Yang. Shang Xin's voice was a little soft. Perhaps because she didn't say it often, or maybe because she was tired from singing and her voice didn't seem right. Xiao Yang smiled and glanced at the girl who was competing with Shang Xin. Oh shit. An old virgin can't stand such stimulation. Xiao Yang swallowed his saliva and felt his abdomen getting hot. Thank you brothers for the rockets, thank you. As soon as the female anchor finished speaking, she saw Xiao Yang's banner. User Emperor became famous and entered the PK Live broadcast room. Woohoo, President Yang is here. Boss Yang is awesome. Boss Yang is here with his super rocket. For a moment, the barrage was full of comments about Xiao Yang. This is a PK. Xiao Yang looked at the gift comparison on the upper right and was a little surprised for a moment. The difference is about 30 or 40 times. Shang Xin's live broadcast gifts are not as many as others. When it comes to live streaming, you still have to look up to the old pervert. Boss Yang. Xin has been bullied so badly. Boss Yang. Take revenge quickly. Boss Yang, go. After seeing these comments, Xiao Yang felt better. Sorry, I'm late because of something. A super rocket fell, carrying Xiao Yang's words with it. For some reason, Shang Xin suddenly felt much more at ease. The female anchor, on the other hand, seemed a little overwhelmed. I can't be so unlucky. It's okay for others to PK. But as soon as I come here, I meet their sponsor. After thinking about it, she secretly put her hand down and tore off the double-sided tape on the inside of her skirt. Welcome, President Yang. As she said this, she winked at the camera. The next second, heavy metal music started playing. The female anchor suddenly stood up and jumped up. Fuck. Oh my god, it turns out my physics teacher didn't lie to me. Yes, that's it. Finally, I didn't violate the gravity of the earth. My skirt is floating. Where's the sniper? Quickly occupy the high ground. It takes a sniper to do this. Anyone who is not blind can see it. The turtle, it's actually pure white. Ah, I love it so much. My favorite color is pure white or girly white. It's so lovely. The LSB's eyes immediately fixed on the other party. And the barrage of comments turned to the other party again. The gifts in the lead broadcast room also began to shake. Thank you brothers for the plane. She smiled sideways and blinked. Suddenly, the gift became even crazier. Was it the pure white that was exposed, teasing the audience's heartstring? Even Xiao Yang felt a little thirsty. But soon, his hand was on the 99-shot super rocket. Release. Confirm. Boom boom boom. The special effects sound directly disrupted the entire live broadcast room. But pure white, it's all covered by the rocket. All the live broadcast rooms on the platform were blocked by a huge banner. 99 super rockets are worthy of being the most expensive special effect in the Funny Cat platform. And the banner is much larger than the ordinary super fire. Emperor become famous and get a free gift of Xin Xianrong Super Rocket 99. Emperor become famous and get a free gift of Xin Xianrong Super Rocket 99. Emperor become famous and get a free gift of Xin Xianrong Super Rocket 99. Boss Yang is awesome. Boss Yang really came with super fire. Turtle, how much have you brushed? You haven't stopped yet. This has to be 1,000 rounds. Why haven't you stopped yet? Boss Yang, fencing? For a moment, the barrage of comments rolled in. The female anchor who was dancing passionately suddenly turned pale. Thousands of rounds of super fire. How can we PK like this? Where is the soft persimmon you promised? Why is it so hard when it comes to me? Just a moment. On the gift list, Shang Xin instantly overtook others. At the same time, the data of gifts was also jumping wildly. And each jump was in the tens of thousands. Shang Xin was also shocked by the special effects. What kind of PK does exist in the live broadcast room? There was no human figure in sight, only the constant sound of rocket explosions and thick smoke. See the changes in the gift list. Shang Xin widened her eyes. A little stunned. Thank you Mr. Yang for the gift. Super rocket. She was about to cry. How can I thank you? Why hasn't this rocket stopped yet? Chapter 131, Dragon King's Taste. Just a click and it's 200,000. A 5 million recharged yesterday was not a lot. But Xiao Yang's hand speed was still not fast enough. He just clicked on one gift and one confirmation. It was only 50 times in total. But it took a whole minute. And in the live broadcast room, within this minute, there is no scene to be seen, only the gorgeous and vivid scene. Mr. Yang is so generous. Boss Yang, do you know how long I have been waiting for this moment? More than 2 hours. Do you know how I spent these 2 hours? Do you know? Indeed, these 2 hours were so uncomfortable that I drank 3 bottles of Nutri Express. 200,000 for one click. Is this the happiness of the rich? That's awesome, Father Yang. Are you missing a son? The rolling special effects gradually faded. Xiao Yan's mouth corners slightly raised. At this point, the live PK is coming to an end. The gift was worth 5 million. And the other party was not a newcomer that the guild particularly supported. Although the gifts were many, the gap between them and 5 million was too big. She was disheartened. The fluttering skirt also stopped. And Shang Xian's face was replaced by a smile. Half of the face was covered. The eyebrows were curved, but the eyes were very beautiful. Thank you, Mr. Yang. She nodded in thanks, her voice trembling slightly. A gift worth 5 million. She had forgotten all about the rising star list. For an ordinary person, these 5 million would mean becoming rich overnight. Xiaoyang smiled and sent out another super rocket, which read, "Your singing deserves so many gifts." To be honest, Zhang Xian's singing voice is really beautiful after listening to it for a long time yesterday. Xiaoyang himself was a little addicted to it. And on the barrage. After this sentence came out, everyone was in an uproar. Fuck. It turns out that listening to Xian sing costs so much. 5 million singing voices, what is high class? This is high class. Oh my god, I only got a $6 card and made a net profit of more than 4.9 million. I've subscribed million, level singing. Come and listen more often in the future. Is this the joy of the upper class? I have decided that from today on, I will no longer be an ISB, but will listen to music and be an upper class person. At one time some small gifts were also sent out. These gifts were given to Zhang Xian, and were also worn by Xiaoyang. However, these gifts seem pale in comparison to so many super rockets. Zhang Xian was also extremely surprised at this moment. Xiaoyang's words almost made her cry. Is my singing really worth so much money? Suddenly, I felt more confident in my persistence over the years. But soon, among the barrage of comments, another super popular comment was sent out. Anane, cheer up. Xiaoyang's barrage fell. On the other side, the female anchor who was feeling a little overwhelmed at the moment was stunned when she saw these words. President Yang also gave himself a super hot shot. For a moment, I was at a loss. Thank you Mr. Yang for the super rocket. For a moment, the audience was also amazed by Xiaoyang's actions. It turns out that Mr. Yang is also an LSB. I was wrong about Mr. Yang. Man. Ooh, jump up. And Zhang Xian was also speechless. However, a super rocket has no effect on the gift list. She glanced at the comments and was suddenly at a loss whether to laugh or cry. You continue to sing and dance it, as so nice to sing and dance at the same time. Xiaoyang fired another super rocket. Suddenly, the entire live broadcast room became extremely active. At this moment, a large number of viewers rushed into the live broadcast room. Fuck, that tiny waist. Legend of the White Snake. Right? I said, this pure white is the white snake. Fuck, this song is also very nice, but this song is so pure. And this dance, well, it is also very pure, after all. It is pure white. Besides, the most common comment is watch. Come and watch President Yang. Come and hear a million voices singing. Is this the happiness of rich people, high and low? I want it all. For a time, the popularity of the live broadcast room continued to rise. The effect of the 5 million gift has already come out. A full 5 million popularity points, of course. This is an exaggeration and not the number of people online. But the number of people watching the surging barrage is definitely not small. Xiaoyang was not in a hurry to continue giving rewards, but instead looked at the list above. Suddenly his brows furrowed. Is this the rising star list? It's really so terrifying. These 5 million have not even made it into the top 10. The 10th person from the bottom received gifts worth more than 7 million. And this is a new anchor, almost all of whom are supported by major guilds, and his data is constantly changing. Maybe you were in the top 10 1 second, and fell down the next. In the last 20 minutes or so, the guild had been exerting its strength almost continuously. Xiaoyang's super rocket banner had just fallen, and other live broadcast rooms also started to move at this moment. The banners never stopped and the speed kept increasing. And each of these banners is worth 200,000. This is really a waste of money. Xiaoyang sighed and lowered his voice. First place. The gift is worth 11.45 million. The most popular new anchor. With millions of views. It seems that I am still stingy. Xiaoyang thought about it and no longer hesitated. 20 million, recharge directly. It may take a lot of time to recharge such a large amount on the platform. But the Rising Star List event is too special, and almost all the staff on the cat playing platform are keeping an eye on it. As soon as the money in Xiaoyang's bank was deducted, the virtual currency of the Funny Cat platform had arrived in his account the next second. There were so many zeros that Xiaoyang was too lazy to count them. Instead, he calculated in his mind how many clicks he would have to make to give so many gifts. 200,000 each time. For a gift worth 20 million. You have to click 100 times to send and 100 times to confirm. This is still hard work. Xiaoyang let out a long sigh. And immediately began a fierce attack. His fingers tapped violently on the phone. Those who don't know might think that Xiaoyang is playing a game. But in fact, every time he makes a bet, he loses money that an ordinary person cannot earn in a year or even several years. Boom. In the live broadcast room, the gorgeous super rocket exploded again. The singing stopped. The dance steps were also messed up. Boss Yang is still sending them. Pirtle, it's still the scale of 99 rockets. Are you planning to go for tens of millions? Don't you remember what Mr. Yang said a few days ago? He wanted to lift XINXIN to the top of the list. The number one on the list is already worth 12 million. This is amazing. This is just burning money. I can see my house and car turned into ashes. 200 clicks. Perhaps because there were too many special effects. The platform started to lag a bit. This made Xiao Yang so angry. More than 2 minutes. 20 million, given away. A golden banner suddenly appeared above the live broadcast room. Congratulations to the user for reaching 20 million in consumption and obtaining the title of Dragon King. Fuck, there's actually a title called Dragon King? Turtle, Dragon King, this is the first time I've seen you. Boss Yang, can you please smile like a Dragon King? Hit him. Xiao Yang's mouth curled up. It has the flavor of the Dragon King. Chapter 132 Yuan Zong. At this time, in another live broadcast room of the Funny Cats platform. Shit, Xiao Chaoying fell off the top of the list. No, I seem to have some impression of this girl called XIN Xiang Rong. Just now, there was a guy called Yang Ming Li Wan, who kept making this room super popular. Everyone suddenly looked for him. On the ranking list, Xiao Taoying, who had been at the top for a long time, has fallen to second place. This is also a host and like other female hosts. Her category is the game area. Play games for a long time. This is also common in cat receipts. Many female anchors have gained titles on their chat rooms, but they are usually singing, dancing, reading comments, etc. As for games, I rarely play them. Little Cherry is sitting on a pink gaming chair at the moment. She is wearing very cute clothes and has a petite and cute face. She is wearing a white skirt and her legs and white stockings are hanging on the chair. She looks very attractive. Thank you brothers for the rockets. Her face was filled with an extremely happy smile. This time, the guild will support her to take the top spot on the Rising Star list. Of course, in addition to this, there was another rich man who also made harsh remarks to her. I will definitely help her get the top spot. To this end, the other party has already given more than 5 million gifts in the live broadcast room. Xiao Taoying knew it very well. As long as you get the top spot on the Funny Cat platform, you will get millions of exposures, including external advertisements, and the name of your own live broadcast room will be posted. He became famous overnight just recently. From a newcomer to a big anchor. All it takes is a top spot on the Rising Stars list. Of course, this also comes at a price. Thinking of the wretched man in the upper echelons of the guild, Xiao Chaoying frowned. In addition to him, the person number one on the list, Mr. Yuan, also needs to be thanked, as well. At this moment, she has been at the top of the list for more than an hour, surpassing the second place by nearly 1 million gifts. As long as we keep the heat going, the top spot will be within reach. But suddenly, the screen was filled with comments that stunned her. Your own number one got taken down? At this moment, apart from discussing this matter, the popularity of the barrage is slowly declining. Xiao Taoying, don't do anything yet brother, go next door and experience the high life. There are more than 20 million songs. I went to watch President Yang. Turtle, the Dragon King. Lord Dragon King, the 3-year period has expired. She raised her eyebrows and looked. All I saw was a golden banner prompt. Dragon King. There are only a handful of people with this title in the entire Doma O live streaming platform. You have to spend 20 million to get it. Apart from a few big guys in the guild, very few people can get this title. And everyone knows that the Dragon King in the guild was created by integrating the guild's resources. Mr. K. Yang. Not from any guild. These are all private rewards. That's very different. Watching live broadcasts is purely a hobby. Feeling comfortable, the one who gave 20 million in reward. Her expression suddenly changed, and then she smiled and said to the camera, I'm going to the bathroom, brothers wait a moment. Xiao Chaoying took off her headphones and turned away. You're not going to broadcast live when you go to the bathroom? Woman, you are unprofessional. The live broadcast room is still very popular. Although there is no one on the live broadcast page, there are still many comments. After a while, there was a sound of water. The host is not very old, and the volume is quite large. TSK. But soon, there was no other movement. At this time, Xiao Taoying had already made a phone call. Mr. Yuan. Xiao Chaoying, what's wrong? I was knocked off the top spot. What? Boss Yuan, please help me call back and forth. But I've earned over 5 million, and your guild combined doesn't have as much as I have. Mr. Yuan, the other party murmured, her voice extremely charming. At most, I'll stay with you for another week. Okay. And I'll do some more. I'm number one now. 25 million. What? 25 million? A gasp came from the other side. Soon, Xiao Chaoying came back. With a smile on her face. She showed a sweet smile. At this moment, inside the late broadcast room. Emperor Yuan entered the live broadcast room. The banner was immediately hung above the live broadcast room. Boss Yuan is here. Welcome, President Yuan. Boss Yuan is here to support Xiao Taoying. Will there be another Dragon King today? That's awesome. The one who came was none other than the number one in Xiao Taoying, Mr. Yuan. Mr. Yuan has received quite a lot of rewards during this period, and the total amount exceeds tens of millions, making him a well-known wealthy man. And Xiao Taoying also quickly welcomed Mr. Yuan verbally. Boss Yuan, let me see your super rocket. Boss Yuan, please open everyone's eyes and show them what golden flash is. The Dragon King is none other than me, Yuan Zong. The barrage flew by. And at this time, inside a hospital. Mom, please give me some more money, 30 million. That's all I want. Shi Woan, what on earth have you been doing? Aren't you in the hospital? How can you get so much money? Mom, just leave it alone. No, 30 million is too much. If your father knew, he would beat you to death. A middle-aged woman's voice came from the other side. Mom, I just waved my hand and gave 100 million to Xiao Yang. I want 30 million, which is not much. Besides, the Fang family will belong to my brother in the future. And I won't get any share. What's wrong with me asking for some money? This person was none other than Fang Jingyuan, who was lying in the hospital. He was also one of the richest people on the cat playing platform. Mr. Yuan. 30 million, it's hard to balance it out on paper. This is Fang Jingyuan's mother, who is also the Fang family's chief steward and is in charge of the Fang family's warehouse. To her, millions of dollars are nothing as long as her son is happy. She can make up the money by doing some accounting. The Fang family is wealthy and powerful, and several million is just a small amount. But these 30 million are different. Mom, just give it to me. My brother will get the Fang family's billions of assets in the future. And I can't even get a fraction of his. You are too biased. All I ask for is this little money. I am not competing with my brother for the family property. If you don't give it to me, I will jump off the hospital building immediately. Let's see who will be sadder, you or me. No. A sigh came from the other side. Fang Jingyuan's mouth corners suddenly raised. Soon, the cell phone rang. 30 million was directly transferred into his account. His expression brightened and he opened the background of the cat funnying platform. Top up. Soon, colorful special effects exploded in Xiao Taoying's live broadcast room. Thank you, Mr. Yuan, for the super rocket. The words were not finished. But the gifts did not stop. Rumble. Above everyone's live broadcast room. Barrages of comments flashed wildly. Fuck, President Yuan is exerting his strength. This is a fight. Xiao Taoying is back on top of the list. Boss Yuan directly spent more than 10 million turtle. How many minds does this family have? Xiao Taoying's face was immediately filled with smiles. Let's look back at the list. No, 1. A small peach cherry gift value. 28,736,734. No, 2. XIN Xiamrong gift value. 26,310,871. Chapter 133. There can only be one Dragon King to tease a cat. Xiao Yang had originally planned to shut down the live streaming platform. Originally, the number one on the list was only around 12 million. I spent 25 million, more than twice as much as the other party. So I felt I had one. But who would have known that as soon as Shang Xin finished her song, the top spot on the list fell to the girl named Xiao Taoying again. He glanced at the data. It's only 2 million more than Shang Xin. Small amount. Xiao Yang directly recharged another 5 million yuan from the backstage. At this moment, the barrage had already exploded. Popularity is also a direct guarantee, almost crushing those big anchors who have been famous for a long time. Similarly, Fang Jingyuan, who was in the ward at this moment, had a slight smile on his face. A golden banner appeared in front of everyone. Congratulations to user Yuan D for reaching a consumption of 20 million and obtaining the title of Dragon King. Fang Jingyuan smiled, full of disdain. Do you think you are worthy enough to fight against the young master of my Fang group? 30 million, but only half of it has fallen. He didn't believe that he couldn't get a small no. One spot on the rising star list. Thinking of little Cherry's pure and charming appearance, Fang Jingyuan's pants moved slightly to show his respect. You want to play? I'll play with you. Fang Jingyuan snorted coldly and put his hand on the super rocket. The next second, a super rocket banner was hung above the live broadcast room for all viewers. There can only be one Dragon King for cats, and that's me. After he finished speaking, he felt that his body was filled with the energy of a turtle. This person is called Yang Min Gli. It's so annoying just looking at him. Why not just pick a good name? Why do you have to include the word Yang in it? Whenever he thought of Xiao Yang, he felt like his mouth was leaking air. Although my teeth have been filled, I still feel a little uncomfortable. On the other side, Xiao Yang was also stunned. There is only one Dragon King? You've watched too much God of War, right? Otherwise, you can ask Doma O to take my Dragon King back. Xiaoyang didn't intend to pay attention. But the other audience members were different. When they saw the banners sent out by Fang Jingyuan, both live broadcast rooms exploded. All the comments began to lean towards General Yuan and General Yang. The audience in other live broadcast rooms couldn't stand it anymore. This is a naked salary adjustment among the rich. Everyone immediately exited the other live broadcast rooms. But within a short moment, the popularity and heat in the two live broadcast rooms skyrocketed. Come and watch the battle between the rich and powerful. There can only be one Dragon King to entertain cats. And that's Boss Yuan. Mr. Yuan is awesome. For a time, the popularity of the two live broadcast rooms also set the highest popularity record in the history of the cat playing platform. On one side, the popularity reached 3 billion, and on the other side, it reached 2.8 billion. Although it is a bit exaggerated, it is enough to show that the two live broadcast rooms have almost monopolized the entire live broadcast platform for funny cats. The anchors in other live broadcast rooms also stopped and started to watch. A fight has broken out. Damn it, I love watching rich people fight the most. Xiaoyang didn't want to pay attention to it at first. But he didn't expect that in just a moment, the popularity of Xin Xianrong's live broadcast room increased so quickly. Xiao Ying was also very excited at this moment. This popularity. The top of the list is no longer important. After today, her popularity will be close to those big anchors. At this moment, the guild leaders who were observing Xiao Ying's live broadcast room were also gearing up for it. Brothers, Boss Yuan is planning to cause trouble. Make it. The bigger the better. The more popular Xiao Ying is, the more money we make. Why don't we get together and push it again? No problem. My 358th regiment will definitely help with this matter. Xiao Ying didn't know what to do at this time. She just nodded and bowed to express her gratitude. Just then, the cell phone rang. She took a quick glance and was immediately filled with excitement. The guild has sent a message that the battle for the top spot will continue. However, there are only about 10 minutes left until the end of the event. She smiled and clicked on Xianrong's live broadcast room. Meanwhile, an option popped up in Xianrong's live broadcast room. A host, a little Peach Sakurai invites you to PK. Shang Xian was stunned. She was so busy looking at the comments that she didn't even sing or say much. As for Xiao Ying, she would know just by taking a casual look at the list. Should I answer it or not? Biting red lips slightly. Got it. Shang Xian clicked to accept. Next second, the two live broadcast rooms are merged together. In just a moment, the popularity of the PK live broadcast room exceeded 10 billion. Although the world's population is only 6 billion, its popularity can exceed 10 billion. These are almost the majority of Domo's users, all crowded into one live broadcast room. The barrage passed by so quickly that it was almost impossible to see clearly. Shang Xian was a little nervous, and at this time, the gift list had already started to move. Boom! The super rocket exploded again. The entire live broadcast room was once again flooded with gorgeous special effects. Thank you, Mr. Wang, for the 200 super rockets. Thank you, MRY, for the 200 super rockets. For a moment, Xiao Ying didn't know what to do and kept saying thank you. And here, Xiaoyang naturally noticed it as well. He stared at the rising stars list and frowned. That's over 30 million. The key is still rising. At this moment, General Yuan's super rocket also fell. One round after another. The value of the gift is close to 40 million. Xiaoyang was a little confused. Are they also rich? He had never imagined that a chart-topping event would cost so much money. 40 million, that's fucking outrageous. On the PK list, Xiao Ying also became increasingly popular, far surpassing Shang Xian. At this moment, everyone in the Funny Cat platform company is full of energy. Record broken. This time, we guarantee that everyone will get a promotion and a raise. Of course, they are happy to see the competition for the top spot on the Rising Star list. Everyone quickly made a decision and put the PK room on the homepage recommendation. As soon as you open the app or website, you will enter this live broadcast room. Tens of billions of popularity. There are only 10 minutes left. I really want to extend the activity time by another hour. All the staff members were filled with emotion. But at this moment, the barrage is also full of question marks. This popular new anchor is actually wearing a mask. The eyes are pretty, but I don't know what the face is like. What's the use of having nice eyes? It's just Grandma Kiao again. Netizens still have reservations about this kind of anchor who doesn't show his face. So they handle everything like Liu Lao Lao. However, no matter who handles it, it will not affect the results of this PK and the ranking. There are only two protagonists. One is General Yuan and the other is General Yang. Xiao Yang had also spent all his money at this time. Seeing the balance in the background all showing zero, I still feel a little sad. Damn, the money from watching live broadcast can be spent faster than buying a car or a house. In a flash, it was gone. At this time, the live broadcast room was already a bit stuck. Xiao Yang no longer wasted time. Still 7 or 8 minutes. Must ensure top position. This 100 million should be enough. Xiao Yang let out a long sigh. Almost all the viewers on the platform and the executives of the cat playing platform. Everyone is closely watching the results of this Rising Star list. This is definitely the most valuable ranking in the history of the Rising Star list. Chapter 130 for physical work. PK begins. No one cared about the host's performance. This performance is not as gorgeous as the super rocket fireworks. And Fang Jingyuan is here. He didn't stop giving gifts either. His fingers pressed hard on the phone screen. Thank you, Mr. Yuan, for the super rocket. Thank you. Xiao Ying stuck out her tongue, which was quite cute. This also made the audience in the live broadcast room greedy. Fang Jingyuan also felt a surge of anger beneath his body at this moment. Damn, this mouth. Dry. On this side, Xiao Yang was also tapping on the screen of his mobile phone. This will be the fastest hand speed in his life. Otherwise, how can we give away all these gifts worth 100 million yuan? Damn it, who invented this? You have to click to confirm a gift of $200. 0. Xiao Yang cursed. In an instant, countless super rockets exploded again. On everyone's screen, only the banner left by Xiao Yang remained. Dragon King become famous and give Xin Xianrong a super rocket 99. Dragon King become famous and give Xin Xianrong a super rocket 99. Dragon King become famous and give Xin Xianrong a super rocket 99. After several minutes, everyone started to feel numb. Fuck, how many times have I gotten so angry? It's about 4. 0 or 5,000 yuan if it's not. It's super popular for 2. 0 yuan. For a moment, everyone's eyes were filled with dazzling special effects. Shang Xian was stunned. She didn't know how to thank him. Boss Yang is so powerful. Boss Yang, can I still let you act cool in front of me? Super Rocket assembled. It's no longer a question of whether the family has a mine, but how many mines the family has. I like what Mr. Yang is like. There is only one Dragon King, right? Then I will let you see what the real Dragon King is. At this time, Xiao Ying was confused. The speed of this gift is too fast. For a moment, she even forgot to thank him. On Xiao Yang's side, his forehead was already covered with sweat. It's so painful. My fingers are a little sore. I really can't play this game if my hand speed is too slow. When did gift giving become a physical job? Why did President Yuan stop? Master Yuan is not going. Please continue with your rocket show. Don't be a coward, Mr. Yuan. There can only be one Dragon King when it comes to teasing cats. Here, Fang Jingyuan also widened his eyes. This. Looking at the comments. The teeth he just implanted were almost broken. He gritted his teeth and recharged all the money in one go. No matter what, we can't lose face. Otherwise, how can he, the dignified Mr. Yuan, continue to work on the Funny Cat platform in the future? Krypton. Spend it hard. All of a sudden, Xiao Ying's gift list also began to roll over at a very fast speed. There were thousands and thousands of gifts rolling on both sides. But here, Fang Jingyuan's face gradually turned pale. He no money. 30 million. Just less than 10 minutes. Alright. On Xiao Yang's side, however, it was still going on. Mr. Yuan has turned off the engine. You're out of money, aren't you? It's possible. I calculated that Mr. Yuan spent at least 30 million today. Turtle, over 30 million. What about President Yang? Just look at Xian's list and you'll know. Everyone gasped. 50 million, 60 million. Not stopping yet. Everyone stared at the gorgeous special effects in front of them, and the expressions on their faces gradually became amazed. Oh my god. This is heading towards billions, right? Xiao Yang's gifts did not stop and continued to bombard him. Xin Xianrong's expression was numb. She just put her hands under her legs and dared not make a sound. Dragon King become famous and give Xin Xianrong a super rocket 99. Dragon King become famous and give Xin Xianrong a super rocket 99. Still didn't stop. The bombing continued. Finally, this way. 100 million. But it hasn't stopped yet. Damn, this is twice as much as Xiao Ying. It's too wild. Has anyone counted how many super fires have been sent? Where's the count? Come out quickly. Counter Khan has fallen to the ground with foam at the mouth and died. Look at the popularity, it has exceeded 20 billion. 20 billion views. People from the entire galaxy are watching the live broadcast. Right? On this side, Shang Xian almost fainted. She originally came from a poor family, so she was so happy when Xiao Yang gave her the 2 million as a reward last time. But who would have thought that the 2 million was just an appetizer? Now, countless 2 million have been transferred in. Ziqiu Sui Yi, her lips trembled slightly. Xiao Yi was also confused. How much is it? It seems to be more than 110 million. Two of them gasped. I've seen rich people, but I'd never seen anyone as rich as this. A gift worth hundreds of millions. Each click meant 100,000. And he had been clicking for almost 10 minutes without any intention of stopping. It's too exaggerated. Their heartbeats suddenly accelerated and they had no idea what to do. Thank you, Mr. Yang. Shang Xian swallowed and said a little nervously. But Xiao Yang had no time to care about Shang Xian at this moment. The hand is still clicking. He no longer had time to look at the list. There's no time. If you fail to get the top spot because of your slow hands and fail to complete the task, you will lose a lot. 1098. 21. In all live broadcast rooms, the golden numbers count down. 0 characters appear. Next second, a huge golden banner appeared before everyone. Rising star list activity ends. Champion, thriving banyan tree. Live broadcast room number 34,158. Click on the direct train to go immediately. When Xiao Yang saw this scene, he let out a long sigh of relief. It's winter, but my forehead is already sweating, and my fingers also felt a little sore. He tapped the phone screen so many times that it was almost broken. The voice of the system suddenly resounded in my mind. Byte. Short-term mission of Dream Ambassador. Completed the trial run. Ask reward. Random cashback card 1 to 100. Get your reward. Xiao Yang let out a long sigh. He had been busy for so long and spent over 100 million yuan just for this moment. Suddenly, a card appeared in my mind, and then it started spinning wildly. Please, give me a high-rate cashback card. Closed his eyes, and placed them on his forehead. Byte. Congratulations to the host. You have received a 15x cashback card. I'll do it. 1 to 100 times, but they only gave 15 times that, Esta stingy. Xiao Yang rubbed his head. But that's okay, after all. Things like cashback cards are outrageous enough. Just as he was about to stand up, a voice came. What are you doing squatting here? Xiao Yang looked up. Ginger. At this time, Xiao Yang's eyes were red and his forehead was covered with sweat. Well, this is earned by giving gifts. As we all know, watching live broadcasts and giving gifts is a physical activity. Chapter 135. The other family's explanation. At this moment, Xiao Yang's fingers trembled slightly. Perhaps he had been squatting for too long. And when he wanted to stand up, his legs felt numb the next second. And he staggered against the wall. Zhang Yan subconsciously wanted to step forward. But he took a step forward and was about to reach out his hand. But then he stopped. Do you have anything else to say? Zhang Yan turned around and wanted to leave. Zhang Yan. Listen to me explain. What happened between you and me happened after I confessed my feelings to Lin Qiu. From then on, you are the only one in my heart. Xiao Yang let out a long sigh and said, I didn't know you were from the Zhang family, nor did I know you were Xiaozu's sister. Otherwise I would have come to find you a long time ago. He looked at Zhang Yan, his eyes full of affection. Zhang Yan was suddenly moved, but she remembered what Zhang Yiming had just said in the conference room. Regardless of whether what Xiao Yang said was true or not, he confessed it 99 times. Can Xiao Yang really let go of a relationship so quickly and fall in love with himself? She suddenly felt a little ridiculous. The next second, her face turned cold. What happened between you and that girl named Lin Qiu has nothing to do with me. If you came to see me today, then you have achieved your goal. Zhang Yan suppressed the heartache and opened her mouth. After just a moment, he shook his head helplessly. If you are here to attend the auction dinner, then you should go downstairs now, the party is about to start. After the voice fell, Zhang Yan turned around and left without even looking back. Xiao Yang was stunned for a moment and was about to chase after him. Just then, another voice came from behind. Xiao Yang? Xiao Yang turned around and it turned out to be Lin Hanwen. I've been looking for you for a long time. By the way, how did you get in? Lin Hanwen looked at Xiao Yang in confusion. I came in with a friend. Xiao Yang smiled and looked at the figure that was already going away. Feeling confused. I'm glad you're here. The banquet is about to begin and the auction will be held in a while. Come with me, Lin Hanwen said, pulling Xiao Yang. Okay. Xiao Yang nodded. On the other side, Zhang Yan had disappeared. What's wrong? It's okay, let's go, Uncle Lin. Xiao Yang sighed. Although Lin Hanwen noticed that Xiao Yang's expression was a little strange, he didn't say anything. The two soon arrived at the place where the banquet was held. Xiao Yang looked around. Everyone here was well dressed and elegant. They were all holding glasses of champagne and chatting with acquaintances. But I didn't find Zhang Yan. I don't know where she went. Soon, Xiaoyang saw another acquaintance, Fang Jingyang. The Fang family is wealthy and powerful, and wherever Fang Jingyang is, a lot of people will gather around him. Although many people witnessed what happened just now, no one mentioned it. They all raised their glasses and smiled. Fourth uncle, Zhang Yichen walked by, glared at Xiaoyang, and then left. You know him? Lin Hanwen asked in surprise. The fourth son of the Zhang family is quite a character, Lin Hanwen said with a sigh. He is indeed a character. Xiaoyang let out a long sigh and frowned slightly. He knew almost no one here, except Zhang Yichen, Fang Jingyang and Lin Hanwen. Forget about Fang Jingyang, but there is no way Xiaoyang would go up to say hello. Zhang Yichen had a gloomy face at the moment. If he went up to say hello, he would probably be beaten. After thinking about it, Xiaoyang decided to follow Lin Hanwen around. Lin Hanwen had just returned to Jiangdu and didn't know many people, but many people still came forward to hand him their business cards and then looked at Xiaoyang. Is this your son? That's not the case. I'm just bringing a junior to see the world, Lin Hanwen said with a smile. Everyone left thoughtfully. Is this Lin Hanwen's descendant? Not really. Besides, how could Lin Hanwen's descendants afford to offend the Fang family? Lin Hanwen himself is nothing in front of the Fang family. Unable to guess Xiaoyang's identity, everyone was reluctant to approach him and talk to him. If they offended the Fang family, it would be a loss. At this time, Zhang Yiming also appeared in front of everyone. As the Fang family was the only emerging family, many people came forward to hand over their business cards and chat with them. After Zhang Yiming greeted everyone one by one, he went straight to find Fang Jingyang. Nephew Fang. Uncle Zhang, is there anything wrong? Fang Jingyang's expression gradually turned cold. And he didn't like Zhang Yiming. It's nothing. I heard that your father returned to Jiangdu. Won't he come to the dinner today? Zhang Yiming asked. My dad has handed over all matters concerning the dinner to me, Fang Jingyang said casually. The next second, everyone in the room looked surprised. This sentence has a lot of meaning. In Jie Province, Jiangdu's auction dinner can be considered a very grand event. Not to mention the strange and rare items being auctioned. The most important things are land, shops, company shares and so on. The Fang family started out in real estate, and until now, they are still the leading real estate company in Jiangdu. The annual auction dinner is extremely important to the Fang family. They will basically be the best in the field and take the most promising land. And these matters need to be decided personally by the person in charge of the Fang family. Fang Jingyang attended the dinner alone, and the ins and outs involved are worth thinking about. This means that Fang Zhan has handed over almost all of the Fang family's affairs to Fang Jingyang. At this time, Zhang Yiming's expression also became slightly surprised. Fang Jingyang came to the dinner alone. The Fang family had been handed over to Fang Jingyang. And what happened between Xiaoyang and Zhang Yan just now would be even more difficult to deal with. He smiled and said, that's good to it. That's a good way to train young people. At this point, he pulled Fang Jingyang aside and asked, shall we talk? Fang Jingyang pondered for a moment, then waved his hand. The others immediately stepped back. Before Zhang Yiming could speak, Fang Jingyang said coldly, Uncle John, have you known about Xiaoyang and Zhang Yan's affairs for a long time? Did you also arrange for Uncle to help Xiaoyang? These words can be said to be a direct blow to the relationship. Except for the word uncle, which is quite pleasant to the ear. All other words are basically just put directly on the table. Zhang Yiming let out a long sigh. It seems that it is difficult to fool people. Fortunately, the problem has basically been resolved. I really don't know anything about the two of them. And I've only heard about how the fourth brother helped Xiaoyang. Everyone in Jiangdu knows who the fourth brother is. And I can't control him. Zhang Yiming shook his head. I can't admit this matter, even if I kill myself if I admit it. Not to mention the falling out. I guess the Fang family will take action against the Zhang family in the stock market tomorrow. Fang Jingyang is now the absolute face of the Fang family. And the Zhang family is planning not to fulfill this engagement. Fang Jingyang glanced at him. Her form, of course. You know Shaikaun, she is just a child, and was fooled by Xiaoyang's sweet words. We've already talked about this. Shaikaun has seen through that guy now. There's no way they can be together. Fang Jingyang sneered, obviously not satisfied with this answer. Seeing this, Zhang Yiming lowered his brows and spoke again. Tomorrow, make an appointment with your father and make arrangements. Tomorrow, you and Shaikaun will get engaged immediately. Originally, both parties chose to get engaged next month, but times are different now. Zhang Yiming pondered for a moment, and simply told Fang Jingyang what he was most interested in. Let's arrange the marriage tomorrow. This is the best explanation to the other party's family. The voice fell. Fang Jingyang was stunned at first, but his eyes were filled with joy. Chapter 136. The auction begins. Xiaoyang just found a place to sit down. There is a central stage in the distance, which I guess is where the auction takes place. After a while, everyone stopped communicating and looked into the distance. Chao Yang looked around and found that Lin Hanwen had returned, holding two signs in hand. This is the brand you need for the auction. Unlike a formal auction house, the location here is not rigorous. In addition to the tables filled with people, there were also sofas, and some people even stood up and held up their wine glasses to drink with others. Lin Hanwen stuffed a sign into Xiao Yang's hand. I have already registered for you. If you like anything, just raise the sign in your hand. Lin Hanwen instructed. Xiao Yang nodded. The two of them sat down casually. It was a sofa, which was quite comfortable. Xiao Yang had just sat down when he found a pair of eyes staring at him. When he looked again, he saw Fang Jingyang looking over here. Xiao Yang was not polite at all. He looked back and then slowly extended his middle finger. Fang Jingyang's expression suddenly turned cold, but soon he revealed a meaningful smile. Here, a charming voice was heard, and everyone looked sideways. In the center of the stage, a young woman in a red cheongsam was already standing on the stage. As a man, when looking at women, Xiao Yang is the same as most men. Scanned from head to toe. Snow-white long legs with perfect curves. Different from the girl Xiao Yang knew, she seemed to have the unique temperament of a mature woman, which made people look at her more. Boy! Xiao Yang turned around and saw Lin Hanwen glaring at him. Xiao Yang quickly shifted his gaze and asked, is she the host of tonight's auction? Lin Hanwen nodded and said, Zhu Jiyuan, from the Zhu family in Kyoto. Zhu family. Xiao Yang was stunned. Well, this auction dinner has always been hosted by Zhu Jiyuan. The Zhu family is a big family in Kyoto, and most of the items being auctioned come from the Zhu family. Xiao Yang shuddered suddenly and said, are the land and shares being auctioned all from the Zhu family? Mostly. The Zhu family has its roots in Kyoto, but they have properties all over the country. Take the E608 lot tonight for example, it was originally the Zhu family's property. Worth billions. There are countless plots of land like this under the Zhu family's property. It's said that the Fang family in Jiangdu and the Zhu family in Jingdu are both from the same city, but they are worlds apart. The Zhu family is richer than the Fang family? Xiao Yang asked in surprise. This is not just about money. There are many other things that the Fang family can't compare to. Lin Hanwen pointed to the ceiling. Xiao Yang understood immediately. But I don't think I've seen anyone with the last name Zhu on any Forbes list. You won't find truly wealthy people on the Forbes list. So, don't stare at her with lustful eyes. She is a poisonous rose. Lin Hanwen patted Xiao Yang's shoulder. He glanced around. Sure enough, few people attending the dinner glanced at Zhu Jiyuan, and most of them were chatting about their own things. Everyone. Zhu Jiyuan's voice came. Suddenly, everyone looked over. But none of them looked as bold as Xiao Yang had just done. I declare that the Jiangdu auction dinner has officially begun. As soon as the words fell, there was a sudden silence all around and the lights in the center of the stage came on. It starts just like that? Xiao Yang asked in surprise. Of course, this is not a live TV broadcast, so why make it so grand? Lin Hanwen picked up a glass of wine, drank it, and chose a comfortable sitting position. Xiao Yang was stunned. He didn't expect that a dinner party gathering Jiangdu's wealthy people would be so casual. The purple cicada gold and jade tea set was an imperial item used by King Li Yang 700 years ago. The starting price is 10 million, and each bid increase must not be less than 1 million. Zhu Jiyuan introduced. I saw a set of exquisite tea sets in the glass display case that was lifted up. Suddenly, many people were eager to take action. What rich people care about most is style. Drinking tea and talking business is a daily routine. If you take out such a fancy tea set when you are discussing business or meeting guests, it will dazzle the other person. As soon as Zhu Jiyuan finished speaking, someone raised a sign. Mr. No, 31 offered 10 million. Zhu Jiyuan took a look and said, Mr. 40 offers 11 million. Mr. 11 offered 12 million. Xiao Yang had no interest in the tea set and just watched calmly. Lin Hanwen, on the other hand, raised his sign twice. But his price was exceeded both times. Just then, another person raised the sign in his hand. Mr. 1 offered 19 million. Everyone looked over. It was Fang Jingyang. The Fang family has always been number one, which also establishes the Fang family's status in Jiangdu. Everyone stopped holding up their signs. The price was already inflated to begin with. And besides, it was just a set of tea sets, so no one wanted to go against the Fang family. Xiao Yang became interested and raised the sign in his hand. 20 million. Mr. 14 offers 20 million. Fang Jingyang frowned slightly, glanced over, and when he saw it was Xiao Yang, his face suddenly darkened. 21 million. Fang Jingyang held up the sign. 30 million. Xiao Yang didn't tolerate him and raised the sign again. Tea set, right? I'm not interested, but I like to argue. Everyone looked at Xiao Yang, and many of them recognized him. This is the young man who put a hat on Fang Jingyang in public at the hotel entrance. For a moment, the meaning of this first auction item seemed to be different, and the air seemed to be filled with invisible smoke. 31 million. Fang Jingyang's expression turned cold and he raised the sign again. Who on earth is this kid? He is trying to disgrace the eldest son of the Fang family. Love rival. Love rival, is there anyone who dares to snatch a woman from Fang Jingyang? Yeah, and it was successful. Xiao Yang raised the sign again slowly. 35 million. After he finished speaking, he looked at Fang Jingyang and said with a smile, the Fang family is really rich. They spent tens of millions just to buy these bottles and jars. Fang Jingyang didn't reply and raised the sign again. 36 million. 40 million. Xiao Yang spoke again. Come on, continue. I still have the 200 million yuan that your Fang family paid as compensation. Xiao Yang stared at Fang Jingyang and sneered. Fang Jingyang frowned slightly. Speaking of the 200 million, he felt a burning pain in his abdomen. 41 million. Fang Jingyang's face changed slightly and he said in a deep voice. You're awesome. Xiao Yang gave a thumbs up and sat back. 41 million to buy a teapot. It must be said that the Fang family is rich. Come on, I won't take pictures anymore. Seeing this, Fang Jingyang smiled and said, boring. Everyone around immediately withdrew their gazes. This kid doesn't seem to be that great, he gave in so quickly. Fang Jingyang turned around and smiled at Zhang Yiming. Uncle Zhang, I heard that you love drinking tea, so I'll give you this set of tea sets. Okay. Zhang Yiming laughed and was in a good mood. After Fang Jingyang finished speaking, he didn't even look at Xiao Yang again. He turned his head away, as if he didn't care at all about what had just happened. Chapter 137 Music Company. On this side, Lin Hanwen naturally noticed the conflict between Xiao Yang and Fang Jingyang, and felt relieved. In this way, the resale of the Fang family's land is basically a done deal. Xiao Yang must be trying to trick the Fang family. In fact, Lin Hanwen really didn't know what happened outside the hotel just now. He just thought that Fang Jingyang was injured because of the incident in Xingfu community. Although this matter is secret, with his ability, he can still find out. On this side, Xiao Yang didn't feel surprised when he saw Fang Jingyang trying to please Zhang Yiming. I guess they have already finalized something just now. Most likely Zhang Yan's. Otherwise, Fang Jingyang wouldn't have to try to please Zhang Yiming. Xiao Yang thought thoughtfully. And on the stage, the second auction item also came up. A model airplane. Xiao Yang didn't expect that such a high-level auction dinner would have such childish things. But even so, many people held up signs to signal their support. I think I want to take it home for my kids to play with. In this way, more than a dozen auction items, ranging from toys to clothes signed by celebrities and even footballs kicked by stars, are all available for sale. This auction item is really strange. Xiao Yang smiled. These are usually the toys of the younger generation of the Zhu family. I don't have much change, so I take them out and sell them. Lin Hanwen explained. These are toys of the younger generation of the Zhu family. They can be sold. Does the Zhu family need this little money? Xiao Yang asked doubtfully. That's not necessarily true. The big family is rich and prosperous, but not all people with the last name Zhu are rich. That's true, Xiao Yang nodded thoughtfully. Here, Xiao Yang and Fang Jingyang had no interest in the dozen or so auction items, and time was passing slowly. But soon, the auction items finally returned to normal. Foreign government bonds. Xiao Yang looked at the auction items with surprise. These are basically the national debts of some small countries, which are not very useful. The next step should be the sale of some company brands, shares, etc. Can I buy shares here? Yes, the shares being sold are all shares of some unlisted companies of moderate size. They can be resold under the name of an auction. Xiao Yang nodded. Company shares and foreign government bonds worth more than 1 billion. The style of this auction dinner immediately became more upbeat. Xiao Yang stopped slacking off and started looking forward to it. 40 million. Suddenly, a sign was raised. 41 million. Seeing this, Xiao Yang immediately raised his sign. In fact, he had no interest in it. Anyway, Fang Jingyang has raised the sign, so I have to follow suit. No reason, just to cause trouble. In my crow's words, no matter how much the other party offers, I will offer 1 million more. Stop when it's almost time. You can't let Fang Jingyang feel comfortable anyway. Soon, the price was raised again by more than 10 million by the two. Xiao Yang spread his hands. You are awesome. Fang Jingyang was also very angry. Because of Xiao Yang's trouble, he had to spend more money to buy some things. The key is that it's not easy to stop singing halfway. Xiao Yang may be shameless, but the Fang family has to want it. And he, Fang Jingyang, has to want it. Fortunately, Xiao Yang himself was afraid of getting stuck and buying useless things at a high price. The price he called out was just inflated, but it was still within the acceptable range for Fang Jingyang. Just like that, There are several more items for auction. Whenever Feng Jingyang raised his card, Xiao Yang would almost always raise his card a few times. After this round, Feng Jingyang had to spend almost 100 million more than before to buy some things. Although 100 million was nothing to Feng Jingyang, he was still disgusted by Xiao Yang. This kid is really good. Someone looked at Xiao Yang and muttered, I don't know if it's possible, but it's definitely shameless. Really, the key is whether this guy has money or not. Look at how he holds up the sign so freely if he gets into trouble and gets himself involved. It will be a joke if he doesn't have money to give. It's possible. In fact, Feng Jingyang also thought so. However, he knew that Xiao Yang lived in Xingfu community and was not really poor. Besides, the Fang group also compensated him 200 million yuan. He actually took out these tens of millions. If he wanted to counterattack Xiao Yang, these little tricks were completely useless. On this side, Xiao Yang naturally knew that Feng Jingyang probably wanted to trick him. So he basically just did a few rounds. Lot No. 44 is the ownership and 100 shares of Noisy Music Company. Chuanhua Music Company was once the largest record company in Jiangdu. Zhu Jiyuan slowly introduced. Xiao Yang seemed to be thinking about something. He had some impression of this Noisy Music Company. Many of the songs I listened to when I was a child were released by this music company, which is quite famous in Jiangdu. However, most of the singers signed by the company are former rock, jazz and other outdated singers. Almost all of the singers under the company make a living by selling record albums. It's just that times are progressing. The current market is almost entirely occupied by young and handsome men. When it comes to selling albums and singing, appearance is almost always the first priority. These singers gradually fell into obscurity, and the company also fell into decline. At this time, I could only see in the distance. A sign was held up. 100 million. This is Feng Jingyang. Xiao Yang stopped thinking and raised the sign in his hand again. 100 million was not only used to buy the company's shell brand, but also to sign contracts with various musicians of the company. Many musicians have been signed for a very long time, and even some new artists have been signed. Xiao Yang took a glance and thought that 100 million was not a lot. This was once the mainstay of Jiangdu, and produced many phenomenal songs. 110 million, Xiao Yang said slowly. 120 million. 130 million. 170 million, Xiao Yang's voice fell. But this time, Feng Jingyang suddenly revealed a meaningful smile. 170 million at a time. 170 million twice. 170 million 3 times. Make a deal. The voice fell. Xiao Yang just shouted a few times casually. Compared with before, the number of times he shouted might not be much, but in the previous few times, the amount was added up by millions. And this time, it is added up millions and millions more. The few times I tricked Feng Jingyang before, he almost made up for it with one move. Feng Jingyang smiled. Everyone around started laughing. This boy is quite brave, but his brain is not very good. Lin Hanwen looked at Xiao Yang with a confused look. Why would you buy a music company with so much money? It works. What made everyone fail to react was that Xiao Yang also laughed. Bite. Task release. Becoming a super rich person starts with music long-term task. Is this kid stupid? Indeed, it doesn't look very smart. Dear, Feng Jingyang shook his head, and the meaning was very clear. Fight with me? Save it. On this side, Zhang Yiming also smiled and gave Jingyang a thumbs up. Zhang Yichen, who knew Xiao Yang better, frowned slightly. This guy is not a generous person. Chapter 138. He's broken. The 45th auction item. Landy 805. The voice fell. Everyone present suddenly became much more energetic. Land. If you ask what is the easiest way to make money these days, it's real estate. And land means money, lots of money. The Fang family made their fortune in real estate. And many of the Zhang family's businesses are also related to real estate. Previously they were just small things to everyone. At this real estate. This is the highlight of tonight. Xiao Yang and Lin Hanwen also raised their heads at this moment, and looked at the stage intently. Soon, an exquisite projector appeared behind the stage. Zhu Jiyuan said slowly, Landy 805 is located on Zining Road, DC District, Jiangdu City. Covering an area of. The voice slowly fell, and everyone around shook their heads. DC area. That is the old city area of Jiangdu. Due to the transfer of the city center, the land price in the old city has not been rising like that in the XC area, but has almost been declining in recent years. For real estate developers in Jiangdu City, the land there is not valuable at all. If it is industrial land, and it's not a big deal, the price is affordable and you can build a factory there, so it's not a loss. But the nature of this land is commercial land. That's completely different. The prices of industrial land and commercial land differ greatly. As soon as they heard it was commercial land in the DC area, everyone lost interest. On this side, Xiao Yang's expression brightened. Old Town location. He quickly opened the city plan map in his mind. The location of the site number D805 is right in the center of the old city. This place used to be the city center, so it has always been considered commercial land. But now, it has become quite depressed. But Xiao Yang knew that this piece of land was not the wasteland as everyone thought. On the contrary, this is simply a prime location. This is originally the central commercial area of the old city. In addition, after the high-tech zone is built here in the future, it will also become the commercial center of the high-tech zone. In a word, even if you buy the property and build a square for middle-aged ladies to dance, and put up billboards for advertising, it will still be a huge profit. Not to mention such a large piece of land. Xiao Yang's mind suddenly became active. Only the money to buy the land. Xiao Yang frowned slightly. Then his expression suddenly brightened. Etc. I have more than just this little money. When I confessed my love to Jiang Yan just now, if I remember correctly, the system should have given me a treasure chest of money. But I was so focused on Jiang Yan's affairs at that time that I forgot about it. He quickly asked the system to open the warehouse. Sure enough, there was a golden treasure chest lying peacefully in the warehouse. Money box randomly obtained a certain amount of cash. A brief introduction. Xiao Yang frowned. No range. No amount. This is too random. However, it was too late to make a wish, so Xiao Yang chose to open it directly. The next second, the treasure chest suddenly flashed open. Below, a series of numbers immediately jumped. Fuck. So random. Xiao Yang was about to curse out loud. As the numbers turned, he even saw the single digits. A few dollars. You have the nerve to call it a treasure box. It really starts randomly from $1, right? But soon, the amount grew. Xiao Yang couldn't even count the total amount. I can see it. This is a random number between 1 and tens of billions. You're messing with the system. Xiao Yang silently prayed for God to bless him and closed his eyes. Stop. Finally, the numbers stopped jumping. 3,157,561,587. Seeing the densely packed numbers, Xiao Yang took a breath. Fortunately, it is not $1, nor $10, nor even $1 million, but it is measured in billions. More than 3.15 billion. Xiao Yang finally breathed a sigh of relief. This string of numbers. It's like getting rich overnight. As for the purchase of a music company which I just spent over 100 million. DSK, small problem. Looking at this string of numbers, Xiao Yang finally experienced the feeling of being a super rich man. Soon, his cell phone rang. Xiao Yang took a glance. I saw that a large string of numbers had been transferred to my bank card. There are more than 3 billion in this card. Xiao Yang quickly deleted the text message. I can't let others see it. Oh my god. What does it mean to get rich overnight? This is what it means to get rich overnight. This way. After introducing the land, Zhu Jiyuan's voice also rang out. Land D805 starting price 1.5 billion. Each increase in price must not be less than 10 million. After these words were spoken, many people's brows relaxed a lot. This price is not expensive, even for a rundown old town. Such a large piece of land. Soon, someone held up a sign. Xiao Yang did not rush to bid, but thought slowly. How about this piece of land? Lin Hanwen suddenly said from the side. We can get it. Xiao Yang said slowly. But this is the land in the old city. There are not many people in the old city now. Lin Hanwen frowned. Xiao Yang smiled and said nothing. Let's talk about the next piece of land first. He is determined to get this piece of land and there is no way he will give it to Lin Hanwen. Just then, sign number 1 was raised. 2 billion. After the voice fell, many people put down their signs. The land in the old city is not bad for 1.5 billion. From 2 billion upwards, even if there is profit to be made, it won't be much. But everyone looked at Xiao Yang. It was Fang Jingyang who also glanced at Xiao Yang. Xiao Yang was stunned for a moment and frowned slightly. When everyone saw him like this, they couldn't help but sneer. Fang Jingyang also smiled. You can't even afford a piece of land. Xiao Yang immediately gritted his teeth. 2 billion and 10 million. Fang Jingyang saw the gnashing of teeth and felt relieved at once. He raised the sign calmly. 2 billion and 30 million. He calculated it. As long as we can get this piece of land for around 3 billion, we won't make a loss. The Fang family is involved in many industries. Unlike others, the cost for them to develop a piece of land is much lower. 21 billion, Xiao Yang said directly. The voice became a little urgent. This kid is planning to fight Master Fang head-on. No way, young man. I was tricked by young Master Fang last time. So I want to get back at him. No one can explain this clearly. The Fang family has unique advantages even if they take over the land. They can save a lot of costs during development, but others can't do that. Yes, I estimate that the Fang family can make 2.3 or 4 billion and still make a profit. On this side, Fang Jingyang was still taking his time. 2 billion to 100 million. 2,221 million. Xiaoyang pondered for a moment, and after Zhu Jiyuan's second confirmation, he gritted his teeth and said, 2 billion to 130 million. Fang Jingyang raised the sign again. 2 billion 250 million. 2 billion 300 million. Xiaoyang, you are crazy. Lin Han went on the side quickly pulled Xiaoyang to stop him. I'm not crazy. Whoever is cowardly tonight is a dog. Xiaoyang raised his eyebrows. Everyone's faces were immediately filled with playful expressions. Urgent. He was anxious. He's broken. Chapter 139 Bluffing? Xiaoyang didn't care about the people's sneering voices. At this time, except for himself, everyone present felt that it was a wasteland. Xiaoyang looked at Fang Jingyang provocatively. At this time, Fang Jingyang was neither hurried nor slow. Just now at the hotel entrance, he was defeated. How could he feel relieved if he didn't trick Xiaoyang back now? 2 billion for 100 million. Fang Jingyang raised his head and said, 2 billion for 100 million. This is almost the peak price of this land. Going forward, even the Fang family will have to carefully consider the pros and cons. He looked at Xiaoyang with a smile on his face. On the other hand, Xiaoyang's eyes seemed to be red at this moment. This time, Xiaoyang was obviously much slower in making the offer. As if he was thinking about something. 2 billion for 100 million. If it's not the Fang family, whoever takes it will definitely lose money. Yes, apart from the Fang family, the construction costs of those developers can raise the true value of this land to an incalculable level. Land, if not developed, is just land. You can't just not develop and build on commercial land worth billions of dollars and use it for farming. As for commercial use, this involves various projects. But these resources and projects include manpower. Within the scope of Fang family's resources, costs can be controlled at the lowest level. This is the strength of Fang family. It isn't matched by other companies. If the price exceeds this, everyone will lose money. This was the consensus of everyone present. Fang Jingyang was not in a hurry. He could still make money at this price, and he could even use the Fang family's influence to renovate the old city. Although it could no longer become the city's commercial center, it was Zhengdu's urban land after all and could still be developed. Therefore, whether Xiaoyang accepts it or not, he will not lose anything. As long as the price is higher than your expectations, let Xiaoyang take over. He didn't believe that there was anyone else who had the influence of the Fang family to develop this wasteland. 200 and 400 million twice. Zhu Jiyuan's voice came. Just as Xiaoyang was about to speak, Lin Han suddenly pulled Xiaoyang. Don't act on impulse. Xiaoyang pushed Lin Han away. His eyes seemed to be red. 2.5 billion. He suddenly laughed crazily. Fang Jingyang, 2.5 billion. How about that? Do you dare to continue? The voice fell. Everyone shook their heads. 2.5 billion. This price has far exceeded expectations. However, after such a provocation, I'm afraid Fang Jingyang will still accept it. After all, this concerns the Fang family's reputation. Besides, a loss of 1 or 200 million is nothing to the other party's family. At this time, Zhang Yiming looked at Xiaoyang with some surprise. This guy has so much money? He had investigated Xiaoyang, a child from an ordinary family. It was beyond his expectation that he could afford a luxury car like the Phetan and live in a happy community. But there is so much liquidity. That's not an ordinary child. He frowned slightly, but said nothing and looked at Fang Jingyang. Nephew, Uncle Zhang, don't worry, the Fang family is more powerful than this. Even if they add a few 100 million more, the Fang family can still turn this land into money. He raised the corners of his mouth. After that, he raised the sign again. 200 and 600 million. But as soon as he finished speaking, Xiaoyang's voice rang out. 27 billion. At this moment, everyone looked sideways. Even Zhu Jiyuan on the stage couldn't help but take another look at Xiaoyang. This boy looks good, but he doesn't look like a person who acts on impulse. Seeing how anxious he is, doesn't he know that this project is losing money? There is no rush to lose money. Besides, this is real estate. The funds will not be recovered so quickly. With so much money invested, this land will only be valuable after it is developed. And construction takes time. This is not just about losing money. If such a huge amount of money is invested in other places, the returns will be even greater. What's more, this is a recognized money-losing project. 200 and 800 million. 3 billion. Xiaoyang's voice immediately followed. Xiaoyang wiped the sweat from his forehead. In fact, he was really anxious. Damn, I thought Fang Jingyang should have let go a long time ago. Who knew that his performance was a bit too much and directly made Fang Jingyang drunk? Oh shit. Being too good at acting is also a problem. There are only about 3 billion in my card. On the internet. Xiao Yang was really afraid that this land would fall into the hands of the other party. This time, I was really anxious. Xiao Yang let out a long sigh and looked at Fang Jingyang again. This time, Fang Jingyang finally calmed down, but a smile slowly appeared on his face. If an ordinary company were to develop this piece of land, it would have to consider the profit and loss issue at the price of 2 billion. And Xiao Yang, 3 billion. It would be strange if you could make money. I didn't expect Zhang Yan would fall for a loser like you. Fang Jingyang shook his head. Zhang Yiming just smiled awkwardly. He also didn't expect that Xiao Yang would be so excited. This also illustrates a point. Xiao Yang is not as simple as he appears to be. Or maybe he was bluffing and inflating the price in order to impress Fang Jingyang, but he didn't expect that he would end up getting himself into trouble? Fang Jingyang looked at Xiao Yang and thought the same thing. 3 billion. Can Xiao Yang get it out? At this time, Zhu Jiuan's voice fell quietly. 3 billion 3 times. Make a deal. Here, Xiao Yang finally breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, the ground was taken down. But at this time, everyone looked at Xiao Yang as if he was a fool. This is really a big idiot. 3 billion to buy a piece of wasteland. Let's not talk about how it will turn out after development. Let's just wait and see the loss of 10 billion. On this side, even Lin Hanwen was looking at Xiao Yang worriedly. Are you too impulsive? Xiao Yang smiled and said nothing. At this moment, Fang Jingyang slowly spoke. 3 billion. Xiao Yang, do you know what 3 billion means? After he finished speaking, Zhang Yiming also looked at Xiao Yang. Zhu Jiuan on the stage also slowly said, Mr. Xiao, our auction dinner requires direct remittance to pay for the bill. We do not accept any other payment methods. Others also looked at Xiao Yang. The meaning is also very simple. This is 3 billion in liquid funds. Can this guy take it out in one go? This auction does not allow buying on credit. You can't even pay tomorrow. Payment must be made immediately after the auction ends. A few years ago, some people also falsely reported prices and ended up having no money to pay after buying the items. It is said that his company went bankrupt overnight and was uprooted by the Zhu family. This is no joke. The power of the Zhu family lies here. If you come here to cause trouble, you will be courting death. By the way, is there anyone with the surname Shaoan or Zhangdu? That's not true, at least Zhang doesn't have one. These 3 billion are not something that everyone can come up with. The voices gradually became louder, and Xiao Yang naturally heard the gossip. And Fang Jingyang looked at Xiao Yang jokingly. He still didn't believe it. How can a loser who has been poor for 20 years and has to work part-time to earn money while in college come up with so much liquid funds? Xiao Yang reacted and looked at Lin Hanwen beside him. Are they suspecting that I have no money? Chapter 140 A Bright Future. Lin Hanwen didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He had seen the wine in Xiao Yang's house. Just those liquors are enough to show whether Xiao Yang has money or not. Who would have so many precious wines on their wine cabinet? And you enjoy these without money? So he still believed that Xiao Yang had the financial strength. But he was still the same as everyone else. 3 billion to buy such a piece of land is really too much. When auctioning items, do I need to pay on the spot? Xiao Yang said with a smile. I haven't heard of that. That's not necessary, Zhu Jiuan said on the stage. But the rule of our dinner is that the payment in goods must be settled within 1 hour after the dinner ends. Here, Fang Jingyang looked at Xiao Yang with a smile. 3 billion. This is no small amount. There is no such thing as an unknown person who can come up with such a large sum of money. Xiao Yang's background is too ordinary. Or there is some shocking secret. Or, it's just a pretense, but it's a mess. Next, Fang Jingyang still needs to continue the auction. And he really doesn't want to continue playing with Xiao Yang. For example, Site 608. Most of the people who came tonight actually have their minds on this land. It was a normal auction, and Fang Jingyang was still very confident that he could win. But if Xiao Yang disrupts the situation and raises the price, it will obviously be disadvantageous to the other family. He doesn't want such uncertainty to occur. If Xiao Yang can't come up with the money now, then everything will be easy. Not only would it destroy his reputation, but it would also expel Xiao Yang from the banquet. It would also help me save face. Fang Jingyang stared at Xiao Yang as if he was looking at a clown. After a moment, he smiled and said, Actually, the banquet is over. It's not too late for you to pay. Only, he glanced around and said slowly, the guests here are all certified and have important backgrounds. And this is your first time attending the dinner tonight. Not only me, but everyone here doesn't know whether you are qualified to attend this dinner. Having said that, Fang Jingyang took a sip of the wine on the table and raised the corners of his mouth. If you are really capable, why not complete this deal in public? Xiao Yang looked at Fang Jingyang and frowned slightly. Before he could speak, Fang Jingyang's voice fell again. Why, no money? Xiao Yang was immediately happy. But he was not in a hurry. He just said slowly, of course I will pay the money. But we just agreed that whoever is a coward is a puppy. How about this, you call out twice and I'll pay you right on the spot. How about that? After saying that, Xiao Yang raised his eyebrows. I didn't say anything about who is a coward or a puppy. You said that yourself. I didn't agree. Fang Jingyang's face darkened. I didn't expect that even at this time, Xiao Yang still didn't forget to mock me. Others also looked at the two of them. To be honest, this melon is sweet. The Fang family is wealthy and powerful. And others are afraid of him, but some people also hate him. Seeing Xiao Yang ridiculing Fang Jingyang, many people were already happy. That's Zhang Yichen. Although he had just punched Xiao Yang, he felt that Xiao Yang had indeed deceived his eldest niece's feelings. But it did not affect his joy at seeing Fang Jingyang make a fool of himself. Then what the hell are you talking about, you wimp? Xiao Yang snorted coldly. You. Fortunately Fang Jingyang is not Fang Jingyuan. And is not so impulsive and irritable. I actually endured it. He looked at Zhu Jiyuan on the stage. Ms. Zhu, please continue. Good. There is no such rule in auction dinners to force guests to pay on the spot. Anyway, if he can't pay, the Zhu family will naturally not let him leave. Zhu Jiyuan was not worried about this matter at all. Besides, with Xiao Yang around, it would only benefit the Zhu family. At least from now on, the prices of these auction items are more than 10 billion higher than the original estimated prices. This is all thanks to Xiao Yang and Fang Jingyang's argument. She smiled and waved her hand. This is Lottie 608, located in Gongming District, Jiangdu City. Site T608. Lin Hanwen became excited after hearing this. What happened to Site T608? Xiao Yang asked, puzzled. Lie. This land is located close to the east side of the XC area and is the development center designated above. It is close to Jiangdu Hui River, with Jiangdu Administrative Center on the Western People's Park on the right. A lot of residential buildings, plazas and department stores are being built here, and the location is very advantageous. Lin Hanwen recalled and said slowly. If nothing unexpected happens, this place will become the most prosperous place besides the XC district. Especially in the Hui River area, a large number of houses will be built here, and the urban population will gradually shift here. And because it is close to the XC area, it will also be driven to become a pseudo-city center. Fake city center? Xiao Yang was stunned. District XC has become a commercial center. As long as it continues to prosper, this place will become a pseudo-commercial center by virtue of District XC. If anything unexpected happens in the XC district, the economic focus will shift to the Gongming district, which will become the new commercial center of Jiangdu. Xiao Yang nodded thoughtfully. According to Lin Hanwen, if there is a problem with the XC area, the Gongming area will be replaced by the new CBD. But why do new areas appear in old city areas in my city planning map? Is there a problem in Gongming district? He opened the city planning map in his mind and looked at it carefully. The next second, his eyes widened. Oh shit. A worst hit area. Gongming district has become the hardest hit area. What does this mean? The red markings cover nearly 1/3 of the bright area. This place will no longer be a pseudo-commercial center in Lin Hanwen's eyes, but a disaster area. Coincidentally, this hot site E608, right in the heart of the hard-hit area. Xiao Yang took a breath of cold air. This shouldn't be much better than the land in the XC zone that Lin Hanwen developed earlier. Whoever buys it will die. Thinking of this, Xiao Yang looked at Fang Jingyang, who was full of confidence in the distance. It has to be said that Xiao Yang felt a little sorry for Fang Jingyang. Having taken over Lin Hanwen's land, he is now probably also interested in the E608 land. These two plots of land have been completed. Even the wealthy and powerful Fang family is likely to run into problems. While Xiao Yang was thinking, Zhu Jiyuan spoke from above. The starting price is 5 billion. Each increase in price must not be less than 10 million. This is the land price in Gongming district. The prices are quite different from those in the old town. One has a starting price of 1.5 billion, and the other has a starting price of 5 billion. Moreover, the area of the land in the old city is twice that of the land in Gongming district. At this time, no one would know that there would be problems with this land. Everyone believes it. This land is as bright as the place where it is located. Get it and you will have a bright future. Chapter 141. E608 Land Auction. This way. Lin Hanwen, who had been silent for half the night, finally raised the sign in his hand. Like most people present, his target was also the land E608. Xiao Yang frowned slightly, but did not say a word to remind him. Regardless of whether Lin Hanwen believes it or not, the key is what reason he has to find to persuade him this time. However, this piece of land is very popular now, and it is still a question whether Lin Hanwen can get it. He looked at the confident Fang Jingyang in the distance, and his heart was at peace. If Lin Hanwen wants to compete with the Fang family, I'm afraid it won't work. At that time, at worst, I can still stimulate Fang Jingyang, raise the price, and make Lin Hanwen give up. 5.5 billion. 5.5 billion. This time, it was obviously much more lively than before. Fang Jingyang naturally also raised his sign, but this time, no one would give the Fang family this face. In just a short while, the price of this land had reached 6 billion. Xiaoyang looked at his pocket. Although he really wanted to provoke Fang Jingyang, he was really short of money. 6 billion. Fang Jingyang raised the sign in his hand and spoke in a very loud voice. 6 billion and 50 million. Lin Hanwen held up the sign. Fang Jingyang looked toward Xiaoyang thoughtfully. Lin Hanwen just smiled friendly. 601 billion. Fang Jingyang snorted coldly. 62 billion. Someone continued to bid. It was not until now that Xiaoyang realized that Zhengdu was truly a place where many hidden dragons and 5 tigers were gathered. There are many people who can afford to spend billions. Of course, it's different from the Fang family. Their billions may be a gamble of all their assets and bank loans. Although the Fang family has more than 6 billion, it is not enough to gamble everything. There is still a gap. 6.5 billion. Fang Jingyang spoke again. The others immediately became depressed. There is nothing that can be done about this. The Fang family simply has the strength to do so. It is easier for them to develop than other businessmen because they have their own engineering teams and their own construction resources, which can fundamentally reduce costs to the lowest level. And other people have to think about that. 6.53 billion. Lin Hanwen gritted his teeth and spoke again. He still had enough money. After all, he had just sold the expensive land in District Tech C to the Fang family. Xiaoyang thought about it, then looked at Lin Hanwen and said, "Uncle Lin, will there be any problem with this piece of land?" "Won't. How could anything go wrong? The nature of the land was just tested this year." Lin Hanwen shook his head. Just as Xiaoyang was about to say something else, someone else shouted out 6.6 billion. 67 billion. Fang Jingyang held up the sign. Seeing Fang Jingyang's confident look, Xiaoyang suddenly felt that the Fang family was not that pitiful. They are so confident in claiming these 6 or 7 billion. So even if they lose a little more, it won't be a big problem. But how can we lose money? The next second, Xiaoyang's expression suddenly brightened. "Ras. I also have a 15x cashback card. I almost forgot about this. The land in the old town, plus the music company. More than 3 billion. Just get that money out. 15 times the cash back. That's more than 40 billion. Thinking of this, Xiaoyang took a breath. Oh my god, I'm so rich now. We have to give the Fang family more money. Xiaoyang thought about it and raised the sign in his hand. 7 billion. As the voice fell, everyone in the audience was shocked. Everyone looked at Xiaoyang, with interesting expressions on their faces. Zhang Yiming, in particular, was stunned. This kid. 7 billion plus the previous 3 billion. That adds up to tens of billions in liquid funds. Can this guy get it? If it is really brought out, then the background will have to be pondered. It's this kid again. No, can he really come up with so much money? I mortgaged my entire company to get this much money from the bank. If you ask me, this kid is here to destroy the Fang family. The Fang family's place is secondary. This is still the Zhu family's place. At this point, someone glanced at Zhu Jiyuan on the stage. Neither the Fang family nor the Zhu family can be offended. If you mess with the Fang family, you will lose everything. But if you mess with the Zhu family, it is very likely that your family will be destroyed. At this time, Zhu Jiyuan looked at Xiaoyang in a daze. Surname Xiao. There is only one Xiao family in the entire China. Could it be? Impossible. She shook her head. She knew almost all the people in the Xiao family. So how could a young man named Xiaoyang suddenly appear? Besides, even the Xiao family probably doesn't have 10 billion to let the younger generation play with. 701 billion. Fang Jingyang frowned slightly, but still said nothing, just raised the sign again. 72 billion. Xiaoyang's mouth curled up. At this moment, Lin Hanwen patted Xiaoyang on the side. 72 billion is a bit much. A lot? Xiaoyang was stunned. Of course, if we get 7.2 billion, it's not that there's no profit, but this real estate is not something that can be bought in the East Market and sold in the West Market. And various other factors must be taken into consideration. Lin Hanwen reminded. In fact, there is still a lot of profit margin here. But this profit margin also needs to take costs into consideration. If you invest 7 billion in other projects, you may earn more than this. And the risk may be smaller. Xiaoyang naturally didn't listen to Lin Hanwen's words. And just said, how much do you think the Fang family can offer? About 7.8 billion. Can it be so high? Well, there is still a lot of land in Gongming district that was previously acquired by the Fang family. This piece of land can bring together the land they acquired before. In addition to the lower development cost than others, it can also form a very large economic circle through the connection of the land. Lin Hanwen began to explain. So, the Fang family is determined to get this piece of land, Xiao Yang said in surprise. Yes. And what's the significance of this auction? Xiao Yang couldn't help but laugh. There is still some. After all, we don't know whether the Fang family still has so much liquid funds. Don't forget, they just took over the land in District Taxi and haven't started developing it yet. If they can still come up with so much money now, then the Fang family's background is really too terrifying. In addition to the land in the previous XC zone, there are also funds needed for subsequent development. The accumulated amount is unimaginable. It's so terrifying. Lin Hanwen let out a long sigh. Xiao Yang's scalp also felt tingling after hearing this. But if I think about it, I still have more than 40 billion. I'm not afraid of a hammer. 78 billion. Right? Good. Xiao Yang smiled and held up the sign. 78 billion. The voice fell. This time, even Fang Jingyang himself was startled and looked at Xiao Yang with raised eyebrows. Others also frowned and looked over here. Zhu Jiyuan on the stage was also moved. 8 billion. This is Fang Jingyang's limit. However, he never thought that he would need so much money to get this land. Etc. His face looked gloomy. I seriously suspect that you are here on purpose to raise the price and disrupt the dinner. Xiao Yang, we don't know whether you have money or not. I'm afraid that the only Xingyang company under your name is not even worth 10 million. Having said that, Fang Jingyang looked at Zhu Jiyuan. Ms. Zhu, I asked him to pay off the previous payment for Len 805. Otherwise, if the price continues to rise, it will be unfair to our family. Chapter 140 to Wang. Hey? Okay, scream twice for me to hear, Xiao Yang said with a smile. You? Fang Jingyang frowned. This is humiliating yourself. If Xiao Yang can't take it out, he will ask for it back, if he really pays the money. Then what am I? Really yell it for him to hear? But what if Xiao Yang is not forced to pay now? So if Xiao Yang directly raises the price, should I continue bidding or give up? If we give up, the loss for the other family will be huge. This is the center of the Fang family's other lands, and it is possible to connect the lands and develop them together. There is a reason why the Fang family must take it. If he fails to get it, he is afraid that his status in the Fang family will be in big trouble. Don't underestimate it as just a piece of land. If it doesn't work out, even with my father's support, the other uncles in the Fang family may not be so satisfied. It is very likely to affect his inheritance of the Fang group. That would be totally unprofitable. But if I continue to make trouble with Xiao Yang, who knows how high he will raise the price? If it exceeds the budget, it might be disadvantageous to me. Fang Jingyang knew the importance of things. Now it seems that he still has to force Xiao Yang to pay. Otherwise he will be like a fly, buzzing in his ear. Which is disgusting. After thinking for a while, Fang Jingyang said coldly, okay, if you can pay the money, I can yell for you. But if you can't afford the money, not only me, but also the Zhu family won't let you go. Having said this, he also glanced at Zhu Jiyuan. Zhu Jiyuan just nodded. No matter who disrupts the normal process of the auction banquet, our Zhu family will never let him go. Speaking of this, Zhu Jiyuan's expression turned cold, which was very different from before. Good. And I really want to hear the eldest young master of the Fang family barking like a dog. Xiao Yang burst into laughter. I'll pay now. Here. Staff have already prepared and have sent up documents such as the land use rights contract. Xiao Yang took a look and habitually looked at Zhang Yichen. The latter glared back. Xiao Yang rubbed his chin. Don't worry, the Zhu family won't do anything about this kind of thing. These are all contracts issued personally by the higher-ups. And there won't be any unfair contract clauses, Lin Hanwen reminded. Xiao Yang nodded, then took out his bank card and took the contract documents. 3 billion. Everyone looked at Xiao Yang. Can this kid come up with so much money? Here, Zhu Jiyuan also came over. She was responsible for all these matters. So she kept a close eye on the payment process throughout. Soon. We got the news here. 3 billion. Transfer successful. Zhu Jiyuan's face was immediately filled with smiles. Mr. Xiao, we have received your payments. Sorry to bother you. It's okay. Xiao Yang smiled, put the contract away, and then looked at Fang Jingyang. Master Fang. You must have had a dog before, right? Do you know how to bark? When the voice fell, the whole audience fell silent. Everyone looked at Xiao Yang in astonishment. At this time, even if a needle fell on the ground, the sound would probably be heard by everyone. You are really not afraid of death? Mocking the Fang family like this? If Fang Jingyang really barked like a dog today, the Fang family would have lost all face. And this young man has completely offended the Fang family. Of course, apart from this, everyone also became curious. What is the identity of this young man? Before, one might have thought that he was bluffing and trying to disgust Fang Jingyang. But the money was taken out. And it was 3 billion that was spent on buying a piece of wasteland as a toy. This is outrageous. This Jiangdu, or the entire Jie province. How many people can come up with 3 billion, let alone a young man in his early 20s? Judging from his expression, the 3 billion seemed insignificant. And we have just made the decision with the Fang family. It's not easy. Chow family? But it'd be impossible. Someone shook his head. That's very intriguing. Dear. Fang Jingyang was also stunned for a moment, and his breathing became a little disordered. This time he was really disgusted by Xiaoyang. He took a deep breath and clenched his fists. But at this moment, a slight pain came from the abdomen again, and his face became more and more embarrassed. Xiaoyang. Do you know what you are talking about? Fang Jingyang said in a deep voice. I say, young Master Fang, it's time for you to learn how to bark like a dog. Xiaoyang said without changing his expression. Don't push your luck. Fang Jingyang narrowed his eyes, looking fierce. The eldest young master of the Fang family should be an upright gentleman who is willing to accept defeat. Xiaoyang laughed. You. For a long time. Fang Jingyang glanced around. Many people's faces turned red. Some people were really excited to see the famous eldest son of the Fang family barking like a dog. You can be excited, but you can't show it. So at this moment many people's faces were red. And it seemed that they were feeling a little uncomfortable. Suddenly, a laugh was heard. Everyone looked over. Zhang Yichen immediately stopped laughing and said, Hey, Jingyang, I think you should just do it. It's not a big deal anyway. Just accept the loss, haha. In fact, Zhang Yichen had indeed endured it. Only, still couldn't help it. Although he is unhappy with Xiaoyang now, he has to admit that it was a great job. If he wasn't afraid of being accused of being unkind, he would have taken out his cell phone to take a picture. Zhang Yichen. Fang Jingyang was so angry that his body began to tremble. Master Fang, please come in. I want to hear what the difference is between my little teddy bear and mine. The voice fell. Suddenly someone couldn't help but burst out laughing. Fang Jingyang remained unmoved and just glanced at the person who was laughing. Suddenly, the laughter stopped. Fang Jingyang let out a long sigh. Oof. He still kept his promise. But, I completely lost face today. It seems there is still a difference. Young Master Fang's barking sounds more like a dog. Xiaoyang smiled. At this moment, Zhu Jiyuan, who had a stern face, couldn't help but let out a laugh. Fortunately few people heard it. Fang Jingyang just took a glance. He really had no way to deal with this lady. Unlucky. Fang Jingyang frowned. Please continue the auction of Lottie 608. Ms. Zhu. Chapter 143. Are imitations so expensive? The auction continues. 79 billion. Fang Jingyang narrowed his eyes and said in a deep voice. 79 billion is close to the limit. He stared at Xiaoyang closely. And besides anger, there was also a hint of worry in his eyes. Unfortunately, Xiaoyang had no intention of taking over this piece of land in the first place. So he didn't fight to the end this time. At this moment, he was only interested in the 15x cashback card he had just used. 3 billion times 15. 45 billion. Xiaoyang let out a long sigh. He had never thought about this number. Not only that, there is also a piece of land at a super low price. Yes, super low price. If everyone present knew about this piece of land, a science and technology park would be built here, which would become a high-tech new district in the Silicon Valley of Jiangdu. Then this piece of land, 3 billion. Oh, I'm afraid the starting price must start from 6 billion. This is more than twice as large as the land in Gongming district that was just auctioned. And the future will be even brighter than that in Gongming district. Xiaoyang was immersed in the huge wealth for a while. So he had no time to care about the disaster area worth 9 billion. On this side, everyone still looked at Xiaoyang as usual, looking forward to him arguing with Fang Jingyang again. It's a pity that they only saw Xiaoyang's silly smile but didn't hear the offer that came out of his mouth. On the stage, Zhu Jiyuan also took another look. 79 billion 3 times. Make a deal. The voice fell. Fang Jingyang let out a long sigh. That was his mission tonight. Get this land within 8 billion. Finally got it. Congratulations, Zhang Yiming said with a smile. Fang Jingyang smiled slightly. After this piece of land fell into the hands of the Fang family, the Fang family must have big plans. Zhang Yiming knew very well how much land the Fang family had acquired in Gongming district. Now that the most important piece of land had been acquired, all of the land in Gongming district by the Fang family would be connected into one piece. With such a large piece of land, there will naturally be big moves. Fang Jingyang laughed and said, "Of course. To be honest with you, Uncle Fang, we have news that Zhangde University of Science and Technology is preparing to relocate its campus. They also plan to follow the example of the United States and build a center that uses technology to guide economic development. I think the Gongming district is the place." The voice fell. Zhang Yiming's eyes suddenly widened. He had also heard of this news, but thought it was just a rumor. But after hearing what Fang Jingyang said, "I'm afraid it's true. Your father went to the capital just for this." "Yeah," Fang Jingyang nodded. Zhang Yiming let out a long sigh. If this is true, then the Fang family is about to take off. Everyone knows about Silicon Valley in the beautiful country. It is not easy to build a center that integrates science, technology and economy. Now, they are planning to develop a place like this in Jiangdu. So the support from above must be significant. So even if this piece of land is acquired for 8 billion, there is no regret at all. Even 9 billion or 10 billion is worth it. Once the Fang family controls this area that will develop rapidly in the future, they will own the future. The Fang family will go one step further, and have even greater wealth and strength than they do now. Fang Jingyang was naturally contented at this time, as if he had seen the rise of the Fang family in the future. If the time he spent in control of the Fang family could help the family take a step further and squeeze into the ranks of the country's aristocratic families, then he would have made great contributions to expanding the territory of the Fang family, and no one would be able to threaten his position. He laughed and looked at Zhang Yiming. "Uncle Zhang, please tell Shaikao that tomorrow's engagement is very important, and I want her to dress nicely." Of course, of course." Zhang Yiming laughed and nodded in agreement, feeling very grateful at the same time. Fortunately, the matter between Zhang Yang and Xiao Yang has come to an end here. Otherwise, how could they have been able to get on board the big ship of the Fang family? It now seems that it is almost impossible to bring down the Fang family. When Fang Jingyang completely takes over the Fang family, Zhang Yan probably won't blame herself for forcing him now. The last auction item of the night. A voice came. Everyone immediately looked towards the stage, but they didn't expect that Lottie 608 was not the finale. Xiao Yang naturally became interested at this time and looked at the stage. The finale of an auction dinner is usually the most important item. Bi Ming amulet. When the voice fell, everyone looked over. All I saw was a jade pendant, crystal clear. There is a long group of girls carved on it, which looks lifelike. "A pendant jewelry?" Xiao Yang asked in surprise. Lin Hanwen, who was standing by, immediately smiled and said, "This is not an ordinary pendant ornament, but a work by the Jade Master Jingyan from 700 years ago. So what, after all, it's just a piece of jewelry, right?" Xiao Yang said with a smile. "Indeed, but it is said that the jade used in the Bai Ming amulet is very rare in the world and remains nameless to this day. There is no record of the production of this jade in the world. It can be said that there is no equal in the world." "That's special," Xiao Yang nodded. "A rich person's thing. A piece of jade, especially special, but of no practical use. It's not just unique, it is said that this jade is transparent and gentle. Wearing it will keep you warm in winter and cool in summer." A ruler of the Kang Ning dynasty carried this jade ornament with him and lived to be 116 years old. So mysterious, Xiao Yang's face was full of surprise. In that case, this piece of jade is truly priceless. That's right, although businessmen pursue profits, everyone knows that nothing is more important than good health. But this piece of jade is just a replica. Fake? No, it's true. It's just that this piece of jade was said to be carved based on the red nether amulet when it was made. So it's said to be a replica. Red underworld amulet. Xiao Yang was stunned. What is this? It is even more precious than the white nether amulet. It was worn by the ancestral dragon in the legend, and it was made of the same jade. However, it disappeared in the long river of history after the fall of the Qin dynasty. Later, it only appeared in ancient books. The white nether amulet is a replica. If it is the red nether amulet, it is probably 100 times more precious. An imitation of the real thing. Xiao Yang sneered. He didn't expect that this piece of jade was so profound and special. But after all, it was just a piece of jade, and he wasn't very interested in jewelry. At this moment, there was a sudden buzzing sound in my mind. Task release, spend 1,000 golds. Task description, take a picture of the Bai Ming amulet. Reward, red hell amulet. When the voice fell, Xiao Yang was stunned. This can trigger the task anyway. Of course, this is not the most important thing. The most important thing is the red nether amulet. The red nether amulet that had disappeared in Lin Hanwen's words was actually in the system's hands. Regardless of whether this thing is so magical or not, the key point is that it is even better than the Bai Ming amulet. After all, the Bai Ming amulet is just a replica. In other words, buy one and get one free. Buy a replica and get the real thing for free? System, you are so generous, Xiao Yang let out a long sigh. And then looked towards the stage. At this moment, inside the glass display case, an exquisite jade pendant appeared in front of everyone's eyes. The Bai Ming amulet starts at 500 million. Each increase in price must not be less than 10 million. When the voice fell, Xiao Yang was full of astonishment. A piece of imitation jade is worth 500 million. What about the real thing? Thinking of this, he immediately raised the sign in his hand. 500 million. Chapter 140 for engagement. This time, no one focused their attention on Xiao Yang. This price is not surprising to them. They have all seen the world and naturally have heard of the Bai Ming amulet. Let's not talk about whether this thing has the effect of keeping warm in winter and cool in summer, or prolonging life. The price alone is worth the unique name in the world. Jade and antiques. Worth the price. The items made by the ancient jade master Jingyan alone are worth hundreds of millions. Not to mention the Bai Ming amulet. At this moment, Fang Jingyang also raised his sign. 550 million. He looked at Zhang Yiming standing beside him and said with a smile, I heard this piece of jade is very legendary, but it is just a piece of jade after all. I wonder if Shai Cao likes this kind of jewelry. As soon as the words fell, Zhang Yiming's expression brightened, and he couldn't help but laugh. Shai Cao really likes this kind of decoration, but Jingyang, you've taken the trouble. That's not the case. Shai Cao will marry into the Fang family eventually and will be my Fang Jingyang's person. It would be best to use something like this as a betrothal gift. Fang Jingyang said with a smile. I think Shai Cao will like it very much. The two were chatting. Others also raised signs at this time. But in a short while, the auction price of this jade exceeded 800 million. Xiao Yang's heart also trembled. He didn't expect that this thing could be sold at such a high price. But for him, there is still more than 40 billion to spend. So this price seems not bad. 850 million. Xiao Yang raised the sign. After that, fewer and fewer people held up signs. After all, it is just a piece of jade regardless of whether it can really prolong life. Many people have already given up on it. 900 million. Fang Jingyang finally looked at Xiao Yang, frowning slightly, feeling a little unhappy. Since he wanted to use this jade as a betrothal gift, there was naturally a price limit for this jade. For him, the price of allowing him to have full authority will naturally not be too high. After thinking for a while, he raised the sign and said, 910 million. Having said that, his disgust towards Xiao Yang naturally increased to the extreme. This kid was bleeding heavily tonight. My budget is already much higher than before. If I spend too much money on my personal belongings, I'm afraid the elders in my family will complain again. Xiao Yang looked at Fang Jingyang with a smile on his face. 1 billion. When the voice fell, everyone was in an uproar again. Regardless of whether I can take pictures of the things I like tonight, at least it's comfortable to be able to watch these two people in the front row. Xiao Yang and Fang Jingyang spent the entire night arguing with each other. Then the price of the auction items was much higher than originally expected. I wonder to what extent these two will photograph this piece of jade. At this moment, Zhu Jiwen's face was naturally full of smiles. The higher the price, the better it will be for her. 1 billion and 10 million. Fang Jingyang shouted almost with gritted teeth. Xiao Yang, on the other hand, looks extremely relaxed. I have no money. Why do you raise the price by 10 million at a time? You are so stingy. Mondo thinks you are a woman. Xiao Yang laughed. Fang Jingyang's face darkened. You'd better talk less, or you might get your tongue cut off. What, cutting your tongue? Xiao Yang suddenly leaned back and made a frightened expression. There are so many guests here, all of them are well-known figures in Jiangdu. And you are actually here saying you want to cut off my tongue. You are simply lawless. At this point, Xiao Yang looked at Zhang Yichen. Uncle, is this considered a threat to me? Not really. According to Zhang Yichen took over the conversation out of habit. But after just a few words, he felt something was wrong. He glared at Xiao Yang and immediately stopped talking. Damn, this guy is really outrageous. Why are you dragging me along for no reason? Don't you know I'm very angry now? Xiao Yang was not in a hurry and just smiled. 1.1 billion. He held up the sign and chose a comfortable sitting position. 10. Fang Jingyang frowned and raised the sign again. But this time, before he raised the sign, Xiao Yang's words rang out again. 1.3 billion. You, Fang Jingyang was about to say damn it at this moment. At least let me tell you the price you want. You really want to fight to the death, right? Jumping from 1.1 billion to 1.3 billion. These are 13 small goals. 13 small goals. There are so many things you can do in this world. Not to mention whether he can come up with the 1.3 billion. Most importantly, he also had to consider whether other people in the Fang family would have any objections. Spending over 1 billion to buy a piece of jade as a betrothal gift. Although the Fang family is considered the richest family in Jade province, They are not willing to spend so lavishly. Not to mention what price Xiaoyang would raise it to. And if I buy such an expensive thing just for Zhang Yan, is it really worth it? Fang Jingyang let out a long sigh. His face looking grim. 1.3 billion once. 1.3 billion twice. 1.3 billion three times. Zhu Jiyuan's voice fell softly, like a hammer hitting Fang Jingyang's heart. Boom! The small wooden hammer came down. Make a deal. The voice fell. Fang Jingyang closed his eyes tightly. And if you looked closely, you could see the blue veins on his neck. From childhood to adulthood, he has never lost to others in anything. And now, women. He lost. Even in such a money-making matter as auction, he actually lost to Xiaoyang. This is Zhongdu. He Fang Jingyang is considered the #1 young master in Zhongdu. But tonight, I lost completely. His Fianqi agreed to Xiaoyang's confession in public. Then there is tonight's auction. I lost miserably. Although the land has been photographed, this is something that must be acquired. And that woof. If I could hold back at the beginning, it was because there were two things to do and I hadn't crossed the line yet. So now, this last auction has completely exploded. Fang Jingyang's face was filled with anger. But he had countless ways to vent it. Bang! The wine glass in his hand suddenly fell to the ground. Everyone looked at Fang Jingyang. He let out a long sigh, as if he had finally vented his anger, then turned around with a smile on his face. I'm sorry to disturb you all, my hand slipped. After saying that, he looked at Zhu Jiyuan with an apologetic look. Zhu Jiyuan didn't show any attitude. But Zhang Yiming frowned slightly. Compared with Fang Jingyang and Fang Zhen, he is still far behind. This time he was furious out of shame. But fortunately, I knew that this place was not easy to anger, so I took it back. On the other hand, Xiaoyang was looking at Fang Jingyang with a big smile on his face. I thought the wine glass was quite exquisite, but I didn't expect Master Fang disliked it so much that he actually broke it. At this point, Xiaoyang looked at Zhu Jiyuan and said, Mr. Fang and I are old friends. I paid for the wine glass he broke. As soon as the voice came out, everyone couldn't help laughing. Many people blushed with embarrassment. They didn't expect that even at this point. Xiaoyang still wanted to control Fang Jingyang's mentality. Zhang Yichen couldn't help but sneer, but fortunately no one noticed him. However, this time, Fang Jingyang did not remain silent. Instead, he looked at Xiaoyang and spoke slowly. Since we are old friends, why not tell Master Xiao something? Tomorrow, I will be engaged to Zhang Yan. But Mr. Xiao is a very busy man, so I will not invite you to the engagement party. Chapter 145. I want them all, but is it okay? What did you say? Xiaoyang's face changed. Then his gaze fell on Zhang Yiming. Zhang Yiming turned his head away. If it were before, he would have glared back. However, after this wave of auctions, apart from other things, he was still afraid of Xiaoyang, who was able to take out billions to buy a piece of wasteland and dared to confront Fang Jingyang face to face. He couldn't figure out whether Xiaoyang's information was true or not. How could Xiaoyang, a family that couldn't be more ordinary, come up with tens of billions? The only answer is the information that can be found. They're all fake. In other words, this information is for them to check. If this is true, it is very interesting. But even so, he did not regret marrying Zhang Yan into the Fang family. No matter what the Fang family is like, their foundation is solid. In Zhongdu, or even the entire Jie province, they can be said to be able to call the shots. He still had a clear mind even if Xiaoyang's background was mysterious. It didn't matter. Snort. Fang Jingyang snorted coldly and no longer looked at Xiaoyang. No matter what, Zhang Yan will still marry him, and that's enough. For Xiaoyang, it's a loss no matter what. Even if her heart doesn't belong to me. So what? Once I have obtained a person, I can eventually get her heart back slowly. Fang Jingyang no longer paid attention to Xiaoyang, but asked someone to handle the auction matters. The auction had ended at this time, and many people had sent people or personally handled the auction matters. This is also a tradition of the auction dinner. People from the Zhu family come and go in the wine room at the back. Payment, transaction. The money and goods are settled. Zhu Jiyuan also looked around and urged the matter to proceed. But after a while, Zhu Jiyuan had already walked towards Xiaoyang. Mr. Xiao. Miss Zhu. Xiaoyang was not in a good mood at the moment. He was still thinking about Zhang Yan's affairs. He frowned slightly and looked up at Zhu Jiyuan, giving her enough face. May he ask if Mr. Xiao is from the Xiao family? Xiaoyang smiled, but didn't understand what the other party meant. My last name is Xiao, and the family I live in is the Xiao family. I think the Xiao family I think of is not the Xiao family you are talking about. Zhu Jiyuan nodded slightly. She really didn't know that the Xiao family had a younger generation like Xiaoyang. Besides, even the Xiao family would not let a junior squander billions at will. After just a greeting, Zhu Jiyuan slowly said, someone will take over Mr. Chao's auction affairs in the wine room at the back. Everything you auction can be traded at the back. Xiao Yang nodded. And Zhu Jiyuan left. Xiao Yang glanced at it casually. I have to say Zhu Jiyuan's figure is really something that makes people want to take a few more glances. Graceful and charming. If my mother were here, she would probably comment with 2 words. Fertile. On this side, Lin Hanwen also noticed that Xiao Yang's face was not right. And asked, Zhang Yan is it? Xiao Yang let out a long sigh. Zhang Yan is the person I like. It's time to show your cards. Xiao Yang did not hide it from Lin Hanwen, and said slowly, I met Zhang Yan after I pursued Xiaoyu, but Xiaoyu rejected my confession at that time. After I met Zhang Yan, we had some stories together. Having said that, Xiao Yang looked at Lin Hanwen, but he didn't expect that Lin Hanwen didn't look angry. So, you like Zhang Yan, not Xiaoyu? He asked with a raised eyebrow. Yes and no. Xiao Yang rubbed his head. It is undeniable that he is Zhang Yan in his heart. But there is one thing, he cannot deny that his affection for Lin Qiyu is real. What an old scumbag. This is how Xiao Yang evaluates himself. Do you want them all? Lin Hanwen suddenly asked. Huh? Xiao Yang was stunned for a moment. He didn't expect Lin Hanwen's thinking process to be so clear. Then can I? Xiao Yang suddenly started to stutter. Our mother can. Unexpectedly, the well-mannered Lin Hanwen suddenly burst into swear words. Xiao Yang also felt that he was daydreaming and quickly shut his mouth. Damn it, what are you talking about? This is Lin Qiu's father. I actually discussed in front of him whether I can have them all. One of which was his daughter. To be honest, swearing was the lightest punishment. And it was good enough that Lin Hanwen didn't beat me up. Does Shi Wei know about this? Lin Hanwen asked. Xiao Yang shook his head. And is that girl named Zhang Yan planning to marry into the Fang family? Yeah, Xiao Yang nodded. No wonder you always target the Fang family. Lin Hanwen said with a sigh. Xiao Yang was speechless. Lin Hanwen's attitude really made him a little confused. Think it over carefully. Lin Hanwen pointed at Xiao Yang's chest, turned and left. What does this mean? Xiao Yang stood there in a daze. Follow your heart? Never mind. Xiao Yang stopped thinking about this problem. What's important now is Zhang Yan's problem. Zhang Yan will be engaged to Fang Jingyang tomorrow. So, what should I do? To go or not to go? Xiao Yang was a little conflicted. The most important thing is that the misunderstandings with Zhang Yan have not been resolved yet. At this moment, a voice suddenly rang in my mind. Byte. 15x cashback card usage period ends. Amount used. 3 billion. Cashback. 45 billion. As the voice fell, Xiao Yang's cell phone rang. 45 billion in collection records. There were so many zeros at the end that Xiao Yang was a little dizzy. Looking at such a huge sum of money, Xiao Yang's expression gradually became firm. He touched his chest. Follow your heart? Yes, I don't give a damn about whether Zhang Yan misunderstood me or not. The key point is that she is about to marry into the Fang family. The fact that I like Zhang Yan is already a fact, and Zhang Yan naturally likes me too. Is it going to be like in the TV series, where the misunderstanding remains unresolved? No matter what, we have to get the person back first. And I have a system. I am the fucking protagonist. Why do I think so much? Follow your heart and go get whoever you like. Damn it, as a protagonist with a system, I'm a screwed person. Xiao Yang's expression suddenly became clear and his brows relaxed, as if he had found a completely new path. Chapter 146 Saya N Group. Dear. Xiao Yang looked for it first. But I didn't expect that the Zhang family seemed to be avoiding me. Zhang Yiming didn't see it, and even Zhang Yichen and Zhang Yan couldn't find them. The settlement time for the Zhu family auction dinner was almost over. So Xiao Yang had to go and settle the bill first. One is the music company that was previously acquired. With 200 million yuan, and the contract information of all the signed artists, etc. Seeing the thick documents, Xiao Yang breathed a sigh of relief. I should find an assistant, I can't carry all these things by myself. Took a bag. Xiao Yang threw something worth 200 million directly into it. Next, it was the Bai Ming amulet worth 1.3 billion. Xiao Yang paid the money and took it. The moment I got it, there was a ding sound in my mind. A red Hades amulet was immediately placed in his own system warehouse. Xiao Yang looked at the Bai Ming amulet in his hand with a surprised look. This Bai Ming amulet is really as Lin Hanwen said. Warm in winter and cool in summer. But as for prolonging life, it is indeed mysterious. At least this Bai Ming amulet didn't give him a very amazing feeling. It's quite good to use it as a hand warmer now. Xiao Yang was not in a hurry and put away the Bai Ming amulet. This thing is pretty good when hung around the neck. But I don't know if it can repel mosquitoes. Xiao Yang originally wanted to cash out the red nether amulet to have a look. But there were too many people here, so he gave up. Thinking about what he had done tonight, Xiao Yang was filled with emotion. Different from his usual low-key personality, tonight he was very high-profile and arrogant. In fact, besides wanting to disgust Fang Jingyang, he also had another reason, which was that these things were all done for Zhang Yiming to see. He wanted Zhang Yiming to know that his wealth was not as bad as it seemed. And he wanted Zhang Yiming to stop obstructing his relationship with Zhang Yan. But unexpectedly, in the end, this was something he had not expected. Is Zhang Yiming really so anxious to marry off his daughter? Xiao Yang frowned slightly, a little confused. The Fang family is indeed extremely powerful in this small piece of land in Jiangdu. But Zhang Yichen also said that if a fight really breaks out, the Zhang family will be able to hold on and will not be defeated in one blow. Is there something wrong with the Zhang family's company? Xiao Yang did not leave the hotel directly. Instead, he returned to the sofa, sat down, took a glass of wine, and thought quietly. At this time, many people had finished their auction matters and turned their attention to Xiao Yang. This young man with connections dared to provoke Fang Jingyang in public. I think his background must be quite impressive. Maybe he is a dragon crossing the river. Many people's eyes were burning with excitement. They can't get close to the Fang family, but maybe they can have a chance to get in touch with this young man. Everyone glanced at it. It seemed like he was checking whether Fang Jingyang was still there. After all, it was well known that the two had fallen out. If they got close to Xiao Yang at this time, the Fang family might find out and take action against them. Only, some brave ones have already come over with their glasses raised. Mr. Xiao. Hello. Mr. Xiao has had a great harvest tonight. I, Li, would like to congratulate Mr. Xiao. Xiao Yang smiled. As the saying goes, one should not hit a smiling person. So he naturally raised his glass, clinked it with his own, and drank it all in one gulp. I am the chairman of Jianing Culture Company. As he said this, the other party took out his business card and handed it to Xiao Yang. Xiao Yang did not refuse and took it and put it in his pocket. If young Master Xiao needs cooperation in the future, please think of me, and I will do my best. The visitor just looked familiar, said some polite words, and then left. But after a while, someone else came up. In just half an hour, Xiao Yang had already drunk a lot of wine and his pockets were filled with business cards. But he doesn't have any business cards, so he's like a Piexiu, only taking in but not giving out. Of course, this is just the serious stuff. There really are some indecent ones. Some women dressed like young ladies and looking pretty also came over. Xiao Yang didn't know how they got in. Some of them were flirting and were not polite at all. They just sat next to Xiao Yang. Master Xiao seems to be very angry tonight. Do you want me to help you calm down? The beautiful young woman whom Xiao Yang met at the hotel entrance earlier was now sitting next to him, blowing in his ears. This is the case where there is no fire. But I'm afraid it will be blown out to create fire. Xiao Yang stood up quickly. If I need to relieve my fever, I will come to you. He took a long breath and looked into the distance. At this moment, a slender waist was twisting and moving through the crowd. The gorgeous cheongsam matches the person perfectly, showing off the almost perfect figure to the fullest. Young people don't know the beauty of young women, mistakenly treating the girl as a treasure. Zhu Jiyuan. That's what we call cooling down the body. Xiao Yang naturally didn't want to stay here any longer. He was just thinking about something. It was almost time. So he politely greeted the businessmen who had just handed him their business cards and left the hotel. Back in the car, Xiao Yang didn't drive. Although Xiao Yang had no problem with his alcohol tolerance, he still drank quite a lot. After calling Xiao Zhang, Xiao Yang sat in the car, looking quietly into the distance. Two buildings. In the distance, a tall building rises into the clouds, looking very imposing. That is the Fang Building, the landmark building in Jiangdu. The building next to it is a little shorter than the Fang Building, but not much shorter. Although it is far away, it is on the upper floors of the building. The four big glowing words, Saya N Group, can also be seen clearly. Xiao Yang's expression suddenly brightened. Saya N Group. I still have so many shares. As he was thinking about it, he had already taken out the share contract from the system warehouse. Saya N Group. He turned over slowly. In addition to the Chinese contract, there is also a backup of the English version. Xiao Yang thought it was troublesome before, so he didn't read it carefully. Now that he has nothing to do, he might as well take a look. At the top is who granted the shares. The name and ID card were almost all written clearly. There are more than a dozen contracts in total, all of which were purchased from others. However, the other name is very metaphorical. It seemed that I could see clearly, but I couldn't remember anything. It was very strange. Xiao Yang immediately understood that this should be what the system called a covert acquisition. Untie it. Xiao Yang spoke to the system. Next second, the names on the share book gradually became clear. Xiao Yang. ID number. Xiao Yang's ID number also appeared. At this moment, this share certificate has completely come into effect. Dozens of contracts. Total cumulative. 40% of the shares. He looked at the tall building in the distance. In other words, 40 of this building belongs to me. Xiaoyang let out a long sigh and looked at the Fang group nearby. It didn't seem so eye-catching anymore. But after a while, a new car drove over. Xiaoshang got out of the car. Boss. Xiaoyang opened the door and sat in the passenger seat. Xiaoshang was immediately excited. This was a car worth 20 million. He sat in the car and first wiped his clothes with his hands, for fear of dirtying the car. This scene also made Xiaoyang laugh and cry. However, Xiaoyang was not in a hurry to let him drive back, but asked, Xiaoshang, do you know CN Group? CN Group? Of course I know. Xiaoshang agreed immediately and said slowly, CN Group is the second largest enterprise in Jiangdu. It was originally a personal enterprise, but later it became bigger and bigger. The Zhang family, boss, you should know that this CN Group is the Zhang family's company. The chairman is Zhang Yiming, and the vice president is Zhang Yichen, who is also the famous fourth son of the Zhang family in Jiangdu. I heard that the name of Siamyup was taken from Zhang Yan, the eldest daughter of the Zhang family. The character Si was taken from the name of Zhang Yiming's wife, and the character Yan is the character in Zhang Yan's name. The voice fell. Xiaoyang, who was standing aside, was completely stunned. CN Group. It's the Zhang family. Chapter 147 Showdown. Send me back to the happy community first. Xiaoyang's mouth corners slightly raised. He finally understood why Zhang Yiming was so anxious to marry Zhang Yan into the Fang family. Xiaoshang nodded and started the car. There were two loud bangs. Suddenly Xiaoshang felt excited. But no matter how excited he was very clear about one thing: if this car was scratched, even if he had to pay with his new car, he probably wouldn't be able to get even a piece of paint. Xiaoshang suppressed his urge to race and drove very steadily. On this side, Xiaoyang looked at the contracts one by one. No problem, it adds up to a full 40% of the shares. Many of these people are not from the Zhang family, but investors. I think the Zhang family acquired the shares when the company just went public. At this time, the system acquired them all at once. The other side. At this time, Zhang Yichen had just come out of the Zhang family. He also had a frown on his face during this time. Zhang Yiming frequently asked about Xiaoyang. However, Zhang Yichen and Xiaoyang had not been together for a long time, so he only had a vague understanding and could not explain it clearly. Zhang Yiming didn't ask any more questions, but just informed him to attend the engagement party tomorrow. By then, Fang Zhen and Fang Jingyang's mother will be present. Even though Zhang Yichen was extremely reluctant to see Zhang Yan marry into the Fang family, he was powerless to refute it. I hope Fang Jingyang can treat Shaichang well. Driving back to his home, Zhang Yichen felt a little depressed. Although he is a member of the Zhang family, he does not live in the Zhang family. Zhang Yichen had just driven over, fumbled with his keys, and was about to enter the house. At this moment, a figure suddenly jumped out from behind. Zhang Yichen was so scared that he broke out in a cold sweat. When he looked again, he found that he had been captured by the other party and could not move at all. Hello? Zhang Yiming scolded. Krathunkel, it's me. Xiaoyang. Zhang Yichen turned around. Xiaoyang let go of Zhang Yichen's hand, pushed the door open, and said slowly, come to think of it, I haven't visited Krathunkel's house yet. He walked into the room slowly. But Zhang Yichen was stunned. Xiaoyang, are you here for revenge? Zhang Yichen still thought Xiaoyang remembered that he had beaten him today, and sneered. But having said that, Zhang Yichen still couldn't bear to take a step back. The next second, Xiaoyang had already dragged Zhang Yichen into the house and slammed the door shut. What do you want to do? After entering the house, Zhang Yichen looked a little nervous. During the time he spent with Xiaoyang, he didn't know Xiaoyang's identity, but there was one thing he was very clear about. Xiaoyang is very good at fighting, and he dares to fight. Both brothers of the Fang family were sent to the hospital. Back then, at the Xiao family mansion, Xiaoyang subdued the entire crew, including several martial artists, by himself. It is still a question whether my small body can withstand a few punches from him. Thinking of this, Zhang Yichen immediately raised his head. Breaking into someone else's residence and imprisoning them. Xiaoyang, do you know that your actions have violated the law? Krathunkel, don't be so nervous. Xiaoyang was also at a loss whether to laugh or cry. Think about it, yesterday, the two of them were eating skewers and chatting and laughing in the barbecue restaurant. How come it became like this now? I just came to you for something. What happened today was originally my fault for Zhang Yan. You deserve to punch me a few times. If you haven't gotten rid of your anger yet, why don't you just hit me a few more times? Xiaoyang said this and took out a bottle of red wine. Are you interested? Have a drink? As he spoke, Xiaoyang glanced around. found the wine cabinet, and took out 2 wine glasses. What year? Zhang Yichen breathed a sigh of relief, sat down and asked. From 1982. That's fine, I'll beat you up after you drink. Zhang Yichen took the wine directly and took a look at it. Yes, it was indeed from 1982. After pouring the wine into the decanter, Zhang Yichen calmed down and asked, "Why are you looking for me? Let's chat." Xiaoyang sat down without any restraint. It's as if nothing had happened. What else can we talk about? Do you know that I treat Zhang Yan as my own sister? If I didn't know a little bit about the law, I really want to kill you. Zhang Yichen snorted coldly. My dear sister. Isn't that your niece? Xiaoyang rolled his eyes at Zhang Yichen and said slowly. For Thunkel, Zhang Yan's story is the same as what I said at the time. I only met her after I confessed my love to Lin Qiu. Lin Qiu and I were just expressing our feelings for each other. We are not together. Zhang Yan and I are in love with each other. There is nothing mixed up here. Ah, Zhang Yichen shook his head. You and I are both men. I have also seen Lin Qiu's photo. She is indeed beautiful. The MRLN sitting next to you at the dinner party today must be Lin Qiu's father. Right? Zhang Yichen's words immediately surprised Xiaoyang. I didn't expect that the Zhang family would find out all this. You sat with the man's father, which means you've met his parents. It looks like they're quite satisfied with you. It's not what you said. Xiaoyang denied it directly. Forget it, I'll explain this question to you slowly. Now I just want to ask a question. Zhang Yan and Fang Jingyang, are they going to get engaged tomorrow? Xiaoyang went straight to the point. Zhang Yichen himself was not happy about this, but he still said with a smile. Yes, they will be engaged tomorrow in this matter. You still lost to Fang Jingyang. Where are we getting engaged tomorrow? Xiaoyang asked with a gloomy expression. This is the second question. Zhang Yichen was no longer in a hurry and looked at Xiaoyang. Xiaoyang was also a little speechless, but Zhang Yichen also had this personality. Although he was still drunk, Xiaoyang didn't mind and poured himself a glass. Shaking the goblet in his hand, Xiaoyang said, You are so anxious to get Zhang Yan to marry into the Fang family. Is there something wrong with Saya N Group? The voice fell. Zhang Yichen suddenly lost his composure and looked up at Xiaoyang. Although the Zhang family cannot compare to the Fang family, they are also wealthy and powerful. What could possibly happen to the Saya N Group? Zhang Yichen smelled the aroma of wine and his urge to drink couldn't resist anymore. He immediately poured himself a glass, drank it all in one gulp, shook his head and smiled. Really? Xiaoyang smiled. He pulled out a stack of documents from his pocket and threw them on the table. What do you mean? Zhang Yichen was stunned for a moment and didn't understand. Uncle Four, you can take a look and you will know what I am talking about. As soon as he finished speaking, Zhang Yichen quickly put down his wine glass and took the document. Equity transfer agreement. He quickly opened it and began to read slowly. This is the share transfer of Saya N Group. It was you who acquired the shares of Saya N Group? Zhang Yichen's face was suddenly full of surprise. He hastened to look up other documents. All these documents are contracts for acquiring Saya N Group shares. Add up. A full 40%. Chapter 148. Then grab it. What do you mean? After reading the contract agreement, Zhang Yichen put the document back on the table and frowned. In addition to shock, there was also a hint of confusion. Xiaoyang's financial strength really shocked him. Saya N Group, as one of the leading enterprises in Jiangdu, second only to the Fang family, he knew clearly how high the price of their company's shares was. This is a 40 stake, which means he is the second largest shareholder of Saya N Group besides Zhang Yiming. 40% of Saya N Group now belongs to Xiaoyang alone. Saya N Group was originally a personal enterprise, but in order to raise funds through listing and expand its scale, Zhang Yiming still issued a lot of stocks. And now, these shares are worth thousands of dollars. These shares have always been in the hands of some investors. And the dividends received from Saya N Group every year are countless. To them, these shares are the goose that lays golden eggs. As long as you hold the shares, you can receive substantial dividends every year. Therefore, it was not easy for Xiaoyang to acquire so many shares. The documents on this table. It is no less valuable than anything at today's auction dinner. Just a small share authorization agreement can buy countless luxury houses. In fact, Zhang Yiming has always wanted to buy back the shares and turn Saya N Group into a complete Zhang family enterprise over the years. Only in this way can we, like the Fang family, firmly control and develop the Saya N Group into a family business. However, it is quite difficult to recover these shares. Even if all the Zhang family's working capital is used up, it is not certain that even half of it can be recovered. Therefore, after learning that 40 of the shares were acquired by a mysterious person, the first family Zhang Yiming thought of was the Fang family. I thought the Fang family was forcing the Zhang family to submit. It is fine if these shares are scattered in the hands of many people, because Zhang Yiming still has the final say in Saya N Group. But if all of them fall into the hands of one person, or the Fang family, the Xia N group will be changed. Therefore, Jiang Yiming was eager to marry Jiang Yan into the Fang family. One is testing. Second, it can be considered as a precautionary measure. But now, these shares are actually in Xiao Yang's hands. How can Zhang Yichen not be shocked? These are shares worth tens of billions. Not to mention buying them all. I'm afraid Xiao Yang spent even more money privately to buy them back. Yeah, there's so many shares in your hands. What does he want to do? Zhang Yichen looked at Xiao Yang. I underestimated him before. I knew Xiao Yang's background was mysterious, but I didn't expect it to be so mysterious. In fact, what happened tonight had already made him drop his jaw. Things worth billions, just buy them. But these tens of billions of dollars are now on his desk. Who on earth is this kid? In Jiangdu, only the Fang family can come up with so much money. Dragon crossing the river. There were only these three words in Jiang Yiming's mind. Of course, what puzzled him most was why Xiao Yang wanted to acquire Xia N Group shares. This kind of acquisition method is obviously a high-priced acquisition at a loss. Otherwise, how could those investors give up this golden egg that makes money? Zhang Yichen has been with him for several years and has negotiated countless times. But those people are unwilling to give up their shares. How did Xiao Yang do it? Why are you doing this? For Jiang Yan? Zhang Yichen frowned. For Thunkel, I actually didn't know before that Jiang Yan is from the Jiang family. Xiao Yang said slowly. If you hadn't told me yesterday that Jiang Yan was from the Jiang family, I wouldn't have been able to find her now. How could it be that she did these things? What's that because? Zhang Yichen continued to ask. No reason, let's just buy it for fun. Xiao Yang couldn't come up with any reason. So he said casually. This sentence once again stunned Zhang Yichen. This living devil of Jiangdu was so stunned by Xiao Yang's words that he couldn't say anything. Just acquire it for fun. What are you talking about? Things worth hundreds of billions, you buy them for fun. Right? Even the Zhu family and the Yang family in Kyoto wouldn't do such a thing. Uncle, we have known each other for a while. You should know that I am not the kind of person that Fang Jingyang is. It is better for Jiang Yan to be with me than with Fang Jingyang. You can know a person's face but not his heart. Zhang Yichen shook his head. But to be honest, before what happened today, he still had a good opinion of Xiao Yang. He is courageous, likes to stir up trouble, is a nice person, and is extremely good to his friends. But such a person could actually be expelled from the university. He can also have nothing to do while watching over a barbecue restaurant and chatting enthusiastically with those poor students. This is indeed a bit outrageous. Pick up any document on the table. You can open barbecue restaurants all over Jiangdu at will. Xiao Yang did not refute Zhang Yichen's words at this time, but just said slowly, if Uncle Zhang is worried that the shares will fall into the hands of the Fang family, then there is no need to worry. These shares are right here. What do you want to do? Zhang Yichen frowned. Cancel tomorrow's engagement. Xiao Yang said directly. Impossible. Zhang Yichen shook his head. Why? The news of the engagement has spread tonight. Do you think my elder brother will agree to cancel the engagement now? This is not a joke. My elder brother is not you. There is no way he will cancel the engagement and completely offend the Fang family. Zhang Yichen shook his head. Xiao Yang's brows suddenly furrowed. This time he approached Zhang Yichen just to ask Jiang Yiming to cancel his engagement with the Fang family. But think about it. It is possible that Jiang Yiming did not cancel the engagement because he was afraid of offending the Fang family. What to do? Xiao Yang glanced at Zhang Yichen and poured another glass of wine. Zhang Yichen smiled. I have to say, if Jiang Yan were to marry into the Fang family, it would be better for her to follow Xiao Yang. Although Xiao Yang was not considered a good guy in his eyes, he was still much more pleasing to the eye than Fang Jingyang. Especially for tonight's events, Fang Jingyang's arrangements were very clear, which really won my heart. He also poured a glass of wine. And after clinking glasses with Xiao Yang, he slowly said, it is impossible to cancel tomorrow's engagement. But if you have the guts, go grab the wedding. Speaking of this, Zhang Yiming suddenly laughed. Robbery. Xiao Yang narrowed his eyes. Yes, at the engagement party, right under the noses of the Fang family. Take Jiang Yan away. In this way, the Fang family will only blame you. And my eldest brother cannot be blamed. Zhang Yichen's eyes suddenly lit up. Okay, then let's grab the wedding. Xiao Yang looked determined. But after saying that, he looked at Zhang Yichen again. Is it illegal? 1 IMA. Zhang Yichen almost spilled the wine on Xiao Yang. It's not a marriage. As long as you are not afraid of the Fang family, then rob it. Xiao Yang didn't know if it was because he drank too much or what, but his face turned red and he waved his hand. Robbed it. Zhang Yichen also shouted immediately. So, Uncle 4, are we going to get engaged tomorrow? I have no idea. Chapter 149 Night Talk. The moon is bright and the stars are sparse. Zhang family. Zhang Yan was sitting on the bed at this moment, flipping through her cell phone. Her eyes were slightly red. Obviously she had just cried. She let out a long sigh. Perhaps because she had too many things on her mind. Her brows were furrowed and she looked a little depressed. Zhang Yan stretched out and lay on the bed, not saying a word. On the phone, there was still a photo of Xiaoyang. Do you like me or not? I can still vividly remember Zhang Yan's confession to Lin Qiyu. 99 times. She bit her red lips, the answer was already in her heart. After 99 confessions, it seems that Xiaoyang must have Lin Qiyu living in his heart. Then what am I, a mistress? She looked at her hands and felt a little regretful. I slapped Xiaoyang. Zhang Yan felt distressed again. Xiaoyang must have been in a lot of pain at that time. But this guy. And scumbag. She let out a long sigh. Her heart was conflicted at the moment. She blinked and looked at the ceiling, her face full of helplessness. Just then, the door opened slightly a few times. The beautiful young woman who came in was Zhang Yan's mother. The two are very similar, and I think she was also a great beauty when she was young. Zhang Yan replied, and her mother sat down and grabbed Zhang Yan's hand. What happened today? Before he could finish his words, Zhang Yan interrupted him. Nothing happened today. Don't deceive yourself anymore, now you know clearly who the Xiaoyang you like is. Men are animals who think with their lower body. He may have liked Lin Qiyu yesterday, and he may like you today. But who will he like tomorrow? Mother Zhang sighed and stroked Zhang Yan's long hair. You, follow me, you are beautiful. It's just that it's not good for a woman to be too beautiful. It's inevitable that she will meet some men who are only good at sweet talk. Zhang Yan was silent, but didn't say anything else. She just raised her head, not knowing what she was thinking. Come to think of it, seeing you like this is also our fault as parents. This is a rare opportunity, so let's have a good chat, said Jian's mother. What are you talking about? About marrying into the Fang family? Zhang Yan sneered. What's wrong with marrying into the Fang family? You will have food and shelter. Besides, Fang Jingyang has liked you since childhood. He is not a fickle person. Mother Zhang shook her head. It's because he has been pursuing me since he was a child. So I know him too well. Zhang Yan shook her head. Who is Fang Jingyang? Although he is not as absurd as Fang Jingyuan, Zhang Yan's opinion of him is not much better. When I was in junior high school, in order to win a prize in an essay competition, the titles of my essays were all, My Richest Dad. Later, no matter what he did, he would always be unyielding. He looked down on his classmates and divided everyone into different levels. Although he was smiling, he wanted to kill the person in his heart. How could Zhang Yan possibly like such a person? Mother Zhang seemed to have known that Zhang Yan would say this. So she smiled and said, Fang Jingyang may be a little arrogant, but he is always loyal to you. Besides, how could a family like his be the same as ordinary people? At this point, she suddenly changed the subject and said, I think your father has mentioned the Saya N group to you before. Speaking of this, Zhang Yan's brows suddenly furrowed. 40% of the shares were acquired, no one except the Fang family could do it. If so many shares of Saya N group fall into the hands of the Fang family, he should know what it means. As long as the Fang family uses some tricks, the Saya N group will probably no longer be named Zhang, but Fang. If it comes to this, do you think you still have a choice? When the voice fell, Zhang Yan's heart sank. Zhang Yiming mentioned this matter in the conference room. This is also the reason why Zhang Yichen stopped making a fuss. For the Zhang family, Saya N group is everything. If Saya N group falls into the hands of the Fang family, then it will not be a matter of choosing or not. Seeing Zhang Yan's expression, Jian's mother immediately understood and continued. It's normal for young people to have such a personality. Fang Jingyang treats you well, that's the truth. When he really takes over the Fang family, his personality will become more stable when you become husband and wife. Can't you control him? But I really don't like Fang Jingyang. Zhang Yan felt like her brain was exploding. She didn't want to become a victim in order to stabilize Saya N group. What is the difference between this and the marriage alliances in ancient times? You, Mother Zhang was immediately furious. How can you be so ignorant? Do you know how much pressure your father is under right now? Saya N group is your father's life's work. If it falls. Having said this, Jiang's mother paused, her face full of confusion. If it falls, given your father's character, it's very likely that. As soon as she finished speaking, Jiang's mother burst into tears. By then, either you will go bankrupt or your family will be ruined. You don't want to see your father do something like this, right? You know, your father is a very stubborn person. If anything happens to him, I won't live anymore. Jiang's mother suddenly showed a look of extreme pain and hugged Zhang Yan in agony. Even if Zhang Yan wanted to say something at this moment, she couldn't open her mouth. The family was broken up. She smiled bitterly and said nothing. Chai Chown, for this family. So, I have to marry into the Fang family. Zhang Yan's face turned pale. Not really, but at least we have to stabilize the Fang family. Jiang's mother knew her daughter's character and did not say anything final. Tomorrow you will accompany your father to attend the family dinner hosted by the Fang family. As long as the Fang family does not embarrass Xiaoying Group now, we can figure out how to solve the share crisis. When this period of time is over, you can do whatever you want. Even if you go find Xiaoyang, we won't care. The voice fell. Zhang Yan was a little stunned, her face full of disbelief. Family dinner, what does Zhang Yiming want to get? Get his shares back? Zhang Yan's expression gradually turned cold. It is definitely impossible to take back the shares. How can we possibly take back 40 of Xiaoyang Group shares? But everything can be discussed as long as you can stabilize the Fang family tomorrow. Your father and I will thank you. As she spoke, Jiang's mother almost knelt on the ground and begged Zhang Yan. Zhang Yan bit her red lips slightly. She didn't expect that it would end up like this. Use your daughter to save your career. Zhang Yan looked out the window, and Xiaoyang's figure appeared in her mind again. Just go to a family dinner. It's nothing, Jiang's mother pleaded. Okay, Zhang Yan nodded with difficulty. Chapter 150 Good Girlfriend. With a little bit of drunkenness, Xiaoyang called Xiaoshang. Xiaoshang naturally couldn't go home tonight. He drove Xiaoyang's car here, but it was not easy to get a taxi here. So Xiaoyang simply let him stay at home for one night. After all, this house is big enough, and Xiaoyang himself has never been into many rooms. Xiaoshang was naturally very happy. Ordinary people are not even qualified to enter the luxury houses in Xingfu community. This is the place with the most expensive land in Jiangdu. So Xiaoshang naturally had no complaints and was even so excited that he couldn't sleep. When Xiaoyang called, he drove over from a nearby location to pick up Xiaoyang. It wasn't far from Zhang Yichen's home, and they arrived there in a short while. As soon as Xiaoyang got home, he went straight back to his room and fell asleep. I drank a lot of wine when I was in the hotel. As for Zhang Yichen, he is addicted to alcohol. Xiaoyang didn't want to drink much at first, but Zhang Yichen started to act wildly and said something like trespassing and even said he would send a lawyer's letter to Xiaoyang. There was no other way. Xiaoyang could only accompany him to drink a few more glasses. This wine is ready to drink. It seemed as if I had forgotten what happened in the afternoon. The two began to talk big, talking about the dinner party. You may not believe this, but I recorded Fang Jingyang's dog barking. The two of them laughed and drank a few more glasses. In the end, Xiaoyang originally planned to find out the location of tomorrow's engagement, but he didn't expect that he couldn't accomplish this until Zhang Yichen was drunk unconscious. In the end, I could only leave Zhang Yichen's house and talk about it tomorrow. A lot happened that night. In a room of no more than 10 square meters. At this moment, the two girls couldn't sleep either. Even after the live broadcast had ended for a long time, Chang Xin, who had eaten a pound of crayfish to celebrate, still couldn't believe what had happened before. Chao Yi, check again to make sure you counted correctly. I counted correctly. It's really 136,312,364 yuan in rewards. At the side, Chao Yi also swallowed her saliva, not sure if it was because she had just finished eating crayfish or because she was shocked by the number. The two had been off the air for a long time. But this amount is really too shocking. Boss Yang alone gave over 130 million worth of gifts. The two of them let out a long sigh. At this moment, she really wanted to call her brother and say, "Brother, our family is rich now. Even if we get 30, that's still more than 40 million. Chao Yi said enviously. Yes, it's a lifetime experience. I can't believe it now. I have received so many rewards after just a few days of live broadcast. Chang Xin let out a long sigh, full of disbelief. By the way, Chao Yi, has live streaming always been so profitable? Chang Xin said. How is that possible? You are just lucky to have met Mr. Yang. Look, on the Rising Stars list, the second place winner, a little peach cherry, only received 50 million in tips. That's right, you used that little word, Chang Xin eased. Isn't this a sudden increase in wealth overnight? Chao Yi said with a smile. Look, this 50 million was donated mostly by Mr. Yuan, and there were also many people who shared the money. These were all earned by the guild that Xiao Ying belongs to. On our side, President Yang donated more than 100 million yuan alone. If it were someone else, how could they be so generous? The two clicked on the idea of become famous. No introduction. There were only two big golden characters, Dragon King. The second thing is, this guy is lazy and left nothing behind. Why did he give us so much money as a reward? Chang Xin asked puzzled Lai. Not to mention her, users on the entire platform don't know what kind of live broadcast can make one person give gifts worth hundreds of millions of yuan. This is simply outrageous. A song worth hundreds of millions. The key point is that when Mr. Yang arrived, he had already finished singing his songs. Tell me, could it be that Mr. Yang has a crush on you? Xiao Yi said, grinning and pinching Shang Xian's face. How is that possible? Shang Xian blushed and was pinched by Xiao Yi, which made her look very cute. The delicate dimples are sunken. So sweet. If it were still being broadcast live at this moment, I'm afraid the audience would be dumbfounded. This appearance. Don't even think it's real. Even with the beauty filter turned on. If this face is posted, there will probably be countless viewers giving rewards. I'm wearing a mask, who knows what I look like. But you were born with a pair of peach eyes. Xiao Yi smiled and stretched out her hand to grab Shang Xian's chest. Oh my, you've almost made me a lesbian. If I were a man, how could I bear it? Shang Xian's face suddenly turned red. And she pressed Xiao Yi under her body. I let you touch me. It's a pity that Lu Ziqiao is not here. I heard that he likes watching girls fighting the most. After a while, the two of them blushed. Shang Xian straightened her clothes and glared at Xiao Yi. Who exactly is this Mr. Yang? As they chatted, the topic turned to Mr. Yang. I don't know, but I think he likes listening to music. Xian, what do you think we should do if Mr. Yang really likes you? Xiao Yi suddenly said. How is that possible? I've already told you that I haven't even shown my face. That's true. He is really too generous after giving away so much money. The key person disappeared without leaving any words. Yeah, it seems like we really came here to listen to music. Shang Xian also sighed. The key point is that she is a singing host. So it is normal for people to come and listen to her songs. But if you say that Mr. Yang really just came here to listen to songs, who would have the time to give more than 100 million yuan in tips just for listening to songs? Why isn't there someone like this around me who can give me some money or something? Xiao Yi was envious. There is no such thing as pie falling from the sky. Yes, didn't Mr. Yang throw the big pie and it hit you? Xiao Yi smiled and said, if someone can give me such a reward, I will put on the collar and bark twice and follow him. You are so shameless. Shang Xian glared at Xiao Yi. DSK, then tell me, if Mr. Yang appears in front of you now, what will you do? What else can I do? Of course I should thank him. Shang Xian said with a smile. Well, how should I thank you? Xiao Yi blinked and teased. You are so beautiful, why don't you just give in? You're looking for death. And how do you say thank you? Shang Xian looked at the ceiling and fell into deep thought. It seems like following him is not bad. Yes. Think about it, just the reward alone has cost so much money. If you follow him, it would simply be fly onto the tree branch and turn into a phoenix. They said in unison. Shang Xian smiled and thought it was just a joke. What if he gets married and has a girlfriend? Xiao Yi said again. And I will become his mistress. Shang Xian laughed. Okay, let's go together. Good girlfriend. Yeah. Good girlfriend. Chapter 151 The Wrong Zhang Yichen. The lunch. At this moment, Zhang Yan didn't know that this family dinner was actually an engagement dinner. A stretched Lincoln car was driving slowly. Zhang Yan clenched the phone tightly in her hand. Her expression a little solemn, and no one knew what she was thinking. On both sides, Zhang Yiming and Jiang's mother sat on her sides, as if they were detaining prisoners. Zhang Yan hates this feeling. It's just a family dinner, she muttered to herself, trying to calm herself down. She opened WeChat and opened Xiao Yang's chat box. Inside are Xiao Yang's daily greetings. But she never replied. It's not that she didn't want to, but she was locked up at home at the time and her cell phone signal was blocked. So she couldn't reply at all. She put her hands on the keyboard, wanting to say something. At this moment, a pair of eyes looked over. Zhang Yiming smiled. Zhang Yan immediately retracted her hand without saying a word. Mother Zhang looked out the window and said with a smile. This place is nice, you can come here often when you have nothing to do. This is the Fang family's resort. That's a great place for a vacation with pleasant scenery. Yes. By the way, where is the fourth child? Asked Jiang's mother. Zhang Yiming frowned. You know the temper of the fourth brother. He is always out of tune. Forget it, come if you want. They chatted for a while longer. When mentioning Fang Jingyang, Zhang Yiming muttered a few more words. But Zhang Yan still said nothing. Staring at her phone in a daze, but still didn't send a message. Zhang Yiming didn't stop him. In his view, it was just a natural progression. Given Zhang Yan's personality, she would definitely not contact Xiao Yang. Besides, what's the point of contacting her? This is the Fang family's place. No matter what Xiao Yang does, he can't come here and ruin the engagement party. At this moment, Xiao Yang woke up in a daze. Checked the time. Fuck. I rubbed my head and felt a severe headache. I tried to trick Zhang Yichen yesterday, but not only did I fail, but I was also drunk. He quickly got up from the bed and dressed. I called Zhang Yichen, but no one answered. Damn it. I was fooled into this. Zhang Yichen is a bastard. Xiao Yang cursed in open WeChat. This is a series of greetings. This is also Zhang Yan's WeChat. He would send messages to Zhang Yan every day, although he never received a reply. He never stopped. This time, it wasn't a greeting of good morning. Where are you? Xiao Yang sent the message. But for a long time, there was no news. Xiao Yang did not call Xiao Shang, but drove directly to Zhang Yichen's house. It's inevitable to make a few phone calls along the way. However, Zhang Yichen didn't know why there was still no news at this time. Xiao Yang called Zhang Shangzu again, but at this moment Zhang Shangzu was a little confused. My sister is getting engaged, how come I don't know? Xiao Yang had no choice but to hang up the phone. In just a short while, they found themselves at Zhang Yichen's house. The doorbell rang a few times. No one opened the door. Xiao Yang frowned, thought for a moment and raised his foot. Bang! A loud bang. But this door remains motionless. Xiao Yang's feet were a little numb. Another kick. After a few noises, the door finally loosened a little. Seeing this, Xiao Yang did not stop and took a few steps back. With a sudden dash, he slammed into the wooden door. Bang! With a loud bang, the precious wooden door made of mahogany fell to the ground. Xiao Yang also felt sore all over and his face was covered in sweat. Zhang Yichen. After entering the room, Xiao Yang roared. Looking again, I saw Zhang Yichen lying on the sofa where he had been drinking yesterday, sleeping soundly and snoring. Fuck you. I'm so anxious. And you just sleep here. Xiao Yang was not polite either. He poured a glass of water and poured it directly on Zhang Yichen's face. Fuck. Zhang Yichen cursed, shuddered, pulled himself away, and looked confused. When Zhang Yichen saw Xiao Yang again, who was full of anger, he finally came to his senses. How did you get in? Zhang Yichen rubbed his face. What do you think? Xiao Yang glanced at the gate. Zhang Yichen let out a long sigh and looked at the door that had been knocked to the ground. Completely confused. Looking at Xiao Yang's face again, Zhang Yichen decided to wash his face first and not talk nonsense. Who knows what this kid will do when he goes crazy? But as soon as he stood up, Xiao Yang stopped him. Place. What place? Engagement location, Xiao Yang said in a deep voice. I don't know, didn't I tell you last night? Zhang Yichen yawned. I'll say it again, the engagement location. Xiao Yang frowned. Don't I say that you are getting angry, Xiao Yang? You broke my door, and I haven't even bothered with you yet. Do you know what crime you have committed by breaking into a private residence and attempting to threaten someone's life? Zhang Yichen suddenly became angry and said with his hands on his hips and his head held high. I don't know, I only know that if Zhang Yan really gets engaged to the Fang family today, you might not be able to leave this door. Xiao Yang's expression turned cold. You threaten me? Xiao Yang did not answer, but looked towards the door. Do you see that door? As soon as he finished speaking, Zhang Yichen shuddered suddenly. This door. Well, it's tragic. He sighed, but I really don't know. I'll call my eldest brother to confirm. Hurry up, Xiao Yang was a little impatient. Zhang Yichen immediately looked for his cell phone. Zhang Yichen didn't dare to neglect Xiao Yang's murderous look. At this moment, it is of no use for Xiao Yang to talk about the law or recite any legal provisions. Soon, Zhang Yichen found his mobile phone under the sofa. When he opened it, he saw more than a dozen missed calls. He let out a long sigh and immediately made a phone call. Brother, where is Shaixiao's engagement party? What's wrong with you? It's such an important day. Zhang Yiming's voice came from the other side. Because the speaker was on, Xiao Yang could hear it clearly. I drank too much last night and overslept, Zhang Yichen said casually. Okay then, come over here. A mountain resort in the south of the city. After he finished speaking, Zhang Yichen hung up the phone and looked at Xiao Yang. Walk. Xiao Yang pulled Zhang Yichen and was about to walk out. Wait, let me change my clothes. Change in the car. Xiao Yang didn't care about that and directly pulled Zhang Yichen. The two men are about the same height and have similar body shapes. But at this moment Zhang Yichen is being carried by Xiao Yang like a chicken. A living king of Jiangdu, the fourth master of the Zhang family, would probably be so shocked if someone saw this. Zhang Yichen also had some dignity to save, so he covered his face with his clothes. Close the door. Why are you closing the door? I'll compensate you for whatever you lost. Xiao Yang didn't even listen and directly carried Zhang Yichen into the car. After getting in the car, Zhang Yichen looked uncomfortable. Damn it, we are all gentlemen. Can you be gentler next time? Zhang Yichen rubbed his neck. He had just been dragged all the way by Xiao Yang, and the collar had made his neck red. Next time you say you are a gentleman, please remove the word fuck, Xiao Yang replied casually and stepped on the accelerator. Boom. At this time, the high performance of the car is fully demonstrated. But behind him, Zhang Yichen only felt that he was flying in front and his soul was chasing him behind. Slow down, I need to change my clothes. Xiao Yang pretended not to hear and just made a phone call. Xiaoshang, the door of the house I went to yesterday was broken. Take a look at it. After saying that, he looked at Zhang Yichen, who was putting on his pants. What are you looking at? The living devil had a red face at this moment. As bright as his bright red shorts. Put it on quickly and fasten your seatbelts. Xiao Yang slowed down a bit and reminded. Zhang Yichen rolled his eyes at Xiao Yang and just muttered something. His face full of grievance. Chapter 150 to Family Dinner? Engagement dinner? At this time, in a private room in the resort, Zhang Yiming put down his phone and said with a smile. Oh, this kid is always out of tune. You have to pay more attention to him. Mother Zhang smiled. At this moment, Zhang Yan frowned, feeling that the atmosphere seemed to be getting more and more wrong. It was originally said to be a family dinner, but the atmosphere was very strange. Her cell phone was also taken away. Zhang Yiming's explanation for this was that it was somewhat impolite to hold a cell phone while eating. Chai Qian, be more polite later and don't be so cold to Jing Yang all the time. Zhang Yan didn't say anything, just waited. But after a while, footsteps were finally heard outside the door. A middle-aged couple walked in first. The two of them were dressed formally. Following closely behind was Fang Jingyang, who was wearing a white suit and had a smile on his face. Hey, brother Zhang, sorry to have kept you waiting. As soon as Fang Zhen entered the door, he walked towards Zhang Yiming with a smile. Zhang Yiming quickly stood up and smiled in return. Brother Fang is very busy. There is no such thing as a long wait. We just sat down not long ago. Fang Jingyang also walked to Zhang Yan with a smile. You've been waiting for a long time. Zhang Yan said nothing, just nodded slightly. Fang Jingyang didn't think there was anything wrong. Since childhood, Zhang Yan has never been kind to him. And he is used to it. But I don't know why, the more Zhang Yan treats me like this, the more I care about her. Fang Jingyang didn't hesitate and sat down next to Zhang Yan. As for the Fang couple, they sat opposite them. This is a family dinner. Chai Qian, don't be polite, Fang Zhen said with a smile. After everyone was seated, Fang Zhen looked at Zhang Yan and continued. It's been a long time since we last met. I didn't expect Chai Qian to have grown up so quickly. She takes after her mother, she's beautiful. Mother Zhang smiled happily. No way, I'm old and ugly. Zhang Yiming also sighed and said with a smile. These children are all grown up, and it's time to talk about marriage. Jing Yang has grown up with us. He is a good child, down to earth, capable and reliable. The few of them were polite again. Zhang Yan, who was sitting aside, felt that something was increasingly wrong. At this moment, Fang Jingyang looked at Zhang Yan, his face full of tenderness, and smiled. Xiao Yan, are you worried about something? Zhang Yan frowned slightly. She knew Fang Jingyang too well. This gentleness is just pretend. Zhang Yan shook her head and remained silent. Seeing that Zhang Yan was unmoved, Fang Jingyang's brows flashed with a hint of anger. But in an instant, she smiled again. You and I have known each other since childhood. I think you may have some misunderstandings about me. But it doesn't matter, there is still a lot of time. I am not in a hurry. Is it a misunderstanding? Zhang Yan looked at Fang Jingyang and snorted coldly. Zhang Yan, Zhang Yiming scolded. The next second, Fang Zhen quickly tried to smooth things over. Hey, let the children handle their own affairs. Why are you so anxious? Brother Zhang? That's right, haha. Last night, Jing Yang's performance at the dinner was quite good. He had the style of Brother Fang in his youth. Old man. From now on, the Fang family's affairs may all be managed by Jing Yang. Brother Zhang, please give me more advice on business matters. Like father, like son. I'm afraid I can't teach you anything. Jing Yang is much better than I was back then. At this point, Zhang Yiming suddenly said, come to think of it, something strange happened in our Saya N group recently. What's so strange? Fang Zhen asked, puzzled. Lie. I don't know which company is behind this. But they are buying up a large number of shares in our company. Zhang Yiming said with a smile. By shares of Saya N group. Fang Zhen was a little surprised, and then continued. I heard that Brother Zhang has always wanted to buy back the shares. Yeah, it's a pity that those old guys are unwilling to sell their shares back. Zhang Yiming sighed. Saya N Group is thriving, and these shares are a great way to make money. They are a gold mine. I think it will be very difficult to buy them back. Zhang Yiming nodded, but recently, these old guys have released their shares. Is this true? Fang Zhen suddenly became interested. I thought it was the work of the Fang family. Zhang Yiming did not hide it anymore and said it directly. I really don't know about this, you can ask Jing Yang. Maybe he knows. Fang Zhen laughed but did not deny it directly. That's not a rush, today is a family dinner, so let's not talk about company matters. Zhang Yiming also smiled and cursed the old fox in his heart. I thought it was acquired by the Fang family, so I asked directly. But Fang Zhen just laughed it off, which made him feel a little uneasy. On this side, Fang's mother and Jiang's mother were whispering to each other. Chaichun is so pretty, the baby born with Jing Yang must be very pretty. That's right, Jiang's mother replied with a smile. The two of them were chatting enthusiastically and almost treated each other as their own mother-in-law. Fang's mother suddenly took out a bracelet, looked at Zhang Yan, and said with a smile, "Speaking of which, this is the first time that Chaichun and I have met. I don't know what she likes, I have a bracelet here. It is said to be a treasure from the previous dynasty. I bought it. This thing should look really good on Chaichun." As she spoke, Fang's mother walked over to Zhang Yan with a smile, holding the jade bracelet and wanting to put it on Zhang Yan. "Thank you, auntie, but I think this is inappropriate. I can't afford such an expensive gift." Zhang Yan retracted her hand and shook her head to refuse. When the voice fell, everyone at the table was stunned for a moment. Fang's mother smiled and continued, "Oh, that's right. We're almost a family now, so what's inappropriate about that?" "A family?" Zhang Yan was stunned for a moment and looked at everyone. "What do you mean by family? Isn't it too early to say that?" At this moment, Zhang Yiming frowned and suddenly scolded, "Chaichun, what's your attitude? Is this how you talk to your elders?" Fang's mother's face suddenly flashed with displeasure, and she sneered, "Boss Zhang, my daughter-in-law seems to have a bad temper. She hasn't even entered the Fang family yet. If she does, will I still look at her in a good light?" Suddenly, the atmosphere at the banquet turned cold. Fang Zhen frowned slightly, said nothing, just leaned back in his seat and looked at him coldly. Seeing this, Fang Jingyang quickly smiled and said, "Mom, what are you talking about? Chaichun didn't mean that. She's just in a bad mood, please bear with me." "Jingyang, our Fang family has rules. You are a man, you can't spoil her like this. There is still a long time to live. If you don't change your temper and treat me, your mother-in-law, like this, then the Fang family will have no rules in the future." Fang Zhen suddenly stood up and waved his hand saying, all right, as an elder, why are you arguing with a child about this? Today is our child's engagement party. It's going to be lively and fun. Thus be happy. You should control your temper at home and don't make a big deal out of everything." The voice fell. Zhang Yan's expression changed. "What did you say? Engagement party?" Chapter 153. Take your claws away, or you'll get chopped off. "What engagement party?" Zhang Yan's expression turned cold. Her voice became deeper, and she looked at her mother. "It's your engagement party with Jing Yang." Jian's mother naturally realized that her daughter's face looked strange, but she still smiled, slowly walked to Zhang Yan, and said softly, "Xiao Yan, in fact, this family banquet and the engagement banquet have the same meaning. It's just to finalize the status. Everyone in the outside world knows that you and Jing Yang are a perfect match, and you will be together in the end." "What did you say?" Zhang Yan glanced at her mother, her expression full of disbelief. She never expected that such words would come out of her mother's mouth. "Are you planning to sell out your daughter for your career?" Zhang Yan had thought about this, but when the real facts were laid out before her, she found it hard to accept. A feeling of despair arose spontaneously. "These are my biological parents. What do you mean by betrayal?" Jian's mother laughed. "Chaichun, you've grown up now. You should know how difficult it is to be an adult. For the sake of our family, I told you yesterday that if anything goes wrong with Cyan Group, I'm afraid your father." Having said that, Jian's mother glanced at Zhang Yiming. The latter sighed, looking helpless. "Just think of it as a sacrifice for your father. For me, for Xiaozu, and for this family." The voice became deeper and deeper. Jian's mother's eyes became red, and she burst into tears. Fang Jingyang just sat there without saying a word. He is not in a hurry. He only wanted one result, and that was for Zhang Yan to marry him. Fang Zhen also remained silent and just drank his tea. There is only one result he wants. That is the marriage between the Fang and Zhang families. Mother Zhang looked at Zhang Yan with red eyes. She thought her daughter would bow her head as before after seeing her attitude. But she didn't expect Zhang Yan to still have a strong attitude. She looked at Jiang's mother and sneered. "Sacrifice? Let us die for your cause. Does this family have to get better only if I am sacrificed?" Zhang Yan spoke in a low voice, almost gritting her teeth. "I don't care what happens to Cyan Group, that's your business. If the business fails, you can just start over. Why sacrifice me? I am not an object, I am a human being, your biological daughter. You always say that I've grown up, become sensible, and should help the family, but now that I'm grown up, why should I ask you to make decisions for me? Whoever wants to enter the Fang family's door can enter. If you like, you can marry her." In the past, no matter how tough Zhang Yan's attitude was, she would never choose to speak to Jiang's mother in such a tone. But she understood that blindly compromising would not only fail to make her parents wake up, but would make things worse. She tried to understand her parents, but found that they didn't understand her at all. After the words fell, Jiang's mother was stunned for a moment. Zhang Yiming pulled it down in an instant. "Chaichun, do you know what you are talking about?" Mother Zhang patted Zhang Yiming and continued softly. Chai Qian, I know you are very angry. But in fact, have you ever thought about the future? The Fang family is a wealthy family, and Jing Yang is a well-behaved, sensible, calm and sophisticated child. You two are childhood sweethearts. I know you young people always want to pursue love, but you have to know that love is driven by material things and a good match, not the fantasy written in fairy tales. You can only know the right person after trying. Jing Yang at least treats you well and truly cares about you. Marrying into the Fang family is not as bad as you think. At this point, Jian's mother looked at Fang Jingyang and said softly, Jing Yang, you will be good to Shai Qian, right? Of course. I have liked Shai Qian since I was a child, and until now. My feelings for her have not changed at all as long as she marries into the Fang family. No matter what happens in the future, I will cherish her and protect her. Fang Jingyang said affectionately. You, Fang Jingyang, you know who you are. You won't feel comfortable until I tell you, right? Zhang Yan sneered without even looking at Fang Jingyang. Fang Zhen's face suddenly darkened and he stood up and prepared to walk out. It seems that today's engagement can't be done. Zhang Yiming narrowed his eyes and his face suddenly darkened. Zhang Yan, what nonsense are you talking about? Zhang Yan didn't finish her words. Bang! Suddenly, the whole audience was shocked. Even Zhang Yan was confused. There was a sudden burning pain on her face. She covered her face, looking at her father who had just slapped her in the face, and was speechless for a moment. Dad, Zhang Yan looked at Zhang Yiming with a dull look in her eyes. She felt as if she was meeting her father for the first time. Although Zhang Yiming has been a strict father since childhood, he never used violence and just scolded him a few words. This slap. It was the first time her father had hit her since she could remember. Zhang Yan, you are not young anymore, you should be sensible. This has been the order of parents and the words of matchmakers since ancient times. How far do you want to push us? Letting you marry into the Fang family is for your own good. It's for my own good, Zhang Yan smiled. The smile was full of misery. She closed her eyes, not knowing whether to give in or resist. My parents, one plays the good cop and the other plays the bad cop. She suddenly felt that her parents were so strange, as if she was meeting them for the first time. She knew she had no choice. There is no difference between this marriage, being engaged or not. If the Fang family is willing, Fang Jingyang can even bring himself to the Fang family today. In this box, everything will lead to one result and nothing will change. She opened her mouth, but couldn't utter a word. Seeing this, Jian's mother did not feel guilty at all, but instead smiled. As her mother, Jian's mother understood very well. At this time, Zhang Yan was on the verge of compromise. She let out a long sigh, knowing that this was not a good thing to do. But what am I doing this for? For the sake of this family, for the sake of the company, and for the whole family to live a stable and comfortable life. After today, the Zhang family is still the Zhang family. The only thing that has changed is that she will become the daughter-in-law of the Fang family from the eldest daughter of the Zhang family. And she will soon take over the position of the eldest young master of the Fang family and the future mistress of the Fang family. In the future, we will still live comfortably. She didn't believe her daughter would blame her in the future. Now, at most, I still have some girlish fantasies. But there is still a long time to go. And she will figure it out eventually. Fang Jingyang looked at Zhang Yan and a smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. Chai Qian, don't worry now that you're married into the Fang family. I won't let you suffer any grievances. As he said that, he reached out his hand to comfort Zhang Yan. But at this moment, with a bang, the door of the box was blown open. Following that, there were two figures retreating. The bodyguard at the door fell to the ground. Fang Jingyang, take your claws away from me, or you'll get chopped off. The voice came, and Xiao Yang's face was full of anger with his fists clenched. When everyone looked at it, their expressions were very different. Xiao Yang. Fang Jingyang's heart skipped a beat, and he was filled with surprise. He obviously hadn't expected Xiao Yang to appear suddenly. Zhang Yan's expression brightened different from the despair just now. There seemed to be a little more light in her pupils. And her spirit revived. Chapter 150 for the foul-mouthed man. Looking at Zhang Yan with red eyes, Xiao Yang was already furious. It's okay, I'm here. Xiao Yang let out a long sigh and walked in front of Zhang Yan. All in all, he had not known Zhang Yan for a long time. But he also knew that Zhang Yan was a lively and cheerful girl with a very unique personality and a strong character. One can imagine how much pain she is feeling at this moment, as she has been forced to this point. Xiao Yang looked at several people, his eyes full of dissatisfaction, and reached out to rub Zhang Yan's little head. Xiao Yang. At this moment, Zhang Yan finally broke down in tears, leaned forward, and fell into Xiao Yang's arms. Looking at Zhang Yan in his arms, he felt really distressed. However, this scene naturally made Fang Jingyang, who was standing aside, look gloomy. He can choose to forget what happened yesterday. But this is the second time. Seeing Zhang Yan, who was supposed to be his woman, throwing herself into Xiao Yang's arms, no matter how calm he was, he couldn't help himself, furious and angry. Seeing this, Fang Zhen on the side glanced at Xiao Yang. Who are you? Let Zhang Yan go. Xiao Yang was too lazy to reply and just helped Zhang Yan wipe her tears. Xiao Yang, how did you get in? Do you think you have a long life? Fang Jingyang clenched his fists, making a creaking sound. It's not up to you to decide how long I live. Xiao Yang smiled. Jian's mother came up immediately and asked, are you the Xiao Yang? Quickly release our Shaikan and get out of here. This is our family dinner. Xiao Yang was unmoved, but felt heartbroken. You are Xiao Yang. Fang's mother looked gloomy. She had naturally heard of this person. It was he who caused both of his sons to be hospitalized. No wonder you're always against our Fang family. It turns out you're having an affair with that damn girl. How dare you, a pretty boy, go against our Fang family? Pretty boy. Xiao Yang was stunned. He never thought that he would have such a nickname in his lifetime. Where are the people? Come in quickly and catch this guy. A voice fell, but there was no one outside the door. Both bodyguards were knocked unconscious by Xiao Yang. After Fang's mother finished speaking, there was silence. Xiao Yang, if you still want to walk out of this door, let go of Zhang Yan immediately. She is my fiancée. Fang Jingyang's face was full of anger. He stepped forward, looking like he was about to take action. Idiot! Xiao Yang didn't even look at Fang Jingyang and just reached out his hand. The next second, there was a snap. There was a red slap mark on Fang Jingyang's face. This time, not only the Fang father and son, but also Zhang Yiming was stunned. The voice was crisp, and everyone present, including Zhang Yiming who was eavesdropping outside the door, gasped. That's Fang Jingyang, the eldest son of the Fang family. The most dissolute playboy in Jiangdu. Fang Jingyang was also confused. From childhood to adulthood, no one had ever dared to hit him. How dare you hit me? So what if I hit you? Do you dare to fight back? Xiao Yang raised his hand again. The next second, Fang Jingyang couldn't help but take a half step back. But he was retreating. For a moment, Fang Jingyang felt very upset. This step back naturally caught the attention of everyone. Fortunately, there were no outsiders around, but in the eyes of elders like Zhang Yiming, Fang Jingyang's face had been completely disgraced after this slap. Zhang Yan also had a bewildered look on her face, but she still snuggled obediently in Xiao Yang's arms. Only this man can make her feel completely safe. Compared with Xiao Yang, Fang Jingyang is just a useless person who was born with a good fortune. How dare you? Fang Zhen shouted. He didn't expect that. Given his status, this kid would not only disrupt the engagement party for no reason, but also beat his own son in public. Eye him up for me, Fang Zhen said sternly, but at this moment, no one stepped forward. There are no outsiders here except the Fang and Zhang families. He frowned slightly, and soon sent a message out. Boy, do you know that what you are doing now is illegal? This is a private resort. You have trespassed without permission and assaulted people. Do you know what you are doing? Fang Zhen stepped forward and spoke harshly. Oh, Xiao Yang just glanced at him and didn't take Fang Zhen seriously at all. As the largest businessman in Jiangdu City and the head of a century-old family, how could a man like this, who could make Jiangdu tremble with just a stomp of his feet, be ignored like this? His face was full of anger, but he was helpless. Looking at the two unconscious bodyguards on the ground, he calmed down. These two bodyguards are both retired soldiers and are experts who can fight 10 people at the same time. But at this time, he was lying on the ground with no reaction at all. He is just a businessman. How dare he fight with Xiao Yang? Xiao Yang glanced at Zhang Yiming at this moment. The latter couldn't bear to watch and turned his head away. I really want to know if Zhang Yan is your biological daughter. A wealthy businessman sold his daughter for a little profit. You are such a good father. Xiao Yang sighed. I really don't know why there is such a big gap between Zhang Yiming and Zhang Yichen. An older brother and a younger brother. Zhang Yiming's face was filled with anger. And he immediately became furious. How dare you teach me a lesson? Is there any problem with me teaching you a lesson? If you don't agree, why don't you hit me? You. Zhang Yiming was so angry that he was shaking all over. He looked at Zhang Yan and pointed at Xiao Yang and said, Look, this is the man you like. He is so vulgar and a reckless man. How can such a person be worthy of your lifelong trust? Xiao Yang was too lazy to pay attention. If Zhang Yiming spoke in a nice tone at this moment, she would treat him as Zhang Yan's father. If he spoke like this, then he would be just an enemy like Fang Jingyang. Fang Jingyang's face was filled with anger at this moment, and he walked forward. But after Xiao Yang took a look, he paused again, obviously frightened. Idiot, Xiao Yang cursed. Master Fang, you are such a loser. You resort to such despicable means when you can't pick up girls. How could a little girl be pushed to this point by you? After scolding the people present, Xiaoyang wiped the tears from Zhang Yan's face. Why didn't you tell me that you were going to get engaged to Fang Jingyang? Xiaoyang's voice wasn't much gentler. To be honest, Zhang Yan also made him angry. It's your own marriage, so you have to make your own decisions. If it really comes to this, just give me a call or even send me a message with your address. I am afraid of you. Zhang Yan hesitated but couldn't say a word. She regretted the slap she had given Xiaoyang yesterday. It was that slap that made her afraid to contact Xiaoyang. You're such an idiot. Xiaoyang cursed and pinched Zhang Yan's chin. After taking a look, he couldn't help but curse softly. Idiot. A vulgar and obscene word. But at this moment, Zhang Yan's heart had melted. She bit her red lips lightly, raised her beautiful eyes, and looked directly at the person in front of her. Her eyes full of love. Chapter 155 I promise to support you. Zhang Yichen. Xiaoyang suddenly shouted. Fourth uncle? Zhang Yan was stunned. Fourth brother? Zhang Yiming was immediately full of confusion. Outside the door, a well-mannered figure squeezed out from the crowd, with red marks on his neck left by the collar. Zhang Yiming looked helpless and glared at Xiaoyang. You sold me out just like that. Fourth brother. Were you the one who brought Xiaoyang in? Zhang Yiming shouted harshly. No, he is the one holding me hostage. Look at my neck. Brother? Zhang Yichen pulled at his clothes, revealing red marks. You. Zhang Yiming suddenly looked disappointed. It turns out that the Zhang family is full of traitors. At this moment, Xiaoyang looked at Zhang Yiming slowly. I'm too lazy to complain about you as a father, you really don't deserve it. But you are still Shaitzun's father, so, name a price. Xiaoyang said with a smile. You. Zhang Yiming was so angry that he blew his beard and glared. But he didn't know what to say. Is it really an offer? Then what has he become? He is one of the richest businessmen in Zhangdu. How can this guy even say a price when asked to do so? When Xiaoyang saw Zhang Yiming's look, he immediately laughed and said, Why, aren't you selling your daughter? What's the difference between selling it to the Fang family and selling it to me? You. What do you mean by you? Xiaoyang didn't give Zhang Yiming any face at all and interrupted the spell directly. He suddenly looked down at Zhang Yan in his arms and couldn't help but smile. I almost forgot, you are a priceless treasure, how can I name a price? When the voice fell, Zhang Yan felt extremely shy and her heart was filled with sweetness. Her hands suddenly tightened, fearing that she would lose the only figure she could rely on. Meanwhile, Xiaoyang looked at Zhang Yichen and said, Take it out. Zhang Yichen nodded and took out a briefcase. Take out dozens of contracts from it. What is this? Zhang Yiming frowned slightly. The Fang family's father and son also looked over, wondering what Xiaoyang was up to. This is the authorization letter for 40 of Saya N Group's total shares. Xiaoyang looked at Zhang Yiming and said slowly. Share authorization letter? Zhang Yiming was immediately surprised. I know why you are in a hurry to marry Zhang Yan to the Fang family. Isn't it because you are afraid that the shares will fall into the hands of the Fang family? It was you who acquired the shares of Saya N Group. Zhang Yiming's face was full of disbelief. He has always wanted to take these shares back to the Zhang family. But the old guys have always had too big an appetite. And he simply cannot afford to pay so much money to buy them back. He knew only too well the value of these shares. If I want to get it all back, it will cost at least 100 billion yuan. I originally thought that only the Fang family could pull off such a grand feat. But he never expected that Xiaoyang, who had always been a headache for him, was the real mastermind behind the scenes. It was him who acquired the shares of Saya N Group. 40%. Hundreds of billions of liquid funds. This. He quickly took the document in his hand and started reading it. That's right, it's the share authorization letter of Saya N Group. All these shares are under Xiaoyang's name. There is no problem at all. In other words, 40% of Saya N Group belongs to Xiaoyang, second only to his position in Saya N Group. He was suddenly shocked and couldn't help but take several steps back. How is this possible? He still couldn't believe it and looked at Zhang Yichen. The latter nodded and said, Brother, these authorization letters are all real. And I have asked several former major shareholders. And there are indeed no problems. This way. The Fang family father and son were also shocked by this scene. They also heard something about the share changes of Saya Ming Group. But this kind of share change of nearly 100 billion yuan. Who in the whole Zhangdu can do it? Although Zhang Yiming has always suspected that it was the Fang family who did it. In fact, Fang Zhen himself understood it. Even the Fang family cannot spare so much money to acquire shares of Saya Ming Group at this time. Hundreds of billions of liquid funds. Even the Fang family can't do it. They are already confused at this moment. Who is Xiaoyang? This is too much money, right? Only now did Fang Jingyang realize how fortunate he was to be at the auction dinner. Fortunately, Xiaoyang didn't continue playing with me. Otherwise, he might not be able to get that piece of land. Who are you? Fang Zhen looked at Xiao Yang with a frown. Is it the Xiao family in Kyoto? The voice fell. Fang Jingyang also looked over. The Xiao family in Kyoto. No, it's the Xiao family in Jiangdu. Xiao Yang smiled. He no longer paid attention to the father and son, but looked at Zhang Yiming, who was still in shock. Now that the shares are in my hands, do you think I am worthy of Zhang Yan? Xiao Yang asked coldly. Zhang Yiming raised his head, his face full of surprise. After a moment, he shook his head and said, the acquisition of Xiaoming Group shares was completed 4 or 5 months ago. I checked, you didn't know Zhang Yan at that time. How could you buy shares of Xiaoming Group? What did you want to do? He really didn't understand. What did Xiao Yang do with the shares of Xiaoming Group? Even if he could take the shares back, he couldn't do it. It's not that simple here, those old guys have big appetites. How much did Xiao Yang pay to buy back so many shares? Xiao Yang smiled. I have too much money to burn and nowhere to use it. I have nothing to do, so I might as well buy some shares and wait for them to appreciate in value. Is there a problem with that? Xiao Yang snorted coldly. Suddenly several people were choked by Xiao Yang's words. Too much money to burn. Hundreds of billions of assets. Bought for fun, right? How much money is that? At this time, Xiao Yang had already pulled Zhang Yan's soft body up and pinched Zhang Yan's chin. The latter raised her eyebrows slightly and her face blushed. Do you remember asking me a question? Zhang Yan was stunned for a moment. What? You asked me if I should support you. As the voice fell, Zhang Yan immediately turned her face away, bit her red lips lightly, and her neck turned red to her ears. At first, I just thought it was fun to tease Xiao Yang. Just by teasing him, I could make Xiao Yang blush. It was really funny, but I didn't expect it. This guy seems to take it seriously. Xiao Yang looked at the delicate face in front of him and couldn't help but said, now, I promise you, woman, you are kept by me. Xiao Yang finished speaking. Suddenly, these words fell into Zhang Yan's heart like a dragonfly touching the water, causing ripples. Her face was flushed, but her heart was extremely sweet. She couldn't help but hum, it's very expensive to support me. Can you afford it? Are these enough? Xiao Yang pointed to the share authorization letters. 40% of the shares of Xiaoming Group. As the second largest shareholder of your family. Shouldn't you, the daughter of a wealthy family? Xiao Yang smiled. That's enough. Fang Jingyang suddenly yelled in anger. He really couldn't help it. But at this moment, there was a snap. A big handprint suddenly appeared again on Fang Jingyang's other face. I'm flirting with my lover, and you, an ugly bastard, have no right to make comments? Fang Jingyang was stunned, covering his burning face. Just then, outside the door, the sound of footsteps echoed in the corridor. Xiao Yang frowned slightly and rubbed Zhang Yan's face, which was full of worry. Don't worry, I'm here. Chapter 156 Fight in the Box. There are so many people. Xiao Yang listened to the chaotic footsteps and smiled. At this moment, Zhang Yan in his arms was like a frightened rabbit, clutching Xiao Yang's collar with her hands, and tightening them a little. In just a short while, dozens of people rushed in and out of the box. At this moment, Fang Jingyang wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. Xiao Yang's slap didn't leave any strength left, and his face was already swollen. He looked at Xiao Yang with gritted teeth and said in a vicious voice, I said, you can't walk out of this door. There were dozens of people, including bodyguards and resort security guards. They are all strong and muscular. And none of them are good people. Just these dozens of people standing here put a lot of pressure on Xiao Yang and the Zhang family members present. Want to keep me here? Xiao Yang looked at Fang Zhen. This man is well known as the #1 business tycoon in Jiangdu. You have provoked our Fang family many times, you should have expected such consequences. He smiled. Fang Jingyang said loudly, I don't want to see this guy named Xiao standing in this world. Xiao Yang looked at Fang Jingyang suddenly. Why? You want to kill me? No, there are so many people here. Whoever kills you has nothing to do with me. The voice fell. Get started. Fang Zhen waved his hand. Speaking of which, the Fang family did a lot of dark things back then. However, for many years, the Fang family has not engaged in such fighting and killing. After all, the current Fang family does not need to do these things at all, and there are many people who serve the Fang family at all times. But this Xiao Yang provoked the Fang family again and again. If he is allowed to walk out of this door safely, the Fang family will probably become a laughingstock in Jiangdu's business world, and people will forget that the Fang family is the fierce tiger of Jiangdu. Xiao Yang frowned slightly. He pushed Zhang Yan in his arms towards Zhang Yichen. Xiao Yang clenched his fists, making a creaking sound. Xiao Yang! It's okay. Xiao Yang let out a long sigh and glared at Zhang Yichen. If this guy hadn't overslept and banged his head against the door and got hurt, Xiao Yang wouldn't have been scared of so many people. I heard you're good at fighting, Fang Zhen sneered. Yes, I was the one who beat Fang Jingyuan into the hospital. Tao Li, aren't you angry? Xiao Yang looked at Fang Zhen with a smile, without a trace of panic. You. As soon as he finished speaking, everyone came toward Xiao Yang. In fact, although there were many people, only a few could hit Xiao Yang. Besides, the box was not big, and there were only a few people surrounding Xiao Yang. Zhang Yiming frowned and looked at Fang Zhen. Brother Fang. This could cost someone their life. Yes, people will die. Everyone knows it, but some people still like to lose their lives, Fang Zhen said coldly. Fang Jingyang sneered at the side. If this happened outside, the Fang family would have tolerated it. But this is the Fang family's territory in this small piece of land. Even if Xiao Yang is killed, there are many people who will take the blame. Here, Zhang Yan looked pale. Etc. She suddenly spoke. Everyone looked at the girl whose eyes were still red and swollen. Fang Jingyang, I can marry you, but you have to let Xiao Yang go. Zhang Yan bit her lip and said coldly. Release. Fang Jingyang smiled. I just won't let him go. What can you do? Fang Jingyang no longer cared about Zhang Yan's words at this moment. Not only did Xiao Yang humiliate himself repeatedly, he also slapped himself twice. I heard you let the guy go. Who do you think you are? It would be fine if you were clean. But you have already thrown yourself into Xiao Yang's arms. Do you think I still care about you? Besides, even if Xiao Yang is dealt with, do you think Zhang Yan can run away? In the end, you will have to marry into the Fang family obediently. The result is the same. How can I listen to you? Fang Jingyang shook his head without even looking at Zhang Yan. Fang Zhen, on the other hand, felt relieved when he saw this. This should be his son. Why would he do this for a woman? If you want to be the head of the Fang family, you have to be ruthless. Here, several people came over with fists. Xiao Yang was not in a hurry. After he finished his move, the voice fell. Zhang Yan. Are you stupid, begging him? He will beg me. Xiao Yang smiled and turned his fist into a palm. During this period, he practiced Wing Chun when he had nothing to do, and had already mastered this martial art secret to a high level. He is really not afraid of these people. They are just some bodyguards with military backgrounds and security guards with a little strength. Bang bang bang. It was just a blink of an eye. The few people closest to Xiao Yang were knocked away in an instant, screaming in pain. Not only that, it would have been fine if there were fewer people here. But in such a small space, these people actually bumped into quite a few people after they retreated. In just a moment, many people fell down around Xiao Yang. Fang Zhen and his son both had looks of shock on their faces at this moment. This kid, so good at fighting? Zhang Yichen also took a breath of cold air. I've known Xiao Yang for so long and I know he's a good fighter. But he shouldn't be this good at fighting. This already falls into the category of martial arts masters in TV dramas. But it's just acting in a TV show no matter what. And this scene is actually happening right before our eyes. Xiao Yang is really fighting 1 against 10. Xiao Yang moved his wrist at this moment and felt a little sore. But even so, there were still quite a few people outside at this moment. If they could squeeze in, they would have all rushed in long ago. Fang Zhen was indeed a man who had seen the world. After a moment of surprise, he looked calm. There are still so many people here. Is it possible for him to repel them all? I saw a few people who were screaming retreating. And another 7 or 8 people rushed in, waving batons in their hands. The equipment is being delivered. Xiao Yang was not afraid at all. Instead, he was delighted. His body would definitely not be able to handle dealing with so many people. Besides, his arm was still hurting from breaking open Zhang Yichen's door. If they had weapons and could minimize the damage to their bodies, these people would be fine. Just do it. As soon as the people came in, Xiao Yang didn't wait for them to make a move and rushed forward directly. The security guard who came in first with a baton in his hand had no idea that Xiao Yang was so fast. Before he could react, he was hit by a force and flew backwards. He quickly waved the baton in his hand. But I discovered it only now. Where is my baton? Where is my baton? Looking again, he found that the baton had fallen into Xiao Yang's hands at some point. Wing Chun, although it is a boxing style, but when using weapons, the power will only be stronger. During this period of practice, he has learned a lot of relevant knowledge. Wing Chun is all about speed, accuracy and ruthlessness. To learn Wing Chun, one must first learn every acupuncture point on the human body. Know where the enemy's most vulnerable point is, and aim to kill with one strike. Therefore, when using weapons, as long as you hit the same position, you will have the same effect, or even greater power. Taking the baton in hand, Xiao Yang started swinging it. 2 bangs. The batons hit everyone directly. Suddenly, before the others could react, they lost all strength and fell to the ground in pain. Chapter 157. The ground is poisonous. The fallen man fell again. Several more people came in. But this time, Xiao Yang did not continue to be stubborn, and suddenly looked at Fang Zhen beside him. Fang Zhen's heart trembled. and before he could react, he saw Xiaoyang flash away. Before he could react, Xiaoyang already appeared beside him. Everyone was shocked, and Fang Zhen was even more stunned. I find that most people don't watch enough TV dramas. Xiaoyang smiled. A hand suddenly appeared under Fang Zhen's neck. What do you want to do? Fang Zhen panicked. Fang Jingyang also looked at Xiaoyang and quickly scolded. Xiaoyang, let go of my dad. Nonsense, I don't want to let go of your father. This stinky old man, do you think it's comfortable to hug him? Xiaoyang cursed, but his face was full of smiles. Okay, I don't want to fight anymore, let's take a break and borrow your dad. Xiaoyang punched Fang Zhen fiercely. The man who could make Zhangdu tremble with just a stomp of his feet suddenly squatted on the ground in pain, his facial features twisted together, his face full of disbelief. You dare to hit me? Fang Zhen looked at Xiaoyang. You're going to kill me. Can't I hit you? What are you thinking? Have you lost your brain after being the richest man for so long? Xiaoyang sneered. You, Fang Zhen looked at Xiaoyang with a hint of murderous intent. But at this moment, Xiaoyang was fearless, let alone a look from Fang Zhen. Normally, his eyes could be frightening. But this time, it's not entirely true. Xiaoyang glared back and smiled. What do you want to do? Kill me with your eyes? Don't you think you should be the one who is scared now? Your life is in my hands, Boss Fang. Xiaoyang's hand reached for Fang Zhen's throat. The latter's expression was filled with murderous intent and panic. Everyone is afraid of death, including him. Xiaoyang looked at the bodyguards who rushed into the room. I don't like fighting and killing, besides, there are so many of you. I'm a kind person and I don't like killing people. Well, since you like fighting so much, then, have a fight. After saying that, Xiaoyang did not move, but sat down while pinching Fang Zhen's neck. Everyone looked at each other in confusion, some of them not knowing what Xiaoyang was talking about. What's wrong? Why are you still standing there? Let's fight. What exactly are you going to do? Fang Jingyang frowned and looked at Xiaoyang. Don't talk about it anymore, let's fight. You, all of you, go ahead and fight. I don't want to see anyone standing in 3 minutes. Xiaoyang said, adding a little more strength to his hands. The next second, Fang Zhen's face suddenly turned red and he had difficulty breathing. Xiaoyang smiled and said, Boss Fang, it seems that they haven't realized that you are my hostage now. If you don't want to die, then do as I say. If there is still one person standing, I guarantee that Fang Jingyang will inherit his father's business and become the head of the Fang family tonight. Xiaoyang said viciously. The grip loosened a little. Fang Zhen suddenly exhaled heavily, and he felt as if he had been to the hell hall. Scared out of his wits, he looked at the bodyguards and said quickly, Fight him, didn't you hear what he said? Everyone stared at each other. Fang Zhen hurriedly continued, You, give him a stick. You, give him a punch. After he finished speaking, Fang Jingyang also let out a long sigh. Hit him and let him see. Everyone immediately understood and looked at the people around them. Bang! One punch. Yes, that's right, Xiaoyang said with a smile. The next second, a fight broke out in the box. You give me a punch and I'll give you a stick. Originally, these people did not dare to be ruthless. But Xiaoyang just threatened them a little bit, and Fang Zhen had to ask everyone to hit them harder. Afterwards, in addition to medical expenses, there are also bonus benefits. Only then did everyone start to take ruthless actions. A few minutes later, everyone, including those outside the box, fell to the ground in pain, screaming. There were dozens of people, none of whom were standing at this moment, and all of them had bruised faces and noses. Look, you guys just don't watch enough TV dramas. A big man like this stands next to me and says he wants to beat me to death. Tell me, is there something wrong with your brain? I was born in the year of the tiger, and I am most afraid of threats like this. Xiaoyang sighed. Next time, before you say you want to kill someone, you'd better stand in a safer position. Fang Zhen was speechless. But I dare not deny anything. He was not sure whether Xiaoyang would really kill him, and he did not dare to gamble. He could only accept whatever Xiaoyang said. Just then, another sound of footsteps was heard. Xiaoyang frowned slightly, and saw a person running in from outside the door. There is still one person standing. A hint of displeasure suddenly appeared in Xiaoyang's eyes. He is my secretary, not a bodyguard. Fang Zhen felt the threat on his neck again and explained hurriedly. I saw that the secretary was quite good looking. As a woman. Xiaoyang believed what he said. The secretary was surprised to see the people lying on the ground. But he didn't dare to ask more questions and just ran to Fang Zhen. Boss Fang, something happened. Fang Zhen waved his hand. The secretary was about to leave when Xiaoyang called him back. Whatever happened, if there is anything happy, just tell us and we can have fun together. Xiaoyang raised the corners of his mouth. This. The secretary looked at Fang Zhen with some embarrassment. Speak. Fang Zhen's face was gloomy. What could be more important than your own life? Yes. The secretary immediately took out a document and slowly said, "It's the Land and District Text C. Something has happened." Land and District Text C. Fang Jingyang was the first to react and asked quickly, "Which piece of land?" "A piece of land in District Text C that we acquired from Hanwhan Real Estate Company previously." "Land no. C 9068, the secretary said. "What could happen to that piece of land? Is someone preventing it from being developed?" Fang Jingyang asked. "This piece of land was not allowed to be developed before. I asked the people above to arrange it, but now the land has been acquired back. And I have already instructed them, so how could there be any problem? No, it's the ground. We conducted a geological survey. And this piece of land," the secretary frowned. "What's wrong with this piece of land? Has its nature changed and it can't be used for commercial purposes?" Fang Zhen asked. No, the ground is poisonous." After the words fell, several people looked confused. Even Zhang Yiming was stunned for a moment. Is the ground poisonous? What a shitty word. It was the first time he heard such a word. It's like this: there is very serious chemical pollution underground. After our investigation, we found that there was once a secret underground base, which was used to test biological and chemical weapons during the war. The land is currently contaminated. What did you say? Fang Zhen's face changed, and it looked even more embarrassed than when he was threatened with life and death. Chapter 158 Ruined, all ruined. Fang Jingyang's eyes widened. And Fang Zhen's mind also felt blank at this moment. That's the land in the XC area. The land price here is not comparable to that in Gongming District or the Old Town. Land C 9068 is in a prime location and was bought back at a high price. Now, there is a problem with this land. If it is industrial land, it doesn't matter at all. Egg up the soil and fill the land. And ask the higher authorities to issue a document to change the land nature back. There is room for maneuver. But now you tell me that this land is toxic and has biochemical pollution. This is not something that can be finalized by filling in the land or writing a contract. The 4 words biochemical pollution can turn this prime location into a wasteland. Not only that, there may also be problems with the surrounding land. Didn't they say that there were no problems with the official tests? Fang Zhen's face was pale and he was still in shock. To the Fang family, this piece of land is extremely important, and it is a further guarantee for the Fang family. For Fang Jingyang, the status of this piece of land is equally important. It is the key to whether he can stabilize his uncles and aunts and successfully control the Fang family. And now, all of this has come to nothing. Ding ling ling. The cell phone suddenly rang. The secretary looked at Fang Zhen. Answer it. Fang Zhen's eye sockets were sunken at this time. And he looked listless, as if he had aged by 10 years. Fang Jingyang's condition at the moment was not much different from Fang Zhen's. He slumped in his chair with a serious look on his face. It's Minister Zhang. The secretary frowned. Fang Zhen didn't say anything and just pushed Xiaoyang away. My life is in the hands of others, and I can't care less at this moment. To him, this land is life. Xiaoyang was a little surprised. Naturally, he was not curious about why this land had become a biochemically polluted area. After all, he already knew all about it from the planning on the blueprint. What is surprising is that the Fang family is so big. But this piece of land can make Fang Zhen so nervous. Fang Zhen took the phone with a flattering smile on his face. Hello, Minister Zhang. Yes. What? Stop work immediately. Fang Zhen's face was full of disbelief. Minister Zhang, please listen to me. Although there are some problems with this piece of land, please give us some time. We can purify this land and it will not affect the use of this land at all. Can you be flexible? At this moment, there was no noise from the people around. Xiaoyang, on the other hand, leaned back in his chair with a smile on his face. On the side, Zhang Yiming frowned, not knowing what he was thinking. But at this moment, everyone was listening attentively to what was being said on the other end of the phone. No, this land is already seriously polluted. Not only that, the pollution is spreading not only the C 9068 land, but also the surrounding lands. All construction must be stopped. Does construction on the surrounding land also need to be stopped? Fang Zhen was completely stunned. Yes, the Epidemic Prevention Working Group has been established. When the time comes, they will take over the evacuation of people from surrounding construction sites, migration and other epidemic prevention work. The biochemical pollution on this piece of land is too serious. We have already held a meeting. If nothing unexpected happens, the entire Jiangdu city will make an economic shift due to the pollution of this piece of land and shift its economic focus to other urban areas. The words fell. Fang Zhen was stunned. In this way, it is not just the land C 9068 that is wasted, but also other land in Area XC. The shift in economic focus will inevitably lower land prices. And Minister Zhang just said that this also requires evacuating people and relocating. In other words, except for Site C9068, all other lands will become wasteland. The Fang family has so much land in District Tech C. He suddenly gasped, his eyes became lifeless, and he slumped to the ground. Ruined? It's all ruined. All the land in the XC area is gone and worthless. Logically speaking, there will naturally be some compensation for these. However, the compensation will be reduced by the average land price in Jiangdu. It is estimated that these compensations are less than 1/10 of the original land in District Tech C. Dad, Fang Jingyang looked at his father trembling. Minister Zhang. Fang Zhan shook his head. It's all ruined. XC District will no longer be the economic center of Jiangdu. At this moment, Zhang Yiming's cell phone rang. Open it and take a look. It turned out to be just news promoted by Penguin News. He has a habit of paying attention to the news of J Province when he has nothing to do. Suddenly several big words appeared on the news. Shocking revelation. A mysterious cave appeared near the center of a certain city. When it was opened, it turned out to be. Zhang Yiming took a quick glance and saw that the cover was a building in Jiangdu. Clicked in. Dugout. Wartime. Biochemical research. After seeing this, he understood everything completely. If it is just land pollution, it can be purified by some means. But biological pollution during wartime is not just ordinary chemical pollution, but poison gas pollution. It is so old that it cannot be eradicated at all. If the nearby residents see that they are living in a poisonous miasma, who would dare to live there? He continued to scroll down. 3 people have been infected and have been sent to the hospital. The hospital has reported that 1 person has died from the poisonous gas. Someone died. Zhang Yiming let out a long sigh and handed the phone to Zhang Yichen beside him. Zhang Yichen looked at it casually and was immediately stunned. Someone died. Even the Fang family wouldn't be able to handle it. This piece of land will become a forbidden area, and people will be terrified when talking about it. Not only that, I'm afraid that Area XC has already started to be blocked at this moment. The formerly most prosperous XC district will collapse overnight. How much land do we have in District XC? Zhang Yichen naturally thought of his own Cyan group first, and asked. It's just a piece of land, not very big. We originally wanted to develop a small community real estate project. Zhang Yiming also frowned slightly. This time, the land belonging to Saya N Group will also be in trouble. However, Saya N Group is not like the Fang family, which only got good land. They only have 1 piece of residential land, and the area was relatively small, so the loss will be no more than about 2 billion. Although it is a lot, it cannot shake the foundation of Saya N Group at all. At this moment, Xiaoyang looked at the listless Fang father and son, and a smile suddenly appeared on his face. My father always said that evil deeds will lead to punishment by heaven. I used to think that what my father said was wrong. Some evil people live freely and live to be 100 years old. But now I believe it. Xiaoyang's face was full of sarcasm. I was originally wondering if this scene might come too late. I didn't expect that I could see it with my own eyes. Readily. It's really refreshing. Chapter 159 Transaction. The Fang family father and son had no time to care about Xiaoyang at this moment. As he made one call after another, Fang Zhen's face became increasingly gloomy. He made several phone calls to discuss the land issue. But after something like this happened, it was useless to call anyone. People have died, and this matter cannot be covered up. The media and officials are all speaking out. On the contrary, the message he received was the slowest. Xiaoyang no longer wanted to watch the show and walked to Zhang Yan's side. Xiaoyang. Zhang Yan hugged Xiaoyang's arm tightly. Fearing that this man would leave again, Xiaoyang had a gentle smile on his face and rubbed Zhang Yan's head. You haven't answered my question just now. What's the problem? I'll support you, Xiaoyang said with a smile. Zhang Yan didn't answer, but just hugged him tighter. Keeping? Just keep her. She found that she could no longer live without Xiaoyang, especially after what happened today. If it weren't for Xiaoyang, I would probably have been betrothed to the Fang family by now. Xiaoyang walked towards Zhang Yiming, his expression gradually becoming colder. Okay, now, it's time to talk about our business. After the voice fell, Zhang Yiming was stunned for a moment. Our business? What's up? Xiaoyang walked out slowly. Uncle, pack up the documents. Zhang Yiming finally reacted. Yes, files. This also involves the 40 shareholding documents of Saya N Group. Our business. These contracts are worth it. Zhang Yiming felt unhappy when he thought that 40 of Saya N Group shares had fallen into the hands of others. The most important thing is, this other person is still Xiaoyang. This is the person who was ridiculed by me yesterday and was exposed for confessing his love to another girl. Looking at Zhang Yan hugging Xiaoyang's arm tightly, Zhang Yiming was speechless. Zhang Yichen said, "Oh," and packed up the documents. But after a while, I felt something was wrong. After all, I am an elder, Zhang Yan's uncle. You're treating me like a secretary, right? But think about it, the second largest shareholder of Saya N Group is Xiaoyang. So there is nothing wrong with ordering him around. I am still the vice president of Saya N Group. Zhang Yiming looked at the people who had already left the box, glanced at his wife beside him, and said helplessly, "Let's go." The Fang family. Mother Zhang looked at the Fang father and son and asked hesitantly, "Let's go," Zhang Yiming said in a deep voice. The Fang family father and son naturally had no intention of caring about a few more people, not to mention that those lying on the ground were all members of their Fang family. How could they have the ability to stop Xiaoyang from leaving? Yiming, didn't the Fang family just lose a piece of land? Is it that serious? Mother Zhang frowned, as if she didn't want the matter to end like this. Do you think it's just a piece of land? This is biochemical pollution? A shift in the economic focus of the entire Jiangdu has caused their other lands in the XC district to go to waste. Even if the Fang family survives this time, they will suffer a lot. It is said that they bought the land C9068 from Han Wen Real Estate for more than 1.3 million. The maximum compensation for this land worth more than 1.3 million is about 1 billion. These tens of billions of funds have all gone down the drain. When Jiang's mother heard this, she took a deep breath. Zhang Yiming continued, but the Fang family still has its foundation. A lean camel is bigger than a horse. They still have a lot of land in Gongming district. Perhaps the economic center will be transferred to Gongming district. By then, relying on the land in Gongming district and the resources of the Fang family, it will probably only take a few years for us to recover. Can the Fang family recover? Mother Zhang asked in surprise. Well, it's not that easy for the Fang family to take over. Fang Jingyang just got the land in Gongming district. Add to that the previous land when the higher-ups really decide on the construction of the Science and Technology district. I'm afraid the Fang family will only be stronger than before. Zhang Yiming still saw it clearly. The land in the XC district could never shake the foundation of the Fang family. If the Science and Technology City area and the Economic Center are all transferred to Gongming district, that Fang family is still the same Fang family. However, the owner of the Fang family may not necessarily be Fang Jingyang. After this incident, there will definitely be a huge shock within the Fang family. If the Science and Technology City district can be built, Fang Jingyang may still have some chance to continue to firmly control the Fang family. But if any problems arise in this project, Fang Jingyang, or even Fang Zhen, will step down. In this family business, Fang Zhen doesn't just have the final say. Upon hearing this, Jiang's mother was shocked again. Then Zhang Yan, should we continue to let her marry into the Fang family? She said with a frown. Marry. If you want to marry, go ahead. Why should we care about the Fang family now? Zhang Yiming rolled his eyes at his wife. A woman's opinion. This Xiaoyang is the real potential stock. The acquisition of 40 of Saya N Group shares, plus its actions at the auction dinner, were beyond Zhang Yiming's imagination. Xiaoyang's background. Too ordinary. But it was just too ordinary. And he found its carry now. Exit the resort. Xiaoyang was already waiting outside. Do you want to find a place to sit down? I haven't had a good chat with you yet. Zhang Yiming looked at Xiaoyang with a smile. Xiaoyang was already immune to this smile and simply waved his hand. That's not necessary, just say it right here. Zhang Yiming didn't say anything. Several people were standing outside the parking lot. Zhang Yan looked at Xiaoyang, not knowing what he was going to do. How about it? Have you thought through the question I just asked you? Xiaoyang stared at Zhang Yiming with a sharp look. The second most important figure in Jiangdu's business community had a look of surprise on his face. What's the problem? Since you are selling your daughter, there is no need to sell her to the Fang family. Sell her to me. What did you say? Zhang Yiming's face suddenly darkened. I thought Xiaoyang would give me some face because he is Zhang Yan's father, but I didn't expect him to say this directly and tear his face apart in public. Name your price. Xiaoyang didn't give any face. Not for sale. Zhang Yiming's face was gloomy. Well said. If you had been aware of this before, things wouldn't have turned out like this. Xiaoyang sneered. What do you want to say? Xiaoyang ignored Zhang Yiming and looked at Zhang Yan and said slowly, do you know how much the shares of your Saya N Group are worth? Zhang Yan shook her head. She only knew that the Zhang family was rich, but she didn't know how much the shares were worth. This 40% is about 100 billion. Xiaoyang looked at Zhang Yiming. Just more, no less, Zhang Yiming said in a deep voice. So, you thought that the shares of Saya N Group were in the hands of the Fang family. So you wanted to marry Zhang Yan into the Fang family, right? Zhang Yiming neither denied nor admitted it and said nothing. Well, your deal with the Fang family has changed now. Let's do it. I'll give you a chance to take back all these shares. You mean, you want to resell these shares to me? Zhang Yiming's face was full of disbelief. Chapter 160, End of Friendship. Right? You can take back these shares. Xiaoyang said slowly. These shares are worth hundreds of billions. Although there are problems in District Taxi now, we have not been greatly affected. Saya N Group is still thriving. You should think it through carefully. Zhang Yiming frowned. Certainly. But, Zhang Yiming frowned. I can't afford that much money. He really couldn't take out hundreds of billions of liquid assets. This is not 10 billion, this is 100 billion. Zhao Yang did not answer, but turned to Zhang Yan and said, I am not interested in the shares of Saya N Group. Since I said I would support you, I will pay for your support for the rest of my life. I'll give you this share as a gift. It's up to you to decide how to make the decision. The voice fell. The whole place was dead silent. Zhang Yiming's face was full of confusion. But after a moment, he became extremely excited. He looked at his daughter with anticipation. He looked at Xiao Yang again, feeling extremely